said, yeah.
Yo, you sound different.
I'm gonna sound different.
You sound. Do you have a different mic on?
Did Discord change which mic I'm using?
I think so. Yeah, because I hear a different voice right now.
No. We had an issue.
What happened? Where? Are you
Um,
streaming?
I should be now. Right, we're back. Yeah. So we had an
Uh.
issue because we had to restart the PC,
Wait.
but we're good now. So that's why I
Okay, now I
raided
gotta
into
raid
Callie. So
you.
now Callie can
Raid
raid me back.
intoxication 5077, right? Fuck. Okay. Intoxication. Am I spelling this right? I better not spell. I better not spell your name right. Wrong. Ha. Is it
So does
intoxication
this count as a new stream?
5077?
Technically, I guess so.
Fuck. It's a new stream. Create your right ID. I'm gonna just copy paste your name so I don't do it wrong. Because I do everything wrong.
What are we watching tonight? Well, we're playing League of Legends because Callie begged me to play League of Legends. So we're gonna play League of Legends
Beg,
with Callie because he's a little bitch and he just had to fucking beg me to play
beg.
this fucking game with him. God damn.
I demanded. I'm the top dog around here.
Why is this
Wolf,
not playing?
woof, woof. I'm a close stream that. I mean
Callum moves
OBS
like
now.
water. My stream with
True, thank you.
Why?
What's up?
Why you
Callie's a little
burp
bitch who
in
likes League of
my?
Legends. It's so cringe. I know, right? Play.
Oh my god, so cringe.
Almost there.
Callie
To
is
get
a
the
little
game, you'll
bitch
need to
who
register first.
likes League
Update
of
your account.
Legends.
Okay.
That's so cringe. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's so cringe. He likes mashed potatoes with mayo and lots of ketchup and sausages. No black pepper at all, no seasoning. The mayo and the ketchup and the sausages are the
What the fuck is
seasoning.
this?
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Fuck, 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 fuck. Can they hear me? Tangent, can you hear me? Blink twice if you can hear me, not that I can see you blink. Do you want to hear my singing voice? That one song. What was it? Hey, can they hear me? I can't tell. I might just do this and see if I can hear myself. I'm in a fucking ad.
Why
Are
does
they
it say
in
enter
an
a
ad?
valid phone number? That is my phone number. What the fuck do you
Enter a
mean?
valid
Enter
phone
a valid
number.
phone number.
I'm making you experience the worst suffering in the world, having to log into League.
That's my
It's
fucking
cheese. Oh
phone
my
number,
god.
you piece of shit. Well, what the fuck? That's bullshit.
Oh no, what's happening? Ba, 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 ba. It says ad break ended, but I don't think so. No Canadians allowed, man. From here on out, no moose, no maple syrup,
The fuck do
no
you mean?
meese. Let me see. Before you can play, if we need to collect additional information. What is on your screen right now?
Hmm? Oh, just all this other shit.
Oh, that's the new champ I like so much. Why can't I hear anything? Oh, okay, I have you
Everything's
muted.
fucked up now. Why can't I?
And
This is so dumb.
before you can play.
Update
Ugh.
account. But I need a phone number, but it's saying that my phone number is not valid.
Oh, we got it.
I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense.
Mm. Huh. Make a new account. No, I'm
No, apparently you need your phone number to do it, but it's not accepting my phone number. So you want to give me your phone number, Callie?
yeah, I'll give you my phone number. It's
I have no idea why the
I forgot my phone
fuck this
number.
doesn't work.
Wait,
That's the
one
most
second.
retarded thing ever.
Yes, that's happened to me. I guess I'm buying you a new account on eBay.
No, just give me your phone number so I can attach it to my account.
Oh, okay. How does
And
that? Is that gonna work? Okay, fine. I'll give it to you.
it'll
Wait.
just
Make sure
send
you
the
keep it off stream.
Yeah, it'll send it to you.
Let me see. Wait, is that legal?
What? It's a fucking
that?
phone number. Who the fuck cares?
No, man.
Is it legal to lie about your phone? Well, is it legal for them to not accept my phone number? Because I'm Canadian? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Why you yell at me?
Just give me your phone number, bitch.
Fine. Fine. I don't want to do anything illegal. I don't want to go to jail.
Okay, just type out your phone number and then I'll copy and paste it and then delete it.
Pretending to be someone else. Oh my god, that's fraud or something. That's
Well,
like
it's not. I mean, my phone number should be attached because I've had the same phone number the entire fucking time. I haven't changed my phone number since like 2008.
don't text me anything weird, okay? Ah, my fucking hand. What the fuck?
It says please enter a valid phone number.
My phone number?
Yep. Even with your
Oh my
phone
god.
number. So I don't know why it's not allowing a phone number.
I'll also make a new account in solidarity of your dead account.
But it
Of your
doesn't,
deceased.
Callie, you don't understand. I can't make an account without a phone number.
Um wait. Oh, okay. Oh. Fuck. Yeah.
Online phone numbers for verification app.
You can revisit the account update site or reach out to her. Why? This shit sucks. I want to play League with you. Otherwise, I'm gonna play League alone. Who the fuck is sending messages? I mean, where are these messages coming from?
Okay, I'm gonna try this and see if this works.
Welcome to Coffee Land. Yo. You know that guy that does the
I think the thing
actually
might
no,
just
there's
be
too many people
broken.
that does
Okay,
that do
I'm gonna go through a different means. I'm just gonna exit this. I'm just gonna go
I'm
here.
getting
I'm gonna go
a
riot
lot of
account.
messages. I don't like it. You know when you get a lot of messages and you have to close your Discord?
No, it's never happened to me.
Oh. What?
I'm not popular.
Wait, I'm sending this to you. Oh my god. Let me just send this to you because I think this is like totally you. Oh my god, it's gone. Okay. I want to look at it more, but like it's gone. It went away. Look, wait. I pressed enter, but look at pics. Or since you're busy, look at pics later. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, I have enough money for food, but I can't buy any food yet. because since I picked morals over money. Wait, morals over whatever we were talking about. What the fuck? Stop sending messages. NSF dub. No. Oh my god. Actually, yes. Actually, fuck yeah. Muscly women with dicks.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking.
This isn't giving me the same stuff. It's not asking for my fucking phone number now.
Oh. I don't see what's on the screen yet. I just see Gruck.
I know, because I don't have it on the screen. But I'm just saying, like, where am I supposed to... Why do they make this shit so fucking retardedly difficult to get into? It's so annoying. In my day, you just fucking play the goddamn game.
I don't usually have to use my
Update
phone
account.
number.
And then it takes me here. Before you can play, we need to collect additional information.
Oh.
But, like, it just will not...
Riot games.
It won't accept my fucking phone number. Why not?
Do you hear me typing?
Yes.
Okay. Good. It's ASMR. Wait, it says no. Using ask the robot. Ask the robot for help.
See what this motherfucker says.
People are talking a lot right now. And I'm trying to check where it's coming from. But I was cursed? What does that mean? Okay, that's scary at first, but then it's just cute. Coffee? Someone sent coffee from some sort of game. I don't like games. I only play League. Because I'm sweaty. I want to talk to my other friend. This friend over here. I'm going to give her, I'm going to send her a message. She isn't online, I think.
It's just literally not going to let me fucking do it.
No idea what to do. Wait, what if you unlinked it? I don't know what even that means. What that even means. What if you like removed the phone number and then put it back in?
That's what I'm saying. I think that it's already got my phone number should already be like linked to it.
Like unlink it.
Your bestie is back. Yo, what's up, AJ? We're having some fucking technical difficulties right now. This is some bullshit.
Yeah. Who's there? Who goes there? Why are those like soldiers with trumpets? Are they like celebrating a victory or something? Your AI thing. You're your bestie. I'm the bestie, okay? You can be second best bestie, okay? I'm the one who sounds like a Cali girl, even though he's from New York and Hispanic, and a white Cali girl, even though he's a brown Hispanic that looks Indian. A brown New Yorker, whatever. Nah, we are all we all we all are one. Like kumbaya, like namaste.
Apparently they're getting
We
me
are the
they're
wind.
getting me an assistant, so I guess we just go back to watching Mr. Ballin while we wait
Okay.
for this bullshit. Why do
all
you make me have to do these things, Callie? Why do I do
Because
things
you love
for
me.
you?
Because you love me, and
I mean,
this is
it's true. I can't deny it.
Years later,
oh my god.
Adolphus set the dining room table.
I see an
while
ad
his
and
wife
there's a
finished cooking
lantern
in
that
the
just
kitchen
spontaneously
inside of their home in the small
combusts.
town of Pearl, North Carolina. And Adolphus had
Hola,
just put
Nika.
down the last dinner
Nika,
plate
sun
when
god.
he heard a knock at the front door.
Can we?
Right away, he
Let me
felt
see.
so excited because he knew that, it's the weekend and my daughters always come to visit me every weekend. That's them. Bobby and Betty are here. They're here for dinner. They're going to stay for the weekend. And Adolphus and his wife, they really cherished
here it goes.
their time with their daughters.
Wait,
ever
this is
since they had left
scary.
the
I'm not gonna-
factory. So Adolphus,
I'm not gonna
very
listen to
excitedly,
this.
heads to the door and he
I would
opens
say
it up.
signs do not
and he's
indicate
really
this
surprised at what
assumption.
he sees.
Too vague.
It
Sorry,
was Bobby,
AJ. I'm
but
so
Betty
distracted
wasn't
right
there.
now.
And when he said, where's Betty? Is she in the
I
car?
I
do
don't
not
even
know,
have
just
the
use
chat
please.
up.
No.
Like, I'm so
So Adolphus
retarded.
took stock of the fact
Where's
I'm
Bobby
reading
had
streamer
told her
in
that
fucking
she looked
A?
really sad, depressed almost.
I'm reading your chat for you. It's
And he said,
okay.
Bobby, what's going
Does
on?
he
And she said,
though? I
"No,
would say
just-
signs do
I
not
hated my
indicate
job at
this
the factory.
assumption.
I hated it, so I just
Bobby-
quit, and I'm coming home. And Betty,
Stream
she
only
doesn't hate
meeting.
it. She's gonna stay. She's gonna keep working at the factory and continue to
Stream
live out
only
there.
what?
And for Adolphus, this really is like a
What's up? I
huge
tell you what's
shift in
wrong.
their
Nah,
behavior.
we're all
I mean,
one
this is
bestie
not
combined.
something that these twins
I'm
ever
trying
really
to
did.
play
They did
League of Legends
basically
with
everything
Callie, but it
together.
won't accept
Even
my
if
phone
one
number.
didn't necessarily want
Because
to be
Canada
He wants me to
was interested
upgrade my
in,
account from
they
my
would
old
often
Riot
just
account,
do
and I'm
the
like, I'm
same
pretty sure
things,
that
again,
phone
to
number
sort
is
of
connected to it,
mimic
so
each
now
other
it's
and be
just gonna be a
similar and
little
just do everything the
little
same.
piece of shit
And so
bitch
the
to get it to
idea that,
work.
they're doing such drastically different things.
So I
One
have
coming home and leaving the job, the other
and-
continuing.
I
to
used to
live
play
out
a
on
lot
their
of
own, was just
Cassiopeia
a
and
huge
Ari.
Oh, I
departure.
love
But then-
Cassie.
And then on top of that,
Cassiopeia
Yeah,
was
but
my
Adolphus said to
favorite.
Bobby, he's like, okay,
I just
well,
I
East
kept getting
Spam.
like
of
kited.
course you can come home, but where's Betty? Is she gonna be here for
I mean,
the
I kept
weekend?
getting,
Is she
like,
gonna come home
attacked by
and visit with you?
assassins.
She can keep working there, but is she?
Because there were
is she
so many
visiting this
assassins
weekend?
out there.
And Bobby was like, no, she's gonna stay.
And then it
She's-
went to
she's actually not
tanks.
coming home this weekend. She's decided to stay. And so again,
What
it
in
just
the
felt
hell?
like, what's going on here for Adolphus and his wife? Like, this is a crazy big shift.
Where am I?
But, very quickly, Adolphus said, look, just come on in, have dinner, get situated.
I don't play
We'll talk about
most of
this. We'll
these.
figure out, what your next steps need to be. But of
I
course,
kind
you
of
can
play
stay here
Diana.
and everything will be fine. And
I'm
so
still getting a
Bobby,
lot
she
of
picked stuff
messages.
up,
I
she
kind of
came
want to close
inside,
Discord, but I'm talking to
then she
you.
quickly said she was not hungry and did not want to eat.
Like,
with them.
I have to
And then she just
mute
went
some
up
of
to her
these, I
bedroom,
guess.
Anyone in
rushed up inside
chat
the
can
room,
join
shut
right
the door,
now. I
and
don't
didn't
care
come
if it's
And
a
over the next
streamer.
2 years,
Join up.
Bobby
Oh,
continued to
What's
basically
happening?
just
I guess he's
stay
got
in her
this
bedroom.
video
she
call.
rarely left her room. She just closed herself in there and shut down almost entirely. She never talked to her parents about
I'm
either
shy
why she left the factory
around
or
more
what she
multiple
hated so much
people.
about the job that forced her to quit. She didn't talk
Sale.
about anything. She didn't reconnect with old friends or seek out new ones. In
I
fact,
want to
she
play
became
like
incredibly
mid and
introverted.
jungle.
Whereas before, when
Because,
she and her
like, if I
sister
play
were both
jungle,
living
then
under
I'll
this
get
roof,
better
they
at
both
mid,
were
but if
very
I play
extroverted. They were
ADC,
always out doing social things, and now,
like, I
Bobby is like a
probably...
recluse in the room. She
Itox,
also
I
was
need
not
help.
showing any sign of making moves to change her current
Itox, I
situation.
need help.
She wasn't seeking a job.
I need to
She
pronounce
wasn't
the
looking
D
for
at
new
the end, right?
opportunities.
I
It
need...
was
I
that
don't
she
know
sort
which
of
one of
had
these to choose.
just declined to the
Let me
point where
see.
she just was going to stay in her bedroom in perpetuity. But over the
What do you
course of
mean?
those 2 years that Bobby
Well, it's
was
like need
home,
help changing
there were
password, need
several
help
moments
changing
where she would sort of
email,
snap back
repairing
and be
my
herself again,
account
the sort of
after a
extroverted,
hack, or changing my
happy,
region. Do I
social,
just say after
normal
a
version
hack?
of Bobby that her
I
parents
think that's
No.
probably the
and
easiest
that was
one.
when Betty
After
would
being
come
had.
home from the factory to visit on the weekends.
True.
It was like when Betty walked in the door, Bobby became reanimated
Oh, I
and
actually
became
really
her
like
old self, and the
Zeds,
two just
but I'm not
immediately
that
fell
great
into
with
rhythm
them.
as if no time had passed.
Actually,
Like there's no ill will towards each other about the
I like
fact that
Saya.
they're
I'm a big
not
Saya
working at the
fan.
factory or
Whatever.
living
I have
together
a skin for
anymore.
her.
It was like everything went back to normal, and then Betty would leave to go back to the factory.
Actually,
and
I'm gonna
Bobby
play
would
Zaya
head back
this
to her room
this
and
game.
shut the door. And so
Are you
for
playing a
Adolphus
game
and
without
his
me,
wife,
Callie?
you know, part of
I'm
them
just
had
playing
always
a bot
hoped that
game,
these two,
okay?
Oh, for
would
fuck's
eventually
sake.
separate and kind of learn
Okay,
to
I'm
live
just playing
practice,
a
separately.
bot
practice
game.
But even
ADC.
though Betty, who was staying
Yeah,
out
I
in the
mean, I don't
factory and
need to
living on her
practice,
own,
okay?
appeared
I'm already pretty
basically to
good.
be doing okay on her own.
Sure.
It just seems sort of obvious that
Are
Bobby
you gonna, is this gonna be like a
was
fish incident where you're
falling
gonna
apart
be
without her
like,
sister.
oh,
She was
I've not,
utterly
you
dependent
know,
on her. I mean,
I
it's so
completely
weird.
underestimated your
And so
skill and I'm gonna
Adolphus
blow
didn't
you out of the
know,
water.
you know, how this
That's
Wait,
proof
what?
Callie's
was
love
going
only
over
lasts till the next
time.
bot
This was
struts
definitely
itself
getting worse,
in.
certainly for Bobby. But around
True,
the
no
time
Buki,
that
you have
Adolphus
been
and his wife were
hacked.
sort of
Chat should
trying to
join up
figure
right
this
now.
out, what to do about Bobby, you know, 2 years in to her being home.
Yo, wisely.
Right around that same time frame, so
Wait,
2
wait, wait.
years
I have
in, Betty
multiple
sort of
things
inexplicably came home one
I have
Friday and said,
Spotify
you know
open,
what, I
Discord
quit the
is,
factory too,
like,
and I'm going to live here as well.
sending me
And
so
in a
many
weird
messages and I
way,
don't know
you
where
know,
they're coming
Adolphus and his
from.
wife were relieved because it meant that realistically the daughters would almost certainly
Oh,
fall
someone's.
back and
Oh,
sleep
that's a
with each
that's a
other
bot.
and return to their normal
Hmm?
selves, and really for
I thought someone
Bobby's
was
sake,
playing
it seemed
Sona
like
for a
this would be
second.
an
I realized
enormous,
I'm
you
in
know,
a
plus
fucking
in
bot
her life.
game.
She really was falling apart here, and they had seen how happy she was.
No one plays
every
Sona
time
unless
Betty
it's a
came
bot
home to
that's
visit
playing
over
it.
those 2 years, and so there was a
No.
relief that Betty was home.
But I haven't played in
also
8
like
years and it won't accept my
didn't really
phone
make
number,
sense
so I'm
that-
trying to
that
figure
Betty
out what the
was
fuck
quitting
is
her
going
job.
on, because it says
Really,
update,
seemed
like
she
if I go
liked
like
her
this.
job. She seemed to be doing well on her
Oh
own.
shit. Wait.
Adolphus couldn't necessarily prove this, but he believed that ultimately what
It's not
Betty
gonna let me
must be
fucking
doing
move the
here is
thing.
what she and her
Whenever
sister
I play it, it
have
says
done,
update
is
account,
we will do the same things even if we don't necessarily
Huh.
want
and
to.
it brings me
Betty
here,
basically was
and then it won't
sacrificing
let me
her
put my phone number in.
independent
It
life
says
to
invalid
come
phone
back
number.
home and be
So I think it's
with
because my
her
phone
sister,
number
sort
is
of
linked to my
fall
old
into
account, but
step
they want me to
with her.
upgrade to
That's
a
what it
new
seemed like.
account.
But again, it seemed like the silver lining was at least our daughters will be normal again.
So,
they'll be happy.
I just gotta
and
figure out
healthy
why it
again.
won't accept my phone number.
But that is not what happened.
I'm like,
Once Betty came back home, you know, she quit the factory.
Makes no sense.
She and Bobby are now living once again under the same roof. They absolutely did fall back in step with each other like they always had done. But their connection to each other, their dependence, their attachment on each other was so extreme.
Yeah.
Way more than before. And before, it was already extreme. So this is like way beyond what's reasonable. They basically went into the bedroom where they both were living, which was Bobby's bedroom. Now Betty was living in there as well. They went into that bedroom and just shut the door and just stayed in there together basically 24/7. So they did not, you know, become the extroverted girls that they used to be. They became introverted, but together. They didn't seek out jobs. They certainly didn't show any interest in getting jobs. They, again, were not socializing. They just stayed in
I
that
suck.
room
I suck at this
24/7.
game.
They slept
I'm like,
in the
I
same
literally
bed.
got
And
like
then in the
2
rare
phone
times
calls
that they would
today,
leave the bedroom, they would walk side by side.
and I
they
get
were
like all
touching
kinds of
shoulders,
notifications
like,
on my
everywhere they
phone.
went. They
So
had
I
to
don't
basically
understand
be
why
on
it would
top
just
of each
not
other.
have my
And
number.
they also moved almost like in sync, like robots. They were
Ba,
they were
ba,
just
ba.
doing
I'm just
the
learning how to
exact
play
same
Zaya
thing.
again.
And then anywhere they
It's
went,
okay,
they could not
Colleen.
separate. Like any room they went to in the house, they were together. Go to the bathroom, they're going together. I mean,
Oh, I
everything
got a biscuit.
was together. It was a level of attachment
Yo, this
that the
Morgana
parents
is
had
so
never
good.
seen before. Now, of
I know
course,
it's bots,
Adolphus and
but,
his
like,
wife were concerned about this. They didn't really know
I feel
even
like I
what to
should,
call what they
like-
were seeing. It just seemed like codependency to a fault. But they were sort of hoping that, you know, eventually
How
the
long
girls would kinda
ago
level out
have you not
again
played
and
that game?
get
Since
their
like
lives back on track, even
2017?
if they retained a really
2016?
intense bond. But then it got worse. In addition to basically shutting themselves in this room all the time and, you know, never being apart from each other, they also stopped eating. At first, it just seemed like they were, you know, just not interested in dinner. You know, Adolphus would go up to the bedroom and he'd knock on the door and he would open the
Yeah, but I don't know,
door,
then.
Bobby and
Let me keep
Betty's
looking.
faces would
Yeah, I
come
know.
out
Wait.
the door
Talking
at
with
the
an
same
agent,
time,
or
and
he's apparently
Adolphus
looking
would
at my
say, "Hey, you
shit.
know, dinner's on the table. Do you want to come down
Wait, you're talking to
eat?"
someone right
And the
oh.
girls, without even looking at each other, would say in perfect unison,
Oh, I don't
"We're
have
not
to go
hungry,"
back yet.
and then they would shut the door.
I mean, I have a lot of
It's like,
skulls.
okay, I guess they just don't want to eat. But then weeks would go by and the girls would just refuse to come out and eat. And so the girls began to lose a considerable amount of weight, like an unhealthy amount of weight.
I'm gonna
But
die.
no matter what
to
Adolphus
bots.
and his wife did, they
I'm
just
gonna fucking
would
die to
not
bots.
eat. And so after a couple of weeks of this, Adolphus and his wife decided that, they clearly were not going to get through to their daughters and get them to change their behavior just by presenting them with logic. Hey, you really ought to come
So
down
apparently
here
I gotta
and eat
put in
because
a ticket.
You have to eat to
I
survive.
don't know where to
Like, they're
put
not
in a
listening to
ticket.
that. There's something going on here. And it seemed increasingly
That's gonna take
obvious that it was mental,
forever.
that these girls were really struggling with some sort of mental
It's gonna take a
illness.
while
At
for
least
them
that
to
was
respond,
the
and then
parents'
we're gonna ask you a bunch of
And so they
questions, and
brought
then
their
you won't be able
daughters
to answer the
to go
questions,
see
and then you
a
lose your account.
psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist very quickly actually made a diagnosis.
I'm
He
upset.
So
said
how
that
do I
Bobby
open a
and
ticket?
Betty both had schizophrenia, which is a
You
very
press
serious
the open a
chronic
ticket
brain
button.
condition
Where is
that
that?
affects the way you think, the
I
way
have
you
no idea.
behave. Basically all the ways in which
I don't
you
know, my
interact
boy.
with
I don't play the
world
game,
can
but
be
like
gravely
that's about
affected
all I
by
know.
schizophrenia.
I don't know. This
And
is
so
fucking
a lot of
annoying. I
their
blame
strange
Callie for
behaviors or
this.
their anomalous behaviors, in particular, their
Well, I mean, the
not
app is
eating
here,
and their
like,
codependency. The
I
psychiatrist
don't know what the fuck I'm
believed
supposed
could
to
basically be
do.
explained by schizophrenia. And so ultimately, the psychiatrist
excuse me.
prescribed Bobby and Betty some antipsychotic medication and promised Adolphus that if they take these meds, they'd be okay. But even though Adolphus and his wife ensured,
It says,
Bobby
and then it's
and
giving
Betty
me a
took their
bad
medication
request when I go
exactly as
for
they
it.
were
Can I just
supposed
like
to
log
every single
out?
day, the twins did not seem to get any better. If anything, they actually continued to get worse. They spent, if
How do I
anything,
log out?
more time, locked in their bedroom, and they became more frail, and they continued to barely eat, and they also began showing signs of being very
Oh
paranoid
no, I'm
around
gonna die
anybody
again.
I
that was
have no
not their
fucking
own
idea
sibling,
what I'm
even their
doing.
own parents. It was like the only person
Oh.
either Bobby and Betty could be around
Oh no,
was the
it's
other.
a Sichuan.
They
I
couldn't be
don't
around anybody
know.
else. They just kind of hid themselves away.
There's no
basically
button to make a
24/7.
ticket.
And so pretty quickly, Adolphus came to the realization that these antipsychotic meds are not doing enough, or maybe they're not doing anything at all. But at the same time, Adolphus did not think that, the diagnosis was wrong. He believed his daughters did
Oh,
have
I know where it's
schizophrenia.
coming
The
from now.
symptoms basically fit, but the treatment wasn't working. And so in Adolphus's mind, he felt like what he needed to do was just get his
It's like I
girls
go to
more
fucking
and
support,
better
right? I bring
psychiatric
up
help.
support.
So in early
And then support's like,
1961,
oh,
when
sign
Bobby and
in. I
Betty
go
were
to
both
sign
now
in, and
30
it's like
years
request
old,
header field too
Adolphus had
large,
them both
error.
involuntarily committed.
It
to a
won't even let me
psychiatric
log
hospital.
into support.
And at first, it seemed like this hospital stay
I'll
was
give you one of my
exactly what the girls
accounts.
needed. Because, they
I wanna
gained
play
weight
my
back pretty
account.
quickly because they were being forced to eat. And they were also being monitored effectively 24/7, and they were given proper medication, and, they were just
I
kind
have
of comprehensively
multiple
looked
accounts.
after, and so pretty quickly they got better. And also the girls were allowed to stay in the same room together. They really never separated them, which was an important part of
Right,
their
game support
recovery
website.
is
It's
they had
literally
each
what I'm
other.
at.
And so after
But
several
and I'm
weeks in
talking to the guy, and he's
hospital,
like,
they were
"Oh,
deemed
because
healthy,
you're not
tolerable,
logged
so to
in."
speak,
But when I go to sign
and
in, it says
discharged.
request header field's
But
too
pretty much
large.
immediately, once they got back to their family home, they regressed right back to being.
So I'm
secluded
like,
in the
well,
bedroom,
how am
not
I supposed
eating,
to
and
sign
being
in?
Completely introverted and completely not normal, not healthy. And so
I'm-
again, they were committed.
I just
And again, they got better.
But it's like,
while
I
they
can't
were at
sign
the
in.
hospital. But
So
then
how
once
how
they
can
were
I submit a
discharged and back
ticket?
home, they got worse again, over and over and over again for over a year. It was like they were in and out of the hospital. It just didn't seem like they were making any real progress. And so eventually, Adolphus and his wife and several doctors and nurses that had treated the two girls over the past year during their numerous hospital
What the
stays,
fuck is Canada?
eventually
I guess
they
it's
all
North
kind of
America.
came to the conclusion that it
Just
could be
threaten to
possible
nut on
that
them
what
if they
was
don't
happening
sign
here
you
is
in.
These girls had schizophrenia, and that was kind of the root cause of all their issues. Or maybe it was just their intense
Unsure?
dependency on each other that was effectively causing all their problems. That what could have been viewed as like
Pretty
this
sure
timeless bond
it's
between siblings
talk.
was actually like a really deeply unhealthy codependency where they were so enmeshed in the other that
So
like they couldn't
fucking
grow as
retarded.
people and become independently functioning adults, that they were kind of stuck, and that unless drastic action was taken, they would continue to be stuck and continue to decline, or at least spiral the way they had been. And so a decision was made to, without asking the girls, to forcibly separate them and see if that made a big difference. And so on April 11th, 1962,
Yeah, I
Bobby
don't
and
know.
Betty were both
It looks like I'm
once
not getting
again
my account.
committed to the hospital.
Oh,
Except this time,
No.
for the first time, they were separated. They were put in literal opposite ends of the hospital in totally separate wards, and they completely lost their minds. The girls begged and screamed and demanded to be kept together. But the staff said, nope, it's for your
Says,
own good.
please enter
A
a
few
valid
hours
phone
after
number.
the girls had been separated at the
And it
hospital.
will
This is
not
the
let
first
me go
time
any
they're being kept
further
apart. This is like
in the
1
game
a.m.
without
on
this
the
phone
morning
number.
of April 12th. Adolphus was at
Well,
home
guys,
asleep when his phone rang.
I tried.
And he was
I'm giving
confused
up.
because it's
Fuck
the middle of
this.
the night.
Fuck
Who's
this
calling
game.
him?
Fuck
When he
this
picked up the
bullshit.
phone, he heard a hospital doctor's
Callie,
voice
play a
on the
better
other end,
fucking game.
and the doctor sounded completely frantic.
Like, what the
He
fuck?
tried to explain to Adolphus what was going on. You know, Adolphus was aware of the fact that the girls were going to be separated, but everything the
It's
doctor
like I
was
even
saying
tried
about
putting
what
in
had
Callie's
followed
phone number. It
after the
wouldn't let
separation
Callie's
just
phone number
didn't
go
make
in.
any sense, and he was trying to clarify, like, what are you talking about?
Whoa.
The doctor finally just paused and then just clearly stated basically
So
the
fucking
disaster
annoying.
that had unfolded after the
I'm
separation.
like, it
Something
should
they
be
could have never planned
illegal
for
to
has
require
happened,
your
and even the
phone
doctor
number for
didn't really
shit.
know what to make of it.
You shouldn't have to
When
give your
Adolphus heard
fucking
this,
phone number.
He just sat there on the phone, completely frozen, having no idea how to react. Over the next few days, doctors at that
So
psychiatric
fucking
hospital
annoying.
tried to come up with a rational, scientific explanation for what happened on the night that Bobby and Betty were separated. But they couldn't figure it out. So, in an effort to figure it out, they called in the
Bosser.
North Carolina State Board of Investigators for some help. But they couldn't figure it out.
And I was
And
really
so
looking
they
forward
called
to
in
it,
the
Callie.
FBI. And the FBI couldn't figure it out either. Nobody had any idea how this could have happened or why. And so as this
wait, let me
story
see.
naturally began to leak out to the press and began circulating in newspapers all over the country as like this
Maybe it won't ask you for a
unbelievable
for a
mystery,
phone
lot of
number if you
people,
just
as
make
they
a
saw
new
the
account.
story, began to wonder if maybe the explanation for what happened after these girls were separated
Huh? Hello?
is not rooted in science.
Are you there?
Maybe what
Huh?
happened is something that we as
Maybe it won't
humans,
ask you for a phone
we
number
can't
if you make a
really
new account.
understand, but it doesn't make it any less real. It would turn out at 12:55 a.m. on the night or early morning that Bobby and Betty were separated in the hospital. A nurse in the ward where Bobby had been moved to was doing her regular rounds. And when
Dun,
she got to
dun,
Bobby's
dun,
room,
dun,
she
dun.
found Bobby lying in her bed on her side, and she was dead. About 5 minutes later, at
I'm
1
about to go to
a.m.,
bed. Good
a
night. I'll
doctor
see you
went to check
tomorrow,
on
my
Betty
boy.
in
Hope
the
you get
ward
some
where she
sleep.
was on the
True.
other end
Thanks,
of the
AJ.
hospital, and this doctor found Betty was also dead in her bed, lying in the exact same position that Bobby was. But the strange thing is there was no obvious sign of what killed them. There was no sign of illness. There was no sign of self-harm. There was no sign of violence or foul play. It was like, inexplicably, both of these girls were just dead. And then even after doing multiple autopsies, nobody could figure it out. Like, there wasn't a reason that they died. Forget foul play, forget how it happened. There wasn't a medical diagnosis for what killed them. They just suddenly died. And so the only real conclusion they had was that somehow the twins had died from no apparent cause at almost the exact same time. The twins' cause of death was officially listed as ill-defined and unknown. The only theory that anyone has been able to come up with about what happened came from one of the doctors who treated Bobby and Betty in the hospital.
Enemy triple
He
kill.
believed that the twins were so distressed about being
Boom, boom,
forcibly
boom, boom.
separated that they found a way to reunite by, quote, willing themselves to die. Basically, the twins need the spiritual, physical, emotional need to be with the other.
Ondi,
Having
is
that
that
taken
gone?
from them was so strong, so powerful,
Huh.
that they basically forced themselves to
Hey, it's
shut
like this
down and
guy's like,
die
oh, you don't need to be
in hopes
logged
that their
in to submit a
spirits
ticket.
could
But when I go to the ticket,
But
it's
as
like, hey,
crazy
you
as
need to
that
be logged in.
sounds, there's actually one
Send a
more very
screenshot.
strange detail about
But it's
the
like,
way
it
they
won't
died
let me fucking
that
log
seems to
in. Like,
add
look.
a layer of credibility to the idea that
Account,
whatever
like,
happened
submit a
here
ticket.
is bigger than science. It's something paranormal. It's something
Account
supernatural.
management.
It's something else.
You must
And
be
that
logged
was
in
that when
with
they
a full
found
Riot
Bobby
account
and
before you
Betty's
can
bodies
submit this
just
type
5
of
minutes
ticket.
apart from each other on opposite ends of the hospital, they weren't just laying in bed in the same position as the other. No. It seemed like they were positioned sort of awkwardly on their bed. If you think about how a bed works, you know, it's a rectangle and you lay vertically along the bed. The girls were found sort of a little bit at an angle on their respective beds. Like they were sort of positioned in a non-natural, non-parallel way with their bed. They were sort of almost perpendicular to the flow
It's like, I
of
don't
their
need to
bed.
recover
And at
my
first, it was
account. I
just an
know
anomaly
I'm
of how they
logged
were found
into
when
my
they died,
account.
and they sort of got into this position. But then somebody
I
realized
just
if
need to
you
know.
removed all the walls, just in your mind, if you removed all the walls between each of the rooms they were in, the way they were laying on the bed made sense.
I
Because
just don't
girls,
understand.
in their own way, positioned themselves to be looking exactly at each other when they died. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of today's episode in the comments. And remember, we have hundreds of videos for you to binge right now. But if you're looking for a recommendation from me of that one video that's worth your time, well, it's this one right here. So give it a watch.
We can't beat
All
the
right, until
bots in
next
a
time,
team
see ya.
fight.
On July 4th, 2018, a paramedic was hurrying through a hospital in England when a supervisor flagged him down looking very concerned. She asked him if he had been one of the paramedics on a very specific call a few days earlier. Surprised, the paramedic said yes. The call had been completely typical, so he didn't really understand why this particular call mattered so much. But the instant he confirmed he had been there, his supervisor said she would explain in a minute, but for right now, he had to take off all of his gear, like all of it, right now, because there was a chance that what he was wearing could kill him. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right show, because that's all we do, and we upload 2, 3, even 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please sneak into the like button's house and remove all of their outlets and then replace it with a blank plate. Also, please subscribe to our
Yeah, I
channel
don't know.
and turn on all notifications.
I don't know what
so you
else to
don't
do,
miss any of
Callie.
our
I'm at a
weekly
loss.
updates.
I'm pissed.
Okay,
This
let's
is
get
bullshit.
into today's story.
View your tickets, manage your account, and get help fast.
On the afternoon of June 29th,
Sign in.
2018,
Request fields
a
are too
44-year-old
large.
woman named Dawn Sturgis sat on a blanket in a park in Salisbury, England, drinking some wine with a few friends and her boyfriend, Charlie Rowley. It was Dawn's favorite way to spend a Friday, especially since it involved Charlie. So they'd been dating for 16 months, and she was completely in love with him, primarily because Charlie was truly like the lone bright spot in Dawn's otherwise really difficult life. So Dawn was an alcoholic who had struggled with an undiagnosed case of bipolar disorder for years. And so she had a hard time finding work. And for the last 2 years, she'd actually lived in a therapeutic group home. But it was a little after she had moved in there that she had very fortunately met Charlie. Now, on paper, Dawn and Charlie did not seem like they would be good for each other. Charlie was addicted to heroin. He also didn't have a job, and he was frequently in trouble with the law. And so when they first got together, people in Dawn's life worried that Charlie ultimately was just going to
Holy
pull her
shit.
down
Okay, I
further
fixed it.
into her own problems.
Oh my god, you're in?
But they did make each other
Redirecting
really
Are you in?
And so they spent basically all of their time together.
And now it
going
says
to
once
different
again,
parties,
oh, you're
visiting
not logged
the
in.
park, hanging out with their friends. And for Dawn, this taste of
Redirecting
happiness had made her
you.
want to make
What
some
do you mean?
positive
Okay,
changes in her
now
life.
I'm logged
Now,
in.
she still drank alcohol.
Oh my god.
Okay,
but she
now
finally got her
submit a
bipolar
ticket
disorder
for League of
diagnosed
Legends.
and properly medicated.
Wait, if you're logged
And she was
in.
feeling stable for the first time in
Okay,
years. She was even
and
planning to move out of that group
account
home
management.
and into a new apartment soon, and hoped that, that would give her a chance for a
I'm
true
gonna play an
fresh
actual
start.
game now.
And because of all these changes,
I mean, you have
Dawn
to
had
like
planned
update
to
the
get
Player
together with her family to
reporting
show them how well she
guide.
was doing.
Wait.
It was in a few days, and she'd really wanted Charlie to come with her, since their relationship, at least in her mind,
Submit
was
a
a huge
ticket.
reason she'd been so motivated to turn this corner.
Choose a
Except,
request.
despite
Count-
how much
What's his
she
name,
adored
Jim?
Charlie
Management.
and really was excited for her life with him, at the current moment,
I
as
think
they
my
sat in the
Callie
park
needs
on
a
this
new
Friday,
skin,
she actually was really
but
mad
I
at
don't
him.
really wanna.
So
buy
before
one.
arriving at the park, Charlie and their
I guess I'll
friends had
just
done some
wait.
heroin and some other drugs, and being under the influence of these substances was making Charlie act like a total jerk. Dawn had just bought some new hair dye to give herself a new look for this get-together with her family, and now Charlie, high on drugs, was wasting it by putting it in his beard and his
Wait a second.
eyebrows
No.
as a joke. And so Dawn ultimately was really
Oh, no.
mad, not
What?
so much because
Why
he
would
was
I?
wasting
This
the
is
dye,
so dumb.
but because by dyeing your beard and eyebrows and all that, that Charlie was going to look like a total deranged mess
Oh,
when
no.
he met her family for the first time in a few days. And so when she
The
expressed
fuck
her
kind of
concerns to
fucking
Charlie,
ticket
he
bullshit
did go
is
and,
this?
wash out the dye from his face, and he got most of it out. But even after, Dawn still felt just so annoyed by the whole thing. It's like he knew how important this meeting with her family was going to be. Why would you jeopardize that? And so in the end, even after he had cleaned himself up, Dawn just got up and stormed off, leaving Charlie and the friends to pack everything up. She was done.
This is so
Hours
fucking
later,
stupid.
around 10 p.m. that night, Dawn lay on the couch
What
in
does
Charlie's
it
living
say
room,
on the
listening to
screen?
Charlie and their friend Sam Hobson
Yeah.
talk
Well, it's
about
like it's
life
not
and how
even what I
unpredictable and how
need.
unfair
Like
it
I
can
don't
be.
even know. I
Now,
don't
Dawn
even.
was still feeling annoyed at Charlie.
I just pick one that's
but
close to it.
overall, she was mostly back to being in a pretty good mood. After she had stormed away from the park, she had gone to her place, and she had dyed her
fuck
hair
is that
with the
sound?
rest of the dye that was
That
left.
was me
Callie
talking to the
equals
boss.
fail.
Dawn actually had 3 kids of her own, and 2 of them were
That's
adults.
proof Callie's love.
But her own mother, so Dawn's mother, had custody of the youngest child. And Dawn was hoping that maybe they could all see each other tomorrow at this get-together. And her mother had said yes. So Dawn was really looking forward to that. But at this exact moment, all Dawn really wanted to do was just go to sleep.
I'm kind of
So she
sweaty
got
right
up off the
now. I
couch
need
to go
like
grab her
an
nightly
AC or
medication
something.
out of the
So
bathroom.
dumb.
They turn-
And just to get there, she had
Yeah,
to
that's
carefully
pretty
step
dumb.
around all the junk and just sort of random items that were laying strewn about all over Charlie's apartment. Charlie was always going out and finding things out on the street or even in dumpsters and bringing those things back home. Sometimes he would sell these things afterwards, but a lot of the things he just sort of kept around.
Back to
So
fucking
the apartment
support.
was very cluttered. But Dawn successfully navigated the pathway to the bathroom.
Oh my
She grabbed her
god,
pills, and then
no.
went back to the couch, swallowed the medication, and then she lay back into the cushions. Then minutes later, she was asleep.
Support.
The next
I'd have
morning,
to play
Dawn woke
Jin
up
Ba
on Charlie's
or
couch a
Akali
little bit before
Man.
9:30 a.m. She did have
No,
a small
fuck
hangover,
off. Just
just a
let me
little
log
headache,
out.
but by her standards, that was not so bad. She had not drank a ton the day before, so this was a good start to her day. Just a few minutes later, Charlie came into the room and he sat
Who
on
am
the
I
couch
playing?
next to
I'm
her
playing
and said
Jin.
good morning. And between Dawn not
I'm
feeling that
like,
great
I'm like,
physically
I'm
and
like
remembering
hanging the
how
carrot
obnoxious
over your
Charlie had
head,
been
like
yesterday with the hair dye, Dawn really didn't feel like talking to him right now. But before she could say as much, Charlie's eyes lit up and he said he'd almost forgotten.
how many?
He actually had a present for her that he'd gotten a few days ago. And then Charlie, he jumped up and he disappeared into the kitchen. And then he came back with a box, which he said was for her.
Oh
It was
my
her
god!
gift. And this made Dawn forget
Can you
all
go
about her
like
irritation
if we're
with him.
able to play? Can you
Dawn
go
didn't
like
get very many
the
gifts.
new
I mean,
support?
she had a lot of friends
I
in
could
her
try.
life who, wanted to give her gifts, but, they, much like her and Charlie, didn't have much money. And so gifts were not a common thing in her life. And so to be receiving this gift right now was really exciting. And so Dawn smiled widely and she opened up the box's lid, and inside was this clearly very expensive bottle of perfume. And she gasped when she saw it. It was brand new. She would never have been able to afford something
I'm
like
waiting for
this. And
them
she
to
was
enter the
shocked,
bush.
frankly, that Charlie had managed to get
Oh,
it for
they-
her. Like,
they
how
didn't
could he have
enter it.
gotten this? Dawn gave Charlie a very excited hug, and she told him she absolutely loved it. And so she pulled it out and she sprayed some on her wrists and she rubbed them together and she thought it smelled so good. And then she handed the bottle to Charlie and told him to please put this somewhere safe. Then she stood up from the couch with a big smile on her face and she went to get her makeup to go get ready for the day. About 5 minutes later, Dawn was sitting back on the couch with her makeup bag now in her lap, and she was applying foundation to her face and telling Charlie about how she was thinking
I
about
hate-
putting more dye in her hair, maybe a blue streak this time. But as she finished her foundation and reached for her powder, she felt her headache suddenly intensify. She winced, hoping it would pass, but pretty soon she started feeling pretty lightheaded and realized she was sweating quite a bit. She stopped talking about her hair and told Charlie she was feeling really weird. Charlie seemed worried
Yo, my
and
heart is
asked if she
beating
wanted
so
some pain
fast.
relievers, but Dawn just shook her head. She'd already taken her meds that day and didn't want to take more pills because it could upset her stomach. Instead, she handed her makeup bag to Charlie and asked him to go put it back in the bedroom, and then she hurried to the bathroom to splash some water on her face. And by the time she got in there and actually began putting the water on her face, it was like her whole body felt like it was on fire. She was sweating so much to the point where she felt like this water wasn't enough. And so she actually just climbed into the empty bathtub and just figured the cold tile of the tub would feel good against her hot skin. But as soon as she climbed in and laid down, she felt her breath start to catch in her chest. From the living room, Charlie heard Dawn in the bathroom, and he heard the sound of the water turning on and then off, and then the sound of Dawn rustling around in there. Now, he was somewhat worried about her, but he also knew she regularly had hangovers, and she clearly had one now, and so he figured, that's what this was. He also really wanted to leave right now and go meet up with his friend Sam to shoot up some more heroin, because that would take the edge off his headache and his nausea. However, before he could do that, he heard a weird sound coming out of the bathroom where Dawn was.
Oh,
I love
the-
Mr. Ball and true, Yuri. We're trying to get this
Then he
ticket figured
realized
out because
it
it
was a
won't let me
gargling
log into
sound.
fucking
And so at this
League of
point,
Legends because
he
it
jumped to
won't
his
let me
feet and hurried
fucking
to the bathroom
accept
door,
my
and as soon
goddamn.
as he opened it, he
Your
gasped,
account has been
because Dawn
recovered.
was laying there in the empty bathtub, fully clothed,
Okay,
and frothing at the mouth.
but
Charlie
that doesn't
had no
really
idea
help
what
me
was
because that's not what I
happening, but he
need is an
instinctively
account
ran over to
recovery.
her,
I need them
pulled
to
her out of
figure
the
out why
tub,
my
and laid her on the
fucking
floor, and he could tell that she was
phone
basically
number isn't
unconscious
working.
and she was limp. And in fact,
I don't
when he
give
listened
a
closely to her mouth, he couldn't even tell.
so
Brand.
fucking retarded. It should be
And so Charlie was thinking,
illegal
this is not a
to
hangover.
make
This is
you
something
give them
way
your
more
fucking
serious.
phone number.
So he ran and got a phone and he called the emergency line. And when the
This Brian
dispatcher
just
picked up,
emoted at
Charlie
me because I
frantically
was
explained
chasing
what was
him.
going on. That Dawn, his girlfriend, had just
I just blamed
collapsed in the
Callie
bathtub
for
out of nowhere.
fucking
The
getting me into
operator
this
got his
mess in the
address
first
and said they would send a
place.
paramedic. But they also told Charlie he would have
What
to
the
give
fuck? I
CPR
hate
on
this
Dawn
brand
while
right
he
now.
waited. And so they explained
I
to him
hate-
how
I
to do
fucking-
that over the phone. Charlie was horrified, but he tried to take a deep breath and do what they said so he could help Dawn. So
I don't
he
like
kept
this
the phone
guy.
by his side while
He
he
got me killed.
straddled Dawn. And
Yes, this
He
is
made me
giving me a
compassionate.
password
it would take
reset
an
change.
agonizing
It's like
19 minutes before a single paramedic finally arrived. And by that time, Dawn had begun to turn blue. Charlie paced around anxiously inside of his apartment while the paramedic took over chest compressions. Charlie could hear the paramedic
guess
calling
the
for more
brand
help
isn't-
on his radio. And sure enough, a few minutes later, more paramedics streamed inside.
we've sent
And
the
at first, this
password
made Charlie
recovery
feel hopeful.
information.
Like
Okay,
more medical support meant that Dawn
but
was
I
going to be
need
okay
more
here.
help.
But then, from his spot out in the living room, he heard one of the paramedics say something about drugs, like this could be an overdose or something. Charlie heard that and he called out that Dawn didn't do drugs, but the paramedics did not seem to hear him. And a second later, their voices got more urgent. They were using a lot of medical terminology that Charlie didn't understand, but he did catch one thing. Dawn's heart had apparently stopped. Now, the paramedics were actually able to get her heart beating again, but it took
can't
them
hit
more
my-
than
I don't
an
even.
hour to get
See,
her
this is
stable
the
enough
biggest problem. I
to
don't even know
move
if I
her
have a
from
ticket in
Charlie's apartment
or what
to
the fuck is
hospital.
going on right
Charlie,
now.
he just watched in panic and despair.
Like,
as they
it's just
loaded his
not gonna
girlfriend
let
on
me
the
play the
stretcher.
motherfucking game.
And then he followed them out of the apartment to stay with Dawn for as long as he could. And then before they put her into the ambulance,
Oh, no,
he leaned in and he told her he would meet her at the hospital. As the ambulance doors closed and the sirens came on, Charlie's friend, Sam, appeared, looking very shocked by the commotion. They'd had plans to go to a church event that day that had free food, which Charlie had totally forgotten about. But Charlie told Sam everything that had happened and said he had to skip out on that event because he needed to go to the hospital as fast as he could to meet Dawn. But even as he was saying this out loud, he knew he really couldn't do that. Because if he went to the hospital right now, he had no idea how long he'd be there. And since he was addicted to heroin, he would start to get sick from withdrawal if he didn't get some drugs in his system first. And so Charlie felt trapped. He really didn't know what to do here. And he
So anyone have
sort
a
of felt like
spare
he was on
phone
the
number
verge
they
of
want to
breaking
throw at me?
down. You know, this was just so much. But then he remembered he had a methadone prescription at the local pharmacy.
And they
Methadone
want
is a
people to
drug
fucking
that's
play
often
their
given to
game,
people
but they
who
just
are
make it
addicted to
impossible to
heroin,
play their
who
fucking
are,
game.
trying to get clean. And this drug is used to help them with addiction and withdrawal symptoms. It sort of closely mimics what the body would feel if it shot up the drug, but without, the euphoria and the actual high sensation of using the drug. Now, Charlie had not actually filled his methadone prescription yet,
Man,
mostly because he was not focused on getting clean. But as he's thinking about needing to be at the hospital all day and needing to be, coherent and being able to talk to doctors and nurses and Dawn, he thought, well, hey, I'll go fill my methadone prescription. I'll take that. It'll keep me, from getting sick, but I'll also be clear-minded so I can be in the hospital and help Dawn. So Charlie asked Sam if he would come with him on a different outing to go to the pharmacy to get his methadone. A couple of hours later, at around 3:30 p.m., Charlie got back to his apartment with Sam. It had been incredibly hot outside, and walking around for that long, they now were both dripping with sweat. After they had gone to the pharmacy, Charlie and Sam had actually gone by that church event, but not really to get food, but instead to literally go say a prayer for Dawn. Now, they were back at his place to pack up a bag both for himself and also for Dawn that they would bring to her at the hospital, and then Charlie didn't really know how long he would be there, but he now had his methadone and figured he'd be okay. But as Charlie
Yeah,
was
it
doing
works
this, it was like he couldn't think straight. He had this really intense headache, and even though it had been hot outside, it was like he just couldn't stop sweating. And so Charlie was thinking to himself, maybe it's the methadone. He had never done it before, and maybe this is like a byproduct. Maybe these are symptoms from taking methadone. So he decided he would just take a shower, thinking that would kind of, clear out these symptoms and he'd be back to normal.
Yeah, it's just never gonna let me.
After the shower, he felt even worse. And when he looked in the mirror, he saw his pupils were now constricted to little pinpricks. But he still
Oh my
tried to
god,
press
it's a
on
fucking
here.
the
He went
fairy.
into
Okay,
his
I'm
room
dead.
to get dressed and to finish packing Dawn's bag. But
Please
as just a
enter a
couple of
valid
minutes
phone
went by,
number.
he noticed his heart began to race. And as it raced, it got faster and faster, like he couldn't calm it down. Now, over the past couple of days, between the methadone and heroin, Charlie had basically used a lot of drugs. But he did drugs all the time, and he'd never felt this
I
combination of
completely
symptoms
forgot
before.
what all the chants
And so
did.
Charlie, he leaves the
Okay, well,
bedroom,
how do I
and he goes into
uninstall the
living room,
game?
and he just sits down on the couch, feeling completely awful.
Oh,
And he has this thought come to him.
Well, I
He's
literally
thinking,
can't play. Like,
okay,
I just,
don't
I
think it's the
fucking
drugs,
can't
'cause I
play the
always do
game.
drugs, and this is not it. I've never felt this way. And he looks over at Sam, his friend.
What am I supposed to
And he has
do?
this weird thought that it's like, what if Sam poisoned me? What if that's what's going on here? What if I've been poisoned? And without really thinking through how or when this could have happened or why, Charlie began berating Sam, saying, "You poisoned me! Why did you do this to me?" And Sam was so caught off guard that he was like, "What are you talking about?" And he began backing away. And Charlie, he just jumped up off the couch and began to pursue Sam like he was going to attack him. But after only taking a couple of steps away from the couch, Charlie's mouth filled up with so much saliva that he stopped being able to speak clearly. All he could do was kind of gurgle and spit out this froth, and then his legs got so weak and wobbly that he had to lean against the wall just to keep from falling down.
Yeah, it always just takes me back
And
to
then
the
he felt
same
his whole body
fucking
begin to
site
seize up.
that doesn't
The
do
last
anything.
thing Charlie was aware of.
And there's nowhere
was
where
his
it's like,
friend Sam
change your
grabbing a
your
phone
phone
and
number,
calling for an
update your
ambulance.
phone number, place
About an
in
hour
your
later,
phone
inside of the
number.
emergency room of the Salisbury District Hospital, the on-call doctor stood in Charlie Riley's treatment room while a nurse at his bedside took his blood. The doctor had just finished examining Charlie, who was now unconscious. He'd clearly had a seizure, and now he had a fever. He had constricted pupils, and he had labored breathing. So clearly, to the doctor, Charlie's condition was very serious. But the doctor was sure he knew exactly what had caused it. Charlie had overdosed on drugs. And the doctor really felt strongly about this because Charlie's girlfriend, Dawn, had been treated that morning for the exact same thing. She'd been brought in after her heart stopped, and she'd had a lot of the same symptoms as Charlie. Now, they had stabilized her, but she'd been admitted to the intensive care unit and was still listed in critical condition. And so the doctor felt really confident in his diagnosis of both Dawn and Charlie because the symptoms fit. And the officer in charge of both cases had confirmed that Charlie, at least, was a known drug user. And the apartment where they'd both been found had been full of needles and other drug paraphernalia. Over the next 24 hours, neither Dawn nor Charlie got any better. In fact, they both got much worse. Their nervous systems began to completely break down, meaning that essential body functions like breathing were beginning to fail. Dawn was literally in a coma and being kept alive by a life support machine, and Charlie was
Yo, I
also
hate this
still
shit.
unconscious, and his breathing had declined to the point where they had to put him on a ventilator. He'd also been moved to the intensive care unit, same as Dawn. And so at this point, Charlie and Dawn no longer looked like they had simply overdosed on drugs. It seemed like
You
maybe they'd
remember when
actually
I told
took
you
a bad
that
drug,
I'm
like there was
good at League?
poison in the drugs they took, perhaps, or something completely different. But
Hey, Tox,
none of
are
the
you
medical
there?
staff
Did
could
you leave
figure
me?
out
Do you
what
hate
was
me?
actually wrong.
No,
It
one
was
second, I'm
totally
reading.
anomalous. By the afternoon of July 3rd, so 3 days after Dawn and Charlie were hospitalized, one of the
Oh, you're
doctors in
eating.
the intensive care unit where they were, his name was Stephen
Okay,
Jukes.
it
He had
says
officially
phone
taken
numbers
over
are only
both of their
required for
cases.
tournament
Dr.
modes
Jukes
like
had seen the
Clash
results
and
from the initial
Premier.
toxicology screenings, and they showed that while Charlie did have a significant amount of heroin and other drugs in his system, Dawn did not. All her results showed was that she'd taken some prescription psychiatric medication. And so Dr. Jukes had sent more of their blood to another lab to test for a wider range
So
of drugs.
retarded.
So he was waiting on those results. But admittedly, he was losing faith that the results he was going to get would give him his answer. Now, by this point, Dr. Jukes had ruled out some things that could have caused their symptoms. Like at one point, they believed that, maybe the two had been exposed to a gas leak in Charlie's apartment because some of the symptoms you get with the gas leak are similar to what they had. But the main reason this theory didn't really work out is, Dawn and Charlie had been in the apartment together that morning that Dawn was brought into the hospital, but only Dawn was affected. Charlie wasn't. And so presumably they were
It
both
says it
being
only asks
exposed
for your
at the same
email
time
address,
to,
not your
if
phone.
there was a gas leak. But then Charlie, he leaves the house for several hours, so he's out completely unexposed to whatever was in there. He comes back into the apartment, and then he feels sick. It just
Count
it didn't really add
manager
up. If he got
page,
sick from a gas leak
you
in
can
the apartment,
upgrade.
it should
So
have happened
from
at
the
the same time as Dawn. Also, the first responders, when they were in
Count
there working on
manager
Dawn, they
page,
didn't report
how
smelling anything odd.
do
Of course,
I
some leaks like carbon monoxide,
upgrade my account?
you wouldn't be able to smell that, but a typical
Apparently I'm a
gas leak,
guest
you
and
would
I
be
need
able
to be
smell. It smells
full?
like rotten eggs. Plus, you also have the fact that when Charlie got sick, Sam, his friend, was in the apartment as well, and he did not get sick. So, all told, the gas leak theory seemed to not be it. Dr. Jukes had also briefly wondered if maybe what had happened to Dawn and Charlie was connected to this strange toxin exposure case that had come through the hospital a couple of months earlier. However, the victims in that case were from out of the country, and Dawn and Charlie had not been out of England, so Dr. Jukes had ruled that out as well. But Dr. Jukes did have one theory he still thought was a good one. Maybe this was pesticide poisoning. It matched with their symptoms, and Dr. Jukes knew that sometimes
There's no
street
option
drugs
for that,
can
though.
be contaminated with pesticides. So if Dawn and Charlie had both taken something that Dr. Jukes hadn't tested for yet, then they could have maybe been exposed that way. He had told the police about this theory, and so they'd issued a press release encouraging drug users to be extra cautious in case, there was this pesticide out there. But Dr. Jukes also knew that drugs were not the only way people could be exposed to pesticides. Simply eating, drinking, or breathing in contaminated food or water or air could be fatal. And this was extremely troubling to Dr. Jukes and to everybody else involved with the case. Because if Dawn and Charlie had been exposed to potentially deadly chemicals just by doing normal things in their home or neighborhood, that meant that basically everybody else in their neighborhood was also in danger of getting sick too. Now, until Dawn or Charlie woke up again, they were not going to be able
God,
to
it's
figure out,
literally
where they had been or
easier
what
to
they
get
had
into my
touched or
fucking
ingested
bank than it
before
is
they
this
got
shit.
sick. So
This is
Dr.
so
Jukes felt
fucking
like
retarded.
he needed to get that information from somewhere else, and fast. The next morning, July 4th, so 4 days after Dawn and Charlie got sick, Dr. Jukes pushed open a door to a room where Dawn's mother, her 3 sisters, and her son were all waiting. He'd heard they were all here visiting Dawn, and so he had one of the nurses send them to one of these hospital family rooms so he could speak to them. He was hoping that they might be able to shed some light on where Dawn had been and what she might have eaten or drank before she got sick. Now, Dawn's family was staring at him with anxious expressions on their faces. He barely got out his introduction before they started lobbing questions at him about what was going on and why the news was describing Dawn as some kind of drug addict. Dr. Jukes just held up his hand to slow them down, and once they were quiet, he explained that at first they had believed
Yeah,
this was
there's
an overdose
nothing
because she
here
had
that
all the
says
symptoms
anything
for
about
it.
adding a phone number.
But now,
or
based on how the
upgrading your
symptoms had
account.
progressed, he knew overdose was very likely not the case here. Then he told them his theory about the pesticides and said he really needed their help with it. He asked them to tell him everything they could about Dawn, her habits, her health history, and the people she typically saw. Dawn's mother said she had spoken to Dawn on the phone the night before all this started, and she said Dawn seemed fine. She had even asked to see her young daughter the next day at the big family get-together they were planning. Aside from that, though, The family said that, Dawn struggled with alcoholism.
I made
and her
friends
mental
with a
health,
dog.
and she didn't always tell them everything. And so they just didn't
Oh
know
my
much
god,
about
I'm
Dawn's daily
dying.
life
I'm
with
dying
Charlie
here.
or
This
her
is
friends
so
in Salisbury,
retarded.
although they were pretty sure that she rarely ever went outside of the city. But what the family primarily wanted to communicate to Dr.
You're
Jukes
dying.
was
Don't
that Dawn
Look for
was
die.
not
account
just some
Survive.
linking
nobody, the way the
buttons
news had portrayed her.
directly
She was a loving
in
mother
your
and
game
sister and
client.
daughter
In
and
Wild
friend, and
Rift,
she was really
go to
trying to do that, and
profile,
she
tap your
was doing
profile
that.
picture.
She didn't
You
want
should
much.
see
She just
linking
wanted a place of her
options
own
there.
and a little more stability in her life, and
Wild
that's
Rift.
the path
Well,
she was
Wild
on.
Rift is
And
just
so they begged
the
him
app
not to give up
on the
her.
phone.
Dr. Jukes
Wait, there's a
promised he
phone
would
app?
not, but
Yeah,
as
there's
he
a
looked in
phone.
room, he
The
couldn't
game
help
is
but
on the
feel
phone
disappointed.
too.
He was glad to know more about Dawn as a person. She seemed
So,
wonderful.
Wait, what do
But
I
he'd been
get?
hoping for some kind of breakthrough about what exactly had happened to her, and he hadn't gotten that. I mean, none of them had been able to give him any answer that could maybe even begin to explain what was going on.
I want to dance
And
with
so
the
at this
dog.
point, he really wasn't sure what else he could even do. But as Dr. Jukes headed back towards his office to try to figure out his next move, he saw a lab tech rushing towards him down the hallway. The tech was holding a piece of paper, and when he reached Dr. Jukes, he shoved the paper into his hands. The tech was out of breath, but told Dr. Jukes he had to read this right now. So Dr. Jukes, he looked at the paper, and he saw that it was the lab results for Dawn and Charlie. And when he scanned its contents, he could not believe what he was reading. The new blood test that he had ordered did not confirm the presence of pesticides or of any other street drugs, but
I need a
it
fucking
did show
hope.
something else. Something
Fail
so
stream, fail
unexpected
streamer,
and so
fail
dangerous.
bullshit, Callie. The only thing that's
Dr.
keeping me
Jukes
alive
now
is
knew
being able
for
to hear your
certain
voice.
that Dawn and Charlie were not the only ones at risk here. Everyone was. Like literally everyone in Charlie's apartment
3,
building,
2, 1,
everyone
talk.
in Dawn and Charlie's neighborhood, all the paramedics, all the doctors, all the nurses that had treated them, and all the patients in the hospital. Literally everybody. In fact, it was even possible that everyone in the whole city was now in danger. And it might already be too late. And so Dr. Jukes sprinted down the hall towards his office, picked up the phone, and he called the police. A few hours later, the deputy head of investigations for one of England's counter-terrorism units, Philip Murphy, stood on the street outside of Charlie's apartment building. His team had completely cordoned off the whole building and evacuated everybody who was inside. Dozens of officers and crime scene technicians were going in and out of the space wearing these big protective suits, and they were swabbing surfaces and collecting
I made
evidence.
friends
Because of those tests that
again.
Dr. Jukes had run, Murphy knew exactly what substance had sickened Dawn and Charlie,
I keep
but he had
making
no
friends
idea
in the
how they
video.
could have come in
Have you ever
contact
done
with
that?
him.
Made
And
friends in
answering
a
that
fucking
question
game?
was now a matter of international security.
Who sent
Made
me
friends
that?
for
Now,
what?
Not only was Murphy's
I made friends
counterterrorism
in a
unit
league game.
involved, but
Oh,
so
hell
were
yeah.
multiple other agencies, including the UK's
It's
Secret
so much
Service,
fun.
which
Wait,
is known as
who just
MI5.
added me anyway?
MI5 would deal with the other
Probably the
countries outside
dude
of
from-
Europe that were now getting involved
Okay,
in this.
from the
In
match we
addition to
just
Charlie's
played, yeah.
apartment, the counterterrorism unit had been deployed to the
fuck?
hospital and
How
were
do I
making
check?
anyone who visited Dawn and Charlie now wear
I need to
protective
check
gear.
who just
They had
added me.
contacted all the paramedics and all the officers who interacted with Dawn and
Did you
Charlie.
send the? Were you
and
able
made
to send
them
the
pack up
ticket?
their uniforms and equipment as
I have no
biohazards.
idea. Nothing's
Some
happening.
police officers were now sifting through.
I'm like, I've
literally
recovered the
thousands
account
of
like
hours
6
of
times. I'm like,
CCTV
I don't need
footage
account
Oh.
recovery. I need to
city
figure out
from
why
the
my
past few
phone number
weeks,
doesn't work.
looking for any signs of Dawn
Show
or
me the
Charlie.
screen.
And others were contacting Dawn and
What do you
Charlie's
mean?
friends
Like, I'm
to
just
try to get a
talking-
sense of their recent movements.
Talking to the bot
At least
right now.
one friend had already taken officers
Oh.
on a tour of a park they'd all gone to.
I'm
the
trying to
day
be like, why
before
the fuck
Dawn
is
and
this
Charlie
not
got sick.
working?
Murphy actually had a team headed there right now to close it off and start taking more samples.
fuck?
He also
Wait.
had another team at Dawn's place doing the same
Get
thing.
me out of here.
And so, as Murphy stood there watching the officers in suits go in and out of Charlie's apartment, he knew that really, as big as this
Yo,
was,
what the fuck is
this was
happening?
actually just the beginning. He was going to have to be patient.
I
because
think
even though the
I think League
situation
has
was
some sort of
clearly urgent,
hacker
he also
issue
knew
now.
it could take a
Because I've
long
got this is
time
the
to
second
figure out
time I've
exactly
gotten
what happened.
like a message
And so at this
from a
point,
random
all
person
Murphy or
asking
anybody
me
else
if they
for that
want to
matter
run
could
it
do
back
here
later.
was just hope that
True,
the
Callie, you're gonna get
authorities found
hacked.
some answers before more people got hurt.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna
just
get
4
hacked.
days
yeah.
later, on July 8th,
I'm
Dawn was
delete
taken
them
off
now,
life support and died
because
in
I
the
have
hospital.
no idea
And
why
of course, that was incredibly
they're sending me
tragic.
the exact
But
same message
specifically
as
for
before.
Murphy, he was hoping to get a chance to speak to her. She was,
What's-
a potential treasure trove of information about how this whole thing happened. And now, of course, he would never get that chance. On July 11th, so 11 days after Dawn and Charlie first got sick, with Dawn now deceased and Charlie alive but still unable to talk, The agencies
Yeah,
working on
I
the
never
case
played
had
a game
managed
with
to
this
eliminate
guy.
almost every location that Dawn and Charlie
I
had
don't know.
visited
I hate
as
this
the
game.
source of this toxic substance.
No, you
Except for one.
don't.
And
You
that
love
was
this
Charlie's
game.
apartment. And so
This
Murphy
is why I
sent the
quit,
forensics
bro.
team
This
back to the
shit just
apartment
became like,
to search it all
literally,
over
it's
again.
easier to get into my bank.
That afternoon, a lead officer
Like,
with the
that's
forensics
fucked
team
up that it's
stood in the
easier
middle
to
of
get into my
Charlie's small
bank.
apartment
Like, if I lost my
alongside some of his
password to my
colleagues.
bank,
This lead officer
like,
and his
it-
team were all dressed in these very
you
heavy-duty
know,
protective
I just get it
suits.
back.
So they moved slowly
That's
around a
fucked
cramped
up.
space as they took samples of surfaces and bagged potential evidence. All the stuff, all the clutter in the apartment made it really hard to get around.
And it's like, shouldn't there be a button that
Clothes
says
on the floor
upgrade
and
your
looking at
account
fabric
here?
and dirty dishes stacked in the sink
You'd
and on
think,
the counters, and
right?
overflowing trash cans.
And it says
In the
nowhere it
bedroom, there was a
asks
bunch
us
of
for your
makeup
phone
and
number,
some
but it's
hair dye
asking
boxes
for your
scattered on
phone
the
number.
floor, along with
And it's like, oh no, it
needles
asks for
and
your
other
email address. I'm
paraphernalia.
like, well,
There was
what
not
the
a ton of
fuck?
furniture in the apartment. It was all
You
over
can
the
just
place
like
because
select
paramedics had
whatever
pushed it
is
around
closest to
during
the
that
problem
response.
you're having and
Other
then
areas
explain
of
it
the
to them.
place were littered with medical
I
debris.
did, and it gave me
rubber
a
gloves and
password
plastic
recovery
wrappers.
for my
There
account.
was also just some trash
Oh.
and just kind of like random
Bleh.
objects,
And
And I was like, that's not what I
Email them.
need.
piled up on the
Email them.
windowsills.
I have my
Yeah,
It's
then-
almost like
fucking
there was literally too much in
account.
the apartment to even effectively
Email
test
them
it
and
all.
then we
It's
can
not that
play
I
the
can't
next
get
time.
into my
lead
account,
officer
I can't
walked around doing
upgrade
his
my
best
account.
to
And there's no
identify things to
option
be tested.
anywhere that says anything
Something
about
encountered
upgrading your
on his
account
eye.
or phone
It was an object
verification.
Oh wait.
very different from
Actually,
anything else
one sec. Let me
in the
let me
apartment.
check.
Now,
League.
to understand what happened to Don and Charlie, you have to go back in time.
There's
to
actually I
3.5
remember that
months
because the
before they
last
got
time I
sick,
did that
when an
was-
unrelated older man and a younger woman were found unresponsive on a park bench in Salisbury and brought
Wait a
to the
minute.
Salisbury District Hospital, the
You are-
same one that Don and Charlie would go to.
I'm just trying to do it
Now,
on the
this older
phone.
man and the young woman, when they came into the hospital, they were experiencing seizures and they couldn't stop vomiting. But after being
Uh.
treated at the hospital, they actually both fully recovered. And at first,
I remember
the
when I
doctors
had
there,
to do
including
that, but
Dr.
I
Jukes,
don't think I
thought
had
this
as
man
much
and
trouble.
woman were just regular civilians.
It's
who
like
had
it
gotten
just
sick
literally won't
due
accept
from
my
an
phone
illness.
number.
But soon,
And like the
it
only thing I
became
can think
clear
of is that
that
my
both
phone
of
number's
those
already
things
attached to
were
my account, but it doesn't know that.
One, they were not just regular civilians.
Mystery
Because it's the
ball.
only
older
thing I
man
can think
was a
of. Because
Russian
it's like, oh, you
spy
can only
who
use it
infected
once,
Dink,
and I'm like,
the young woman was
that's why I couldn't
infected,
use yours,
and
because
they had
yours is probably
definitely not
connected to
overdosed.
your.
They
Yeah.
had been
Thing.
poisoned.
That's why.
An investigation discovered that the substance that had been used to poison them was this very rare and deadly chemical weapon
Whoa.
created by Russia
Match.
called Novichok, a kind of nerve agent. And so 3.5 months later, after Don and Charlie were hospitalized and getting worse and worse, and then that lab tech rushed down the hallway
Why
to
do
show
I
Dr. Jukes
have
their
a
new lab results, it
Quinn.
was Novichok, the deadly chemical that Dr. Jukes saw printed on the paper. That was in their system. Investigators in the spy poisoning
Who's my
case had
ADC?
never been able to figure out exactly how the poison had been administered to the spy and his daughter.
Oh my
But
god,
the
this
item
is so
that Murphy's
strange.
forensics team had found on the counter in Charlie's
If they don't
apartment,
have flash,
the
I'm
one
gonna
that kind
kill
of
them
stood
so
out
easily.
and didn't really appear like it belonged in this space, was
Unless
the
they're like
item that
really good and
ultimately
can dodge
solved
my
that
Q.
mystery. It would turn out Charlie actually found the source of the poison, unintentionally. It was that brand new bottle of perfume that he had given to Dawn on the morning they both got sick. Because Charlie hadn't actually bought this gift at a store, he couldn't have afforded it. Instead, he had found it in a dumpster during one of his many dumpster diving excursions.
Damn.
And that dumpster just so happened to be the exact same dumpster where a Russian agent had discarded the poison perfume after the attempted assassination. So when Dawn accepted Charlie's gift and sprayed it on her wrists in excitement, she had accidentally exposed herself and Charlie to the deadly nerve agent. Charlie would
Damn.
eventually recover from his exposure to Novichok. As for the 3 Russian agents that authorities suspect were involved in this thing, they went back to Russia and have never been prosecuted.
True.
Russia has denied involvement in the poisoning.
Yup. Welcome to the world.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode.
Damn.
Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And remember, we have a whole playlist of Places You Can't Go episodes ready for you to binge right now. So go
True.
ahead and click here and give
What's
them
this?
a watch.
What's the next one
All
we're
right,
gonna
until
watch?
next time.
Until we figure this
Yeah.
shit out. Premonition was
Sometimes
only
the
half
truth
right.
is stranger than fiction.
True.
Today, I'm going to tell you 3 stories that demonstrate that. But before we get into those stories,
Whoa, that's a lot
if
of
you're
damage.
a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story
That
format,
you're doing or you're
then you come
taking?
to the right place because that's all we
I'm
do. And
taking,
we upload 2, 3,
'cause
even
this
4
Kate
times.
Loser.
So, if that's of
Hey!
interest to you, the next time the
This
like
Kate's
button
gonna
is
fucking
struggling
die.
to fall asleep because they're scared, offer to tell them a comforting bedtime story to help them sleep.
And then
But
pull out
tell
a
them
horror.
where
What
bells
the
can't.
fuck?
Also, please
I meant
subscribe
to
to our
flash,
channel and
but-
turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's stories.
Today's bullshit stream brought to you by Callie.
What? Oh my god, I'm honored.
Thanks for the raid, though.
I'm so freaking honored, man. Who rate?
I feel like this
On
thing's
the
just
morning of
frozen.
Tuesday, July 13th,
It's just like stuck on the
1993,
screen.
a middle-aged nurse named Sharon Dempsey
I don't know
hurried
if it's
down the
loading
hallway
or
of the
something.
Harry Hubbard Hospital, which was in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. And as she
My
went down the
God.
hallway,
Or if my phone's
Sharon
frozen.
checked in every single hospital room.
I gotta.
Because she was searching
We gotta
for a
work
patient
together,
that
Talks.
kept
If you
disappearing from
if
her
you're able
room.
to come.
When Sharon reached the end of the hallway, she looked into the
We
last
just gotta
room.
work together.
There, inside, was the woman she was looking
Everywhere
for. Her name was Mildred Lancaster. She was 69 years old, and she was sweeping the floor.
Well, I'm
in
hoping
another
this will do
patient's
something,
room.
and then I can
Room
log into the
Sharon
account
knew she'd
here and
taken
upgrade the
from the
account
custodian's
through
card.
here, and then go
Sharon
directly
walked in,
through
and
it.
she politely asked
Is
Mildred,
it going smoother on
what
your
are you doing
phone?
here?
Well, it's stuck on
Mildred
this
turned to her and
screen.
just said, "Oh, she was just doing her job."
It's
But
just sitting
she
there.
wasn't really
Before it
doing
was
her
saying
job.
loading and
Mildred had
decompressing,
been
and now
admitted
it's
to the
just
hospital 2 days earlier because she
chilling
was
there.
having stomach
It
pain.
doesn't do anything.
But she was also suffering from extreme.
Usually, if I
bouts of
spam
confusion.
tap it and it's
At
not
this,
working, it'll
Sharon,
say,
the nurse,
"Oh, you
just
know,
sort of
do you
sighed
want to
and
close it,
kind of rolled her eyes.
or do you want to
because,
wait till the program
obviously this was
responds?" But it
not
seems like it's doing
Mildred's
its
job.
thing. I don't know.
Mildred was a patient. She had been admitted to the hospital 2 days earlier.
Callie, this is taking
primarily
way too
because she
long,
was
way
having
too
stomach
much
pain.
effort, and kind
But
of
she
just
also
drained
suffered from
everything out of
severe
me.
bouts of confusion.
I'm
which was
sorry.
witnessing
We should have
right
done
here.
it offline.
Her family
right?
had told doctors that, Mildred
Why
had
do I
spent
need a
most of her life
phone
being a housekeeper. And so
number?
when she would get confused, which, they saw plenty of times, she often would sort of default to thinking
Yo, this is
that she was
bullshit.
back to being a housekeeper, even though, she was home or clearly not working. She would think she was working.
Fuck
And so
you.
when Mildred began demonstrating this kind of bizarre, disoriented behavior, there was some consideration to actually just physically restraining Mildred inside of her room to keep her from vanishing and, going and thinking she was a housekeeper
Please.
somewhere. She could get into trouble or get hurt. However,
Yeah, I don't know.
Mildred
I think this
was
is
this
fucking
very
frozen.
sweet and
Apps like
gentle
never
woman
work
who,
on my phone. Like
it was
even
just
Twitter
hard
doesn't
to-
work on my
to
phone.
forcibly restrain inside of her room. And so instead, the medical team decided that we're just going to have to deal with the fact that periodically she's going to, think she's at work and
What?
might walk out of her room. And
I think
start
I
cleaning
think
somewhere.
the
And so
I
we
think
need
the
to keep a
universe
close
is
eye
just
on her,
telling me
keep
that
her
I can't
safe,
play
and
League of
just
Legends. That
deal
I
with her
shouldn't
stomach
play
pain
League of
and
Legends.
Sort of manage her disorientation. And so in this moment, Sharon, the nurse, who's just found Mildred
Caitlin
once again cleaning some room
is-
she was
I'm
not
like,
supposed
how
to
long
be
should I
in,
wait?
she just, followed their protocol and went in and kind of gently told Mildred, like, okay, put the broom down, come with me. And, Mildred listened, and she led Mildred back to her room, and Sharon continued going about her day. A couple of days later, and Sharon was doing her regular
I'm just gonna
rounds to the
close it.
hospital. And as she did, she went into Mildred's room, and once again, she saw the room was
Reopen it.
empty. Now, Sharon was actually just kind of annoyed at this point. She wasn't
Are
really
they still
concerned
here?
because by this
There's
point,
no one here.
Mildred had
What are you
done
talking
this,
about,
had, become
Callie?
disoriented, and
This is
left to
bullshit.
go clean or something so many
Only
times by this
I'm
point
here.
that it was just kind of a hassle.
You're
But,
not even
Sharon
here,
just followed protocol
motherfucker.
and quickly
Wow.
left the room.
I'm not
and
here.
began
I'm playing
walking
League
along
of
the floor,
Legends without
looking
Yeah,
for
friends.
it's
Mildred
like
so
now
she
it's
could
just on a
get back.
black screen. Oh, here we go.
But
Riot
after
games.
searching the
Okay.
floor, she didn't find
Okay.
Mildred. And so after checking the whole floor again, but this time much more thoroughly, looking in every closet, every supply area, really searching the area and still
I
not
just
finding
wait?
her, that's when Sharon began to panic. She began going to other nurses and doctors and asking them, have you seen Mildred? And remember, at
The
this
fuck
point,
just
the whole
happened?
floor
Oh.
is aware of what's going on with Mildred, but
I
have no
just
idea. It's just-
happened.
now it's
Nobody
just a
knew where
black
she was.
screen.
And so Sharon ultimately went and spoke to the higher ups at the hospital and informed them what was going on here. And in turn, they
I
launched
hope-
this huge search all across the
Oh,
hospital,
no.
both inside and outside, to just go find Mildred and get her back. And while the search is
Oh, well,
ongoing,
it
Sharon
popped up
was
on the
walking
screen
around
now, but
trying
now
to be
it's just back to
helpful
where it
because, you know,
was,
she was somebody that
where it's just
worked
sitting at the
closely with
home
Mildred
screen.
and had a sense of where she might go, and she was
Oh,
telling
maybe I
folks
just do have to
go to
wait.
messy
Yo,
areas because
bot lane is a
Mildred, when
fucking
she would get
nightmare
I just
now.
want to
I
try to
can't.
fucking
basically go
log
clean
in.
areas
I just
she
want to
deemed
try to
messy.
log
So
in.
go to parts of the hospital that might look
I am
messy.
never
So people were doing
playing bot
that.
lane again.
But this hospital, I mean, it was huge.
They're
It was
just
11
just
stories
playing
tall,
all these bullshit
and there were
champs
lots
bot
of
lane.
areas that appeared messy.
Like
And so it just
Fizz
seemed like
and
a kind of
Cho'Gath and
overwhelming task
Fizz?
to quickly search
Cho'Gath's
this
not
massive
too bad as a
property for
support.
Mildred. And then on top of that, making it even harder to find Mildred was the fact that
And all
the
my
hospital
bot lane
didn't
hates me.
have
I'm gonna
security
make friends with
cameras, so
them
they couldn't
anyway.
just
I make friends
pull
with
up the
everyone.
footage and see if maybe
True,
Mildred
Cal.
had
That's just
walked
your
outside or
personality,
something.
right?
After about an hour of the search going on, when still they had not found Mildred, and people were starting to wonder, like, are we even going to find her at all?
What the
It was at
fuck?
that
I
point something new and really concerning happened. Sharon called Mildred's cousin to let her and the rest of Mildred's family know that Mildred was missing, and that this time it was actually pretty serious. That they
I
hadn't
don't
found
like
her.
this game
But
anymore.
as Sharon is breaking this news to the cousin stops her and says, "Well, wait a minute. I think
I
I
still
know what's
love
going on
Akali
here."
though. She's amazing.
Because apparently, a few hours earlier, the cousin had gone to the hospital to visit Mildred, and when they got there and spoke to the receptionist looked up Mildred to see what room she was in, and on their system, it showed that Mildred had checked out of the hospital that morning. So she was not there. And so, of course, this big search for Mildred
we gotta
was not
find a
gonna
way to
find
make
her because
Akali bot
she
work.
wasn't at the hospital. But this really made no sense
I've
to Sharon.
supported
I mean,
as
it
a
did
colleague
logically
before.
make sense that if she checked out, that would explain why she
Supported.
wasn't
I want
here.
a ADC
But
as Akali.
Mildred should
Oh,
not have
no,
been
you
allowed
need an
to
actual
check out of the
ADC,
hospital.
but
She
you can,
still
like,
definitely
sport
was
with
not
her.
well. Not just her
Okay.
confusion, but also the stomach pain she was having. Like, she was still
I
totally
can kill
sick
this
and should
Viego
not have
even
been
though he's like,
discharged.
oh, he's.
But, you know, the
He's the
cousin
same
was
level I
adamant
am.
that they actually left the hospital because they told them, like,
Fuck.
you know, Mildred's not
didn't-
here. There's no
wasn't
one to
able
go
to kill
visit.
still.
She's gone. She checked out. And so Sharon hung up with the cousin and quickly ran down the hall to go talk to the receptionist to see if it was actually true that Mildred had been discharged. And when the receptionist looked it up, sure enough, it was true. Mildred had checked out. And so at this point, Sharon, I mean, she could not believe what she was hearing. This didn't make sense. And so Sharon, kind of not knowing what to do next, she walked away from the receptionist and she just walked over to the window that looked out to the front of the hospital. And she was just standing there wondering what she should do. And as she was standing there, she was just looking outside kind of absent-mindedly. And she saw all these cars whizzing by, you know, all these busy
Oh,
streets
look,
out there.
it's another.
And she
Viego.
suddenly
Yeah,
had
what
this
do
thought,
that?
like,
Viego
well, wait a
again.
minute, what if Mildred, in her confused state, like went to the front desk and somehow talked her
Hello.
way
Oh, it's
out and
oh,
got
no, he's
discharged
chasing
and has
me.
now wandered out into the streets? And
Caitlin,
what if
please
she got
help. I
hit
know
by
I
a car
failed
or
you like a
something?
million
Like,
times.
this
but...
could be an emergency. Like, I have to do something.
Haha, I'm leaving you behind.
And so
now,
Sharon's first
bitch.
thought was, I got to call the police. And so not long after this, after Sharon did
I
call
killed
the
the
authorities,
Caitlin.
the police arrived at the hospital, and they arrived along with search dogs. And one of the search dogs almost
no, I
immediately
can't go
picked
in.
up Mildred's scent by one of the front doors of the hospital. And the dog led its handler down
I'm
the
so
street,
weak.
which seemed to confirm that Mildred really had left
go
the
back.
hospital. And so officers would search a full square mile around the hospital, and they even got a helicopter to begin flying overhead. And the search went on for days.
I don't know, man. It's
But
still stuck on
nobody
this fucking
found
screen.
Mildred. There was no sign
Yeah,
of her. She
League
just
Riot
disappeared.
failed us. It wasn't me.
Until almost 2 weeks later. On Wednesday, July
At
28th,
this point, I'm like, should I just play
13
Diablo?
days after Mildred went missing,
Yeah, let's play
a
Diablo
security
together.
guard walked into a construction
How
site.
do I
on his daily
uninstall
patrol,
League now?
And at the very edge of this site, he noticed there was a long, thin hole in the ground that was about 5 feet deep that had been dug to lay some pipework. But when the security guard just happened to walk over and look down into the hole, he gasped because he saw Mildred. It would turn out, on the day Mildred disappeared, she did become very confused. And she believed
Oh
she
wait,
was
don't
once again a
uninstall
housekeeper.
it. Just send an
She
email.
went out, left her room to go do some work. And so Mildred just
Send
began
them an
wandering
email.
around the
No, I'm
hospital
out.
for quite a while.
Why?
And surprisingly, nobody stopped her, even though she
I've
had
to ask
left the
Queen.
floor that she was supposed to be on.
Queen,
But
are
she
you
was
there?
just such a pleasant person and so nice that she just kind of
I need
passed
a
by
I need
people
a
and
League of
nobody
Legends
said
friend.
anything. And after wandering around for quite some time and
I
going
tried,
in and out of
Callie. I
different
really
places
did,
and
you
up
know?
and down
The
flights
world,
of
it was
stairs,
just not meant to
she
be.
eventually found this construction site. And to her, it was not a construction site. Instead, it was this horribly messy area that needed to be cleaned
Bah.
because there was pieces of wood
Not
and
meant to be
plastic
here.
and debris everywhere.
Who decided that?
And so she just began to clean. And after a while, she had picked up quite a bit of debris and she had basically straightened the whole area out. But as she walked around towards the back of the site,
What the
she did
fuck?
not see a hole in the ground and she fell inside.
What the
And
fuck?
because Mildred was just very disoriented, she likely didn't understand that she had,
How
fallen
the
into a
fuck
hole
do I
and needs to climb
uninstall
out
it?
again. And so in this dark space,
Wow.
this dark confined space, she would have just continued to
we
feel
put
more
so
and more
much effort,
disoriented
though.
and maybe didn't even attempt to climb out. But however it happened, she just stayed in that hole and remained undetected for days until she just eventually died. But perhaps the most tragic
fuck
aspect
do I
of this case
uninstall?
is that Mildred actually never left the hospital. That construction site was on the 10th floor of the hospital. Mildred had just kind of meandered her way up to that floor, and that floor was being renovated. That was the construction site. And she had fallen in that hole. Then you have all these people that are searching the hospital looking for her, and they searched that construction site. They didn't look
I'm
down
so
into this
sad.
little hole. And Mildred, assuming she was
You
alive when they were up
uninstalled the
there,
game.
didn't have the wherewithal to call out for help. She was confused and just stayed quiet in that hole. And so she was never found.
Hey, I have
Today,
no idea
it's
how to
still
fucking
not known
uninstall
why
this.
Mildred was listed
Are
as
you,
having
like,
been
technology
discharged on the day
impaired?
she went missing, because she was not discharged. Some
There
people
should be
say
an
maybe
option
it
that
was
just says
added into the system
uninstall.
by mistake, or perhaps it was just a glitch in the system, but however it happened,
What
it was
the
just
fuck?
an anomaly.
This case.
And then also the police dog that found Mildred's scent that took the authorities away from the hospital,
I don't
that's
like
also
this,
anomalous. We
Katarina.
don't know how or why that happened. Ultimately, Mildred's family would sue the hospital for $13 million in damages, but eventually
Fucking
they dropped the
destroyed
case.
me in one move. Can I at least stream it too?
BetterHelp is the paid partner of today's video. You know that feeling when you know you're about to do something like a bad habit and you just can't stop yourself? You see it
Uninstall.
happening and you know you're not supposed to, but it's like you can't stop. And eventually, if this continues to happen to you and you don't make a change, you start looking internal and saying, like, what's wrong with me? Even though the reality is there's nothing wrong with you. This is part of being human. When I was in the military, I definitely developed some bad habits. And when I transitioned back to being a civilian in 2017, a lot of those bad habits followed. And I definitely found myself in that cycle of like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stop? Well, let me just tell you, this cycle, these patterns I'm describing,
Oh god,
they're
does
not
it log
random.
me out of
The
everything?
reason this happens is because you have some sort of unresolved issue or issues, and you really need to talk to somebody about it. This is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp makes it really easy to access credentialed therapists. BetterHelp also accepts both HSA and FSA cards, making it even easier to prioritize your mental health. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people used their HSA or FSA benefits for therapy through BetterHelp. So be sure to use yours before they expire. You've been fighting these patterns alone for long enough. Maybe it's time someone actually helped you understand them. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/MrBallin to get 10% off your first month.
What the fuck?
The hole. Isn't that what the other
On the
one
night
should have
of
been called?
January 12th, 1964, a police sergeant named Neil Johnson entered a small apartment in Los Angeles County, California, along with a team of other officers. And basically, as soon as they walked inside this apartment, they were hit
Yo, the
with this
Caitlyn can
blast of hot
fucking
air
3v1
and also a just
3v1 us.
terrible smell. And very quickly, Sergeant
He's-
Johnson and
he's
the others
getting-
recognized where the smell was coming from, because on the couch was a man who was clearly dead and decomposing. So Sergeant Johnson and the rest of the police officers had been called here by this building's landlord. The landlord had gotten complaints from some other tenants about this awful smell coming from this specific apartment. So they'd come to check it out and, mystery solved. There was a dead person in here. And based on the information they'd already gotten from the landlord about who was renting this apartment, the police already suspected that they knew exactly who this man was. The tenant of this apartment, the sole tenant, was a 38-year-old man named Eugene Meadows. And he'd actually just moved into this apartment only 6 days ago. And on top of, living in this new apartment, Eugene also was just kind of new to the area. He'd moved here from about 8 hours away for a new job. So realistically, there was a good chance he didn't really know anybody in the area. Sergeant Johnson and a few other officers walked over to the couch to take a closer look at Eugene's body. And pretty much right away, they could tell two things. One, it was pretty clear Eugene had not died recently. He had died maybe at least
Will
a
you
couple
watch
of
me
days ago,
play and
sitting
see
there
how
for
bad I
some
am?
time. And the
How do
other
I
thing
watch
they
you play?
noticed was very clearly there was a bullet hole
This
streaming?
in
Edgehouse.
his head. But
No,
as Sergeant
I'm gonna
Johnson
share
began
the
looking around the
screen.
apartment for more clues,
I'm being
he
reported
realized that
for
the
being
bullet hole
bad.
really didn't make any sense. Because first of all, the whole
How do I
apartment
view
was
you?
very neat and
How do I
very
You
view
have to teach me
you?
how
How
to-
do I
no sign
view
of
you?
robbery, struggle, or
One sec.
break-in. Plus, the landlord had told Sergeant Johnson that when he had first come to check on Eugene after the initial reports of a bad smell coming from his apartment, the landlord had found that the apartment door was locked from the inside. And also he found that all the windows were
pop
closed
out.
and locked as
I
well.
missed yesterday.
which
Slept
meant
from noon
if
to
Eugene
midnight.
was murdered,
Damn, Sean.
the only way that was possible would be if the killer, after shooting Eugene, left and then locked the door behind them, which meant they would have had a key, which sort of suggested that, maybe they knew Eugene, or maybe they just took the key off of him, but, Eugene is new to
I
the
don't know what I'm
area, and so
doing.
it just seems sort
All
of
my turrets are
like
being
a
destroyed,
difficult
Alex.
theory to come up with of who
We're
would have
trying
killed
some
him
shit
and
here. I'm trying to play
left
League of
the scene
Legends.
looking
It's
this
not
way.
working.
But the alternative to murder,
Best
Yeah.
best
perhaps
you-
that Eugene
you-
took his
Yeah.
own life,
Oh,
also
Jesus.
didn't really seem possible. Because number one, they couldn't find a gun. There was no gun in the apartment. Certainly not a gun that was near Eugene. If he would have taken his own life, the gun should have been nearby, and it wasn't. And they searched the whole apartment. There was no gun. So
you
Sergeant
losing,
Johnson
Callie?
and the entire team were pretty much
Yeah.
baffled at this point.
But look at my
It just didn't
Caitlyn.
seem
Wait,
to
wait.
make
Look at my
sense
fucking
how this guy
Caitlyn.
could have died. And so
Wait, do it
instead of
again.
trying
Choose the
to
bottom one.
piece it all
I literally got
together,
to 1 in
they just
16.
transferred
What the
Eugene's body to
fuck?
the coroner for
What the
hoping that
fuck?
the autopsy would give them more answers and
Okay.
allow them
Gotta-
to understand what happened.
I'm not sure if I'm the one who
However,
got her
when the coroner
killed or.
examined Eugene's
No,
body,
she's the one who
things
died. That's all that
actually only
matters.
got more strange.
Okay.
Because the coroner
Like,
could
look at
not
this
find
shit.
a bullet
Fucking
inside
retard.
Eugene's head or anywhere in his body.
Wait,
And
I
there
see the-
wasn't an exit wound. So imagine if you get
Can't go in.
shot, the bullet goes into you. Unless there's an exit wound where that bullet can exit you, the bullet will remain inside your body. And so
That would hurt
Eugene
my
has
fuck-
one hole in his head, a hole in the back of his head, a bullet hole, no second hole, no exit
No!
wound, and no bullet inside of his body. And
should've
in
gone the other
addition
way.
to this one big anomaly,
Well,
that,
you guys
know,
just
there
got
was
shit
no
on.
bullet, the coroner also noticed two other
Defeat.
things that were strange.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
I
wait.
blame that
Noticed
Caitlyn.
Eugene had something known as a calcium ridge on the back of his head near the area where
Should I
there
just
was this
like
hole.
play
And it's a
Akali
genetic
mode and
thing.
like
Basically,
get
there's a
shit
section
on
of
by,
his
like,
skull
other
No, you
kids
should
or
play
other-
ADC.
but also more
and
brittle.
carry
I don't
your
like
fucking
ADC.
something he was born with.
I don't
and
like
likely
ADC.
basically
They
didn't
play
affect him
fucking
in any way,
Cho'Gath
but
and
considering
Jax
it was
and Garen
near
and
the
shit.
area
They played
where there's
tanky
this hole in his
champions
head,
with
the
fucking
coroner flagged it.
Darius.
So,
And
then you just
other
play
thing the
super
coroner
safe.
noticed is that when he looked at Eugene's internal
wait,
organs,
what?
like in his
Wait.
abdomen,
I like
they
you
were
now.
a
Rock.
very
Wait,
bright
no.
cherry
Get me out
red
here.
color. Now,
Let me
at first
switch to-
glance, the coroner actually didn't necessarily think that
I was
the
playing
color of his
Akali.
organs really mattered that much.
This
Uh,
game is
But
not
the
the same
coroner
game
really
I
just
played
could
when I
not
played
make
League of
sense
Legends.
of how Eugene actually died. He began to go back to the color
And if
of
I
the
get a
organs.
Kali mid, I
he
guess
thought of
that's fine
something.
too.
And so he went to the police and he asked Sergeant Johnson to, just in case, go back to Eugene's apartment and check
you're
for this
ready,
one
go
very
dee
specific
ba
thing.
boo wappa dee 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 da ba 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 dee woo ba ba foo
Sure
ba
enough,
ba dee
Sergeant
ba da ba
Johnson
dum ba
and
da
the
ba da
police,
ba
they
like
went
ba
back
ba
to
da ba da
Eugene's
ba dee ba doo ba
apartment
da.
and found the thing that the coroner
True.
suspected would be
Sean-
it
Shoo
did
bee ba
explain
da
the
ba
whole
ba
mystery.
boo ba doom boo
And it turned out
ga
what
ba
happened to
ba.
Eugene was not even close to
Fuck.
what Sergeant Johnson
Oh, look.
originally suspected.
We're streaming me playing League
Eugene
of
was
Legends. I'm
not
so
murdered.
honored.
He was
I'm
not
so
shot.
honored.
While listening to Mr.
Nor did he
Ballin.
take his own life. In fact,
Oh,
there was no
shit,
shooting.
yo,
He
that's
was not
amazing.
shot to death either by himself or by somebody else.
That's an amazing stream idea.
Instead, what the
True.
coroner suspected from seeing those
I just
brain
wish I could be
organs
playing with
is
you.
that maybe
I mean,
Eugene
the
died
the
from
phone's
carbon
doing
monoxide
shit, so maybe I can
poisoning, which
upgrade
cause your
upgrade my
organs
account
to
from
turn
here.
bright cherry red.
But then I have to
And so
reinstall
when they went
League.
to his apartment, they discovered his heater
Oh,
was
fuck.
leaking, and it was
It only
emitting
took like
poisonous
25
carbon
minutes.
monoxide gas. And so
But then I
the
might
mystery
like
of how
install
Eugene
it
died
and then
was
like
solved.
not be
He
able to
died
play
from
still.
carbon monoxide
You
poisoning.
uninstalled
But
it?
how
Yeah, I
he got the
uninstalled
hole in
it.
his head is a whole
Why?
I
other
was
story.
frustrated. I was
After
pissed. And as soon as I
Eugene passed
uninstalled
out
it,
on
the
his
phone
couch
stopped
from this
freezing.
poisoning,
and it
The
started doing
gas
stuff.
caused his brain to
Oh
swell.
my
And
god.
because he had that
Welcome to
calcium
my life,
on the back
Cal.
of his head,
I'm
I
in
can't
this
believe-
impatient shit.
Well, as his brain continued to
You-
swell,
you
it eventually
impatient
broke
motherfucker.
through that calcium
Okay,
ridge,
I'm in.
and basically
Who am I
his head
playing? Who am I
exploded.
playing?
His
Yunara
brain
or
blew
Akali?
out the back of his head, giving the impression that he had been shot.
Oh, I'm playing Yunara. Okay, and I'm with a Lux. I have to pee.
One afternoon in the spring
Who
of
am I up against?
1998, a 64-year-old man named
I can't
Klaus
even
Schmidt
fucking
walked
tell
through the
because their
international terminal
team is
of the Dublin
stupid.
Airport in Ireland. And for some reason, as he was walking, he just felt really, really nervous. Like the idea of getting on his plane today just
Look
felt
at their
like a
team. They don't
really
even have
bad
an
idea.
ADC.
When Klaus finally spotted his gate at the end of the terminal,
I don't know who
that feeling of almost dread
Seraphine
really
is,
just totally
but
washed over him.
She's
Now, Klaus
a
generally was
support
kind of a
who-
oh,
nervous flyer.
Shyvana!
He
I
never
totally
had this
forgot that I used to
existential
play
dread before
Shyvana.
boarding a flight.
I totally
Oh,
forgot
This was
about
new.
her. I
This
fucking
felt
love
different.
Shyvana.
And
Dragon
so finally,
Lady.
when he got to the end of his terminal and
what
actually
the
saw
fuck?
his
What do I
gate
play?
and saw people
I don't
boarding
know.
his flight,
Whatever.
he almost had like a panic attack. And he thought, maybe I should
I
just
like that
listen
she
to my gut
sits on
feeling here
balls.
and
I
not
want her to
board
sit
this
on my
plane
balls.
and just
Well, there's the
fly out
option.
tomorrow
Oh
or
no,
something.
app stopped
As
working.
he's standing there looking at the people getting on this
Absolutely.
flight,
Right as
his
I started
logical side of
to
his brain began
log in.
taking over, and he just told himself that he was just being really nervous here, that there was nothing to be worried about, that he should just
Oh,
get
I
on the
almost
flight,
forgot
and
how to
it'll
play
be
this
over soon,
champion.
and he was just
Oh look, it's a
overreacting.
Warwick.
And so even though
Oh my
he
god,
really
he's
could
after
not
me, yo.
fully get rid of this feeling he had, this dread that was like in his stomach at this point, he kind of overrode how he was feeling, walked up to the gate, scanned his ticket, and boarded the flight.
No,
About an hour
Callie,
later,
no.
and
I
Klaus,
know, it's a
he's in the
Warwick.
aircraft, they've taken
What
off
are you
at
doing?
It's
this
a Warwick.
point,
He's
and
just
they're-
gonna fucking.
they're flying over
he's
the
gonna fucking
Irish
heal.
Sea, and Klaus, he was by the window.
Why did they go that way?
Raised up the blind.
Yeah,
on
what
his
the fuck
window,
are they over there?
looked
What the
out,
fuck?
and it
What's
was,
happening?
smooth
I don't know,
sailing
make
out
sure
there,
all
and
you do
water's
is last
beautiful
hit
and
and
calm
farm.
down below,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he
that's
looked
what I'm
around to
doing.
their passengers and saw people were,
Yo.
relaxed. They were reading and relaxing and chatting. Like there
I'm
was
bad
no
at farming
reason to
though,
think
so I'm
anything
just
was
bad
going
at this game
wrong
in general.
on this flight. But still,
Yo,
Klaus
what's
just could not
happening?
get rid of this feeling, and he just desperately wanted the plane to land and be done with this thing.
Yo,
But
what's this
Klaus
Aurelia
knew
doing?
he
She's
couldn't
taking.
I have
see
no
the
idea
plane,
what this
and so
character even
instead,
does,
he just
Cal.
kind of did some breathing exercises and tried to calm himself down.
Turn up.
And
Never
at
seen the
first it was
champion
working.
before.
But over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, Klaus started
Oh,
to feel
this
like
guy
he was
is
having a
trying
hard
to
time
kill me.
breathing. And he
Okay.
began looking around to see if other passengers were also struggling to breathe. Like maybe there's something wrong with
Oh.
the cabin pressure. Maybe there's something wrong with the air inside of the plane. But he'd look
No,
I think
around
this
back up,
Aurelia
back
is-
up,
and he still
back up.
seems completely fine.
What's happening?
It's just
I
Klaus.
think
who
this
by this
Aurelia
point
is like
is,
really
he's
confident.
sweating. He's rocking back and forth. He's
Or
so
just really
anxious.
dumb.
He just desperately wants this flight to be over. But again, it was like this inability to breathe continued to get worse
Oh, look, I didn't get the
and
tank.
worse,
Okay.
and then he started to feel this
Oh.
really intense tightness in his chest,
Yeah,
and he
no,
was
you
telling
should back
himself,
up,
like,
back
I'm
up,
having
back
a
up,
panic attack.
back
That's what's
up. You
happening
don't have
here.
your
It's
ward
like,
anymore.
My
Back
anxiety
up.
is fully taken over.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't control
ward.
it.
Yeah, see,
Hey,
told
off
you.
his jacket, and he kind of
Told
unbuttons
you.
his shirt, and he's like dripping sweat, and the other passengers now are starting to take notice of Klaus.
I wanna
Something's
poke this
going on with this
Aurelia.
guy, but no one said anything yet.
Just let them push a little
Klaus,
bit.
he's trying to stay
Let them
calm,
push
but
up the
keeps looking
lane.
around, and
You don't want to
everybody
be
else
in
is
the
fine,
midway.
and something's going on with him.
Just
And then that tightness in his chest, it got so bad that Klaus realized that this likely was not anxiety.
yo,
He could be having
this
a heart attack.
this Aurelia
And then
fucking
as soon
scares
as he
me with how
realized that
she's
that
playing.
likely was what was happening to him, it was like all of his symptoms got 10 times worse. And before long, he felt himself kind of fading out of
Like, she has
consciousness. He
half
heard
health.
other
Someone must be
passengers
here.
near him yelling out for help, clearly about him. And then a flight attendant
I don't
ran
know
over
if she just does a
and
lot of
began
damage.
yelling out to the rest of the plane, "Are there any doctors on board?" And so as Klaus is drifting further and further into unconsciousness, all he could think to himself
Oh.
was his intuition was right. Something bad was
Okay, I
going to
have
happen
my.
on this plane.
Oh, the wardrobe.
But before he could think much more about it,
The
his
ward's
vision
over
got
there.
blurry, and he faded into darkness. But it would turn out that Klaus's intuition was actually only half right. Because while it was true that something terrible did happen to him on that flight, he really did have a heart attack, it actually was his decision to get on the flight that saved his life. Because
Let me
this
at least get the
particular
fucking.
flight was carrying 40 heart specialists home from
I'm-
an
I don't
international
know why I did that.
cardiology conference, And they
But
had
I need my
samples with
fucking
them of
mana
a brand
back.
new heart
No, I
drug
don't.
that was not yet available to the public.
I don't need
So when
mana. Who
Klaus
needs
had
that
his
as an
heart
ADC?
attack and the flight attendant began calling out for a doctor, well, the 40 doctors all shot their hands up in the air, and one of them rushed over and literally just gave Klaus
Is she
this
like?
new medication that saved his life.
I'm gonna
All right,
just.
here's the moment of truth. Is it gonna accept my phone
Thank you
number
so
from
much for
here?
watching. Let me know what you thought of today's episode in
Nope.
the comments.
Please enter a valid
Remember,
phone
we
number.
have hundreds of videos for you to binge
Yeah,
right
it
now.
literally will not let
If
me
you're
play the
looking for
fucking
a
game.
recommendation from me of that one video that's worth your time, well, it's this one right here. So give it a watch. All right, until next time, see ya.
Well, I
At
guess
least you
I'm just watching you play.
This two-story house. It's very modest, very plain. There's nothing.
I don't think this
about
Aurelia
it,
is
and
ever
it's even
going to
set
die.
far off the road
I would
behind
just
some
have to
trees,
farm all
so you really
day.
can't even see it. But today, when I tell you what happened inside of
She
that
has those
house, you will
defenses.
never be able to look at it the same way.
Wait,
again.
we need a
Be
ward.
sure to stick around to the very end of today's video because we have an important "Where are they now?" type of segment. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange,
what's
dark,
happening?
and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once or twice every week. So if that's of interest to you, please ask the like button to help you move out of your apartment and offer beer and pizza as payment. Once they accept and the move is complete, only serve O'Doul's and anchovy pizza. Also,
I
please
almost
subscribe
have
to our
no-
channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of
I
our
almost
weekly
have
uploads.
no
Okay,
mana
let's get
left.
into
Do you want
today's
me to
story.
like commentate on this like I'm streaming right now? What the hell happened? It appears they are missing a player. Did someone leave the Seraphim?
Why is it saying that I'm Vietnamese?
Located in the middle of America is a
Huh?
little town.
It apparently
called
says
Hartford,
it says that my
Downtown,
account
they have
is.
the biggest
If you are
automobile
not
museum
in
all of
Vietnam, we
Wisconsin.
really
They
apologize for
also
this
have a
inconvenience, and we can
bowling
help you
alley
transfer
called
your
Dave's
ROA
Lanes, which
R
sells cheap
back
beer
to
and the
Canada.
best frozen
Wait, does
pizza
that mean
in
my
town.
account
Around the
actually
corner
did get
from the
hacked and
museum
changed to
Dave's Lanes
Vietnam?
are two other very popular local spots. One
Is
is
that
called
the issue?
Soup de Ville, which is
If
an
that's
ice
the
cream
issue,
parlor
we
that's
fix it.
themed
Oh
like
my
it's
god!
the 1950s.
Wait,
and
that
they
Aurelia is
specialize
fucking.
in raspberry
What the hell is
sundaes. And the other
happening?
popular spot is called the Mine Shaft, and it's this
So
big
apparently what I need
family-friendly
to change
restaurant
is
that
my-
offers comfort food and arcade games. On
Okay.
warmer days, you can find residents
Yo,
of
that made
Hartford
me,
out
like,
on the
panic.
many
What the
walking
fuck?
trails of Woodlawn and Willowbrook, which are two big, very well-maintained parks that are right outside of the downtown area. And on virtually any day, whether it's warm or cold, you can find Hartford
Does this
residents
Ari just
packed
really
into
want
the
kills or
Shower Arts
something?
Center, which is a local theater, to watch the local theater troupe perform. But none of these attractions are why
Oh, hello
anybody
there.
knows about Hartford, Wisconsin. The reason we know about Hartford, Wisconsin is because of
I'm gonna
Jessie
just go
Blodgett.
back and get some
Jessie
items.
Blodgett was a miracle. She was born just outside of Atlanta, Georgia in 1994 to her
Hello.
loving parents, Buck and Joy Blodgett. And Buck and Joy, for the longest time, they couldn't have kids. In fact, they were kind of adjusting to their reality that they would not be able to
I
have
didn't even know that
biological
was
children
Aurelia.
when Joy discovered
Oh my god,
she
it's a
was
clap.
pregnant. The couple couldn't believe it. It was like the most incredible thing that either of
Clap,
them had
clap,
ever
clap, clap.
experienced. Joy would give birth to Jessie at home with no drugs
Yes,
or doctors,
I know I'm doing
just
great.
Buck, his mom, and a midwife.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
What
I think
to
this
do.
Aurelia
Jessie
just
poked her
sucks.
head into the world for the first time.
I don't know
Buck
what to
and Joy fell instantly in
do.
love with her. Not long after Jessie's birth, the Blodgett family would leave Atlanta, Georgia, and move to Hartford, Wisconsin. And it was there, inside of their modest two-story home, about 5 minutes drive from the downtown, that Jessie would grow up.
I don't know
And
why
it
it's
was
telling me it's
also
a bad
inside of that modest
connection.
two-story home where many years later, Jessie would come face to face
Ketamine.
with a monster.
I do
Jessie
ketamine
was
too,
always
awesome.
someone the other kids looked up to. She was a
I don't even know what
musician.
ketamine
She could
is.
sing and she could play the piano and the violin. One of her very close friends growing up, a girl named Jacqueline Knights, said that whenever she went over to Jessie's house, she would walk in and have to
Whoa, what the
yell
fuck?
at the top of her lungs just to get Jessie's attention because Jessie was permanently playing the piano. But Jessie's musical
forgetting to
talents were not
activate
the
my
only
passive.
reason people were attracted to her.
Passive
From a
of the
young
game.
age, Jessie became outraged by bullying and unfairness of any kind. And so very quickly, she
What'd
developed
you
a
say?
very strong moral
League
compass.
of
Hello?
She became a fierce
What's up?
defender of animal rights, environmentalism,
What's the
sustainability,
name of the game?
justice, and
what?
ultimately ending violence against women. By the time she graduated from high school in
Sorry,
2012,
What's the name of the game?
Jessie
What's the
had
name of the
become
game?
very popular
League of
amongst her peers
Legends.
and also amongst teachers and
Okay.
parents. Jessie just
Yeah,
came
wow.
off
I'm
as
trying.
someone
I'm
who
trying to
was
figure
wise
some
beyond
shit
her
out.
years. Jessie always
We're
talked
gonna
about
play
So
League
wanting to
together.
change the
retarded. Because
world.
apparently it
I'm-
set me
In
to
high school, she
Vietnam.
kind of figured
So
out
now
how
I
she
need
was
to
going
change
do
it off
She
Vietnam, and that's
decided
why
she would
my
study to
thing's
become
not
a choir
working.
director for either a
Because
university or a high school, because through that
me
role,
see.
she would be able to teach
my
and
God.
mentor upwards of 100 young lives every
There
single
we
Oh
year.
go.
wow,
So in the
my
fall
other
of
lanes are doing
2012,
terrible.
Jessie would leave
Okay.
Hartford and head off to the
Now let's see
University
if
of
this
Wisconsin
works.
in Milwaukee,
Okay,
which is about an
settings.
hour southeast of
Okay,
Hartford.
I'm in
And
the
there,
settings.
she would enroll in their musical education
Personal
program.
information.
And during that first year at the school, Jessie did so well in that
So
program
that's what this
that she was
thing is. It
offered
says
a talent
VNM,
scholarship
country
for the
and
following year.
region. It
After
says
wrapping up her
VNM.
incredibly successful freshman year in college, Jessie came back to Hartford,
So how do I
Wisconsin to live with
change
her parents for the
this?
summer. Now, unlike other college kids that were back home
Country
for
and
the
region,
summer,
Vietnam.
Jessie was not treating this break like it was a vacation. Instead, she decided she would just jump right into her
Okay, so we need to
musical
go to
education career.
tickets.
And so
we need
as
to go
soon
to
as she got
support.
home, she started her own business.
I'm playing like I
teaching
have
voice
10
and
kills right
piano
now.
and violin to kids in Hartford. And within weeks of starting this brand
And
new
by that, I
business,
mean
she
I'm,
had over
like
25
moving
kids
into
signed
the
up.
bot
When Jessie
lane
wasn't
with
teaching that
no
summer,
teammates.
she was often writing original music with her friend Dan Bartelt,
Like I
who was
can kill
also a very
anyone
talented
who
local
steps
musician.
in
Or
front
when
of
she wasn't
me.
doing that, she was rehearsing at the Shower Arts Center, where that summer she had auditioned for and landed a central role in that summer's musical, The Fiddler on the Roof. Jessie was the fiddler.
Can't log into support. Why
The
is this
musical
not
opened
working?
To a packed house on Friday, July 12th at 7:30 p.m.
Sign in.
And Jessie and the rest of her cast were incredible. And then the next night, July 13th, Saturday, they
I
had
don't know.
another big performance at
Worst
7:30 as
streamer
well.
NA.
And then
I
on
know,
Sunday,
guys.
July
I
14th,
know.
they
It's
had a
bad.
matinee
Today's stream is
performance
just a
at 2
fucking
p.m.
joke.
After that matinee, Jessie and the
I
rest
blame
of her
Callie,
castmates
though.
headed
Ah,
off to
jeez.
another cast member's house who had a pool, and they had a
Submit
big
the
pool party
ticket.
to celebrate the end of their opening weekend. And during this party, Jessie spent half of her time sitting around the pool with her castmates.
Because
and
I'm the
other
one
half
who
of the
wanted to
time,
play.
She spent petting llamas that were in a nearby field.
That's
Jessie
how
would finally
things
leave the
work.
party and get back to her parents' house sometime after midnight. And when she went inside, her mother...
Where was the
Yeah, hold
thing
on.
that's
It-
like
And so when Joy heard her
changing
daughter, she
your
came out to the
region?
front of the house, and she was
Personal
getting ready to ask
suspension,
Jessie, you know, how was the party? When she noticed
error
right away that something was
message,
off
data
about Jessie. She looked
requests.
upset about something. And so Joy asked her, you know, are you okay? And so Jessie looked like she was about to maybe go into a lengthy explanation about why she was feeling the way she was feeling, but ultimately
I can't
Jessie
really
just kind of stopped
aim.
herself
Yeah, Riot
and
is just
in a
not
tone
good.
that was less
This is
upset
just not good.
and more just annoyed. She would tell her mom,
Oh,
because
this
the
is
guys
fucking
in
killing
the
me.
cast, you know, there are these two older guys.
Why-
that kinda
You
hit
can't
on
do
me,
it!
and,
Why would I
you know,
ever
those
want
are
to
my
play this
friends, and I
fucking
felt like they were
game?
crossing the line.
Callie giggle with
Because
evil
it's
mirth,
me.
all according to
And
my
so Joy
dastardly
began
plan.
asking some
Mwah.
questions
Yeah, to
about
completely
sex, you know,
just
how serious this
unhinge the
was.
entire
And it just
fucking
seemed like it
the
wasn't
entire
that
fucking
serious.
stream.
And pretty quickly, the two women said goodnight to each other, and they
I'ma
both
just
retired
get
to their
this
rooms
item.
to go to bed. The next
I
morning,
just
Buck
can't.
and
I
Joy
just
got
fucking
up fairly early,
can't.
around 7 a.m., and Jessie, she stayed in bed because her only
I just
commitment
destroyed
that day was a
everything.
lesson
Like
she
that
was
one
teaching.
You're
time
2
where,
and
like,
0.
I
I mean,
finally-
you're doing
They
fine.
would be coming by the house for that
Oh, wait.
lesson.
Oh, okay.
And so her
were
parents
talking
knew
about
she
the
was
game.
sleeping in, and so Buck and Joy, they're kind of going about their morning routine. Buck left.
Fuck!
ahead of
I was
Joy,
gonna dodge
probably
that. Oh
around
my
7,
god.
You just got
7:30,
fucking
and then
destroyed by
at 8
Ari.
a.m.,
I should have
Joy,
told
right
you.
before
I
she
should have
left
said
the house,
something.
she brought
3,
some
2,
laundry
1,
was-
tote.
to Jesse's room.
I
So
was
she opens
gonna
Jesse's
dodge
door,
it, but
she
then
goes
I
inside,
my
Jesse's asleep, and Joy, she puts the laundry down, and she considers
Yo, I
going
made it so
over and
easy for
waking
her to hit
daughter
that,
up just to
though.
say good morning and maybe
I want her to
goodbye.
hit that though.
But she thought to herself, you know, Jessie never gets a chance to sleep in. She's always got something going on, and so I'll let her sleep. And so Joy just
That was
quietly left
about
room,
the
shut
best
the
you're
door
gonna get
behind
out
her,
of me. I
and
could
she
probably
headed off to
still
work.
sleep, but hey, I
Around
maintained my
noon,
streak.
Joy
True,
would
Sean.
leave her office and head back home for her lunch
I'm
break.
frustrated because
So
I was
when
really
she
looking forward to
walked
playing
into
League of
her
Legends with
home,
Callie.
she was
And then it's
expecting
like,
to
you need a
see
phone
Jessie
number.
awake
Oh,
because
please
Jessie
use a
had
valid
one
phone
of her
number.
students arriving anytime.
What do you mean
when
a
she
valid
walked
phone number? Of
inside,
course
the house
my
was
number is a
silent.
valid
Jessie
phone
was not
number.
downstairs. She apparently was not awake, and Joy had seen her car
Because
out
it
in the
says you're in
driveway, so she knew
Venice.
she had to
Wait,
leave.
No, because I'm in
Vietnam.
Vietnam,
Annoyed,
apparently.
Joy walked
And
to the
now it
foot
won't
of the
let me
stairs
log
and
into
she
support.
yelled upstairs for
So I'm
Jessie
just
to
done.
wake up. You know, hey, your student's gonna
I'm
be here
just,
any
I'm
minute.
over it. I literally
And then
just want to
Joy
end the
left the
stream.
foot of the stairs and walked into the kitchen and made herself something to eat. After a little while, as she's finishing making her lunch, Joy hears a knock on the front door. And now at this point, Joy is really annoyed because Jessie has still not
Run!
left town.
What are
She has
you
not come
doing?
downstairs. And so
Run!
I
Joy
can do
goes
this.
over to the
Look,
front
I
door,
can
she
do it.
opens
I
up,
can
and
do it. I
sure
can do it. I
enough,
can do
it's
it. I
Jessie's
can do it.
Holy
I
shit,
believe
dude.
in me.
Actually, oh my god, what the
Wait for a
fuck?
minute,
Triple kill,
and then
go!
Joy hustles up the stairs. She goes right over to Jessie's bedroom. She
Yes!
opens the door up.
Yeah.
Oh
Jessie's
my
still
god,
there.
they
And
totally
so Joy
underestimated you.
runs
Now
over
get the
to her
fuck
and
out of there,
jostle her
dude.
awake.
What are you
But
I'm gonna go
doing?
this way. I'm gonna keep going.
Go to Master
I'ma keep
Yi.
going.
Go to Master Yi.
I'm
Oh shit, you guys aced them. Okay, go win the game now.
Wait, I'm a,
No, what are you doing? You're not even.
Fuck.
You're not even. Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna
Well,
go
you're
this
pulling
way.
the minions away, so Master Yi can go.
I'm gonna go this way. I can help. Wait, I can't help.
No, you should just run now. This was a bad. Just stay with Master Yi.
Master, you can protect me with his long sword. Why are you laughing at long sword, you immature?
Because you have a long sword, you know, it's your dick.
Her down on the ground. She would put a pillow underneath her head, and then she would begin doing chest compressions to try to save her daughter's life. But it was already too late. When police and
Yo,
paramedics
wait, let me
arrived,
just-
moments
Yeah,
later,
just
they
go
came into the
quickly
bedroom,
get yourself
and they
killed.
quickly
Because
determined
Warwick's just gonna jump on your dick.
When police looked at Jessie's body, they too saw the marks on her neck. that
Warwick,
her
you wanna
mother had
die? You
referenced
wanna
on
die?
the
You what?
911
Hey, hey,
call.
hey.
And they also saw the same ligature marks on her left wrist and also on her ankles.
Master
As a
Yi is
result
like,
of
you ain't
these
getting away.
findings, The police on
Nice.
scene quickly
And then the
concluded
Aurelia. Come on, you
that
can
this
do
was
this.
not a
Oh,
naturally
one
occurring
more!
death. This
Oh,
was
Go!
not-
No!
this
She
was a
shut you
homicide.
down
And
because of
so
that
as
fucking
gently as
charm.
they could,
That
the
fucking
police ushered
charm.
Joy out of her daughter's
I had a
bedroom and
freaking
led
like
her downstairs.
dash too.
Because at
and
this
it just
point,
came
her
out.
daughter's bedroom was a crime scene, and they needed to keep it pristine. So
I
they
got
could
an
find
infinity
evidence to
edge
figure
now.
out
They
who
can't do
did
shit.
this. Once
Yeah,
downstairs,
you're pretty
Joy was
stacked, bro.
reunited
6
with her
and
very
2.
distraught husband Buck, who had just come home as well,
I could,
and the two of them,
I coulda
their
done
life
more
was
if that
destroyed.
really-
If only I was
Single
supporting you,
girl,
you'd
their
be
only
27 and
child,
3.
Yeah.
suddenly gone, and it
Yeah,
didn't make
dude,
any
Chad,
sense.
dude.
During these search,
But I can't
Did
play
you-
the fucking
and
game.
then also the Blodgett house at large, the police were not able to
Wait a
find
minute.
any
What
cord
if, like-
or rope or ligatures
What if,
that could have been used to
yeah,
strangle
actually, I
Jessie
don't
to
know.
death. The police also noted that there was no sign of forced entry anywhere in the house.
My brain is
and
just
it
processing
appeared
things
nothing
as I
in the
talk.
house was stolen.
Oh,
And so
she's
quickly,
correct,
the
playing
lead
Diablo
what?
2.
police detective
I'm gonna get
named
revenge on this
Richard
fucking
Thickens
Ari and teach her
began
not to mess with
operating
me.
under the
I
assumption
wouldn't do that if
the
I were you.
killer knew
No, I don't
Jessie
care.
and targeted Jessie. That they would have known where she was in the house. They
Hey,
knew how to
Ari,
get
where the
in
fuck are
house,
you?
and they went straight for her. They killed her and they left. When Detective Thickens
Where-
spoke
I have
with
to insert my
Buck
do-
and Joy
I have to
just
insert-
hours
I have to-
after they discovered their daughter's dead,
Oh my god,
he asked
Callie,
them if they
don't.
had any idea
Fucking
to insert my
don't.
and at first, the parents
I have to
said
assert
no,
my
but
dominance
when
by
he
Stop
bashing
throwing.
prodding,
I
Buck
have
would
to
say,
assert my
well, you know,
dominance.
recently there were some tree limb cutters that
Do
were
it in a
cutting
team
limbs
fight.
right outside of Jesse's bedroom window.
Do it in a
And so
team fight?
maybe they
Okay.
looked in
Oh my
and
god,
saw a
wait. Don't
teenage
fucking.
girl
No.
What are
no.
you doing?
attacked her, and then Buck also said that
Hey,
he
Cication in chat. Yo, what's up, Abolia?
Jesse had
We're
taken
watching
pictures
Callie
of the
destroy
restaurant
stuff
down the
as an
road,
ADC.
and
There he goes.
recently
Boom, triple
she had
kill.
come into conflict
Fucking
with
quadra kill. Go for it. Yeah.
and
Are you gonna go for the penta? Go for the penta.
basically would
She's
walk
right
past
there.
Jesse
Kill her.
and intentionally
You got
bump into
this.
her and rub into her
Where the fuck
and
is
just
she?
get
Oh my
inside of her
god, he
personal
altered her.
space.
My
And
penta got
this
stolen.
coworker was aware of the fact that Jesse was really
My
upset.
penta-
How are
And he-
you?
and he died.
Well, I was trying to play League of
So
Legends, but
perhaps
apparently it
this
won't let me
coworker
use
was
my phone
disgruntled
number, and I figured
and
out
was
it's
seeking
apparently set me in
revenge.
Vietnam,
Also, Joy
and now it won't let me log in to
detective
change it, so
that
I'm
the night
pissed.
Before, when Jesse
Yo.
came home, she had
Yo,
seemed really
wait,
upset.
yo,
On
I'm like,
Sunday,
Callie
she
was
had
all
said
getting me
it was
excited to
about
play
these
some
two
League of
guys
Legends,
that, you know,
and the
they
game
had
fucking won't let me
they
play.
made her uncomfortable.
I recovered my
Oh,
account, I
this
got
is
everything
So
ready.
there was something obviously
I don't know, just for some reason it
the night
says
that
it's
she
in
was
Vietnam,
killed.
so I think maybe
Following
my
this
account got
discussion,
hacked.
Detective Thickens
Because I haven't
Hi,
used it in like
Abolia.
8 or 9
tracked down
years.
tree trimmers He would also track down the co-worker at the restaurant,
My back.
and he discovered that they
After.
had rock-solid alibis, and they were ruled out
But
as
it's
suspects.
yeah, it
As
just
for
literally
the
won't
two
accept my
older
phone
guys,
number,
the
but it
cast
won't let me
members
play
from
unless I
the
put
pool
in a
party
phone
that
number.
had made Jesse uncomfortable.
And I'm like, okay,
Detective Thickens
well,
found them,
shit.
and he very quickly ruled out one of
And then
them.
I put in like a
But
bunch of
he was
recovery
not
stuff, and
able
it
to
recovered my
rule out
account.
his name
And I'm
was
like, I don't
Randy
need my
When
account
Detective
recovered. I need to
Thickens
figure out
spoke to
why it
Randy
won't let me
on
do
July 15th,
phone
the day that
verification.
Jesse
And then
was
it was
found,
like,
Yo.
Randy would
then I
deny
figured out
anything
that
to do
it
with
sent me an
Jesse's
email
death.
saying you're from
When Detective
Vietnam. And I'm like,
Thickens
what do you
asked
mean
him,
I'm
where
from
were you the
Vietnam?
night
I'm clearly
before
from North
after the cast
America.
party, where'd you go? And then where were you this morning?
And now the site's
And
just
he
being
would tell him
fucked.
that after the party, he went back to his apartment, and that is where he has been the entire time until right then.
Are you gonna kill her?
When Detective Thickens
Are you gonna
asked
kill
him
her?
if there was anyone that could corroborate his story, Randy said no. He was alone.
It's
in
Aurelia,
his
dude. You're
apartment
gonna
the
die.
entire time. Shortly
Don't-
after
oh.
speaking with Randy, the police were still searching
If you
Oh
hadn't
my
run,
God.
look at how much damage you
and
took
they
from
discovered her
minions,
diary.
dude.
And
Stop
her
throwing,
final
Callie.
entry in this diary only made
The
Randy
man-
seem more suspicious.
I mean, to be fair, Boya, I just don't want to play League of Legends, but I didn't want to let Callie down. So I'm actually
Oh my
like super
God.
glad that I can't play the game, but I'm frustrated that I can't play with Callie, and I spent like literally the last 3 hours doing this, and we've just had a really shit stream.
You only downloaded League because you feel sorry for me that I have
Yeah.
to play on my own.
Yeah, that you have to play this really shitty game on your own to the point I'll sacrifice myself to help you out. But the game is so shitty, it literally won't even let me fucking play. Like,
that she might have been
what the
expecting some
fuck?
sort of future confrontation with these two guys.
Yo, look
The
at
lines
Seraphim,
read,
she's just
"I am
dancing
not
over there.
helpless. I will recognize problems and
Where's,
confront them without fear."
Where is everyone? We
God
need
be
more
with you."
words. What
Between
the hell?
Randy's lack of
Wait,
an
I'm
alibi
stuck in
and then
base.
Jesse's
You guys wind up
ominous
losing.
final
I'm gonna be
message
so
that
fucking
seemed
mad
to
at
be
you,
talking
Callie.
about Randy. Randy quickly became
Yo, she
the
fucking-
primary suspect
Yo, what are you
in
doing
this
here?
murder
Hey.
investigation. But Randy's cell phone records
I just ulted
indicated
your
that
ass, bitch.
he had not had any interaction, no calls, text
Nice.
messages
That's
with
good.
Jesse.
Ruben!
I need
her
to-
death,
Yeah, that person does
and
not know how
around
to
the
play
time
Aurelia.
In the morning of July
Uh-huh.
15th, when she would have been killed,
Aurelia is
Randy's
usually,
cell
like,
phone was
really,
in his
really
apartment,
tough.
far
Don't
away
die to
from Jessie's
Ari.
house. And so while this didn't
Wait, why am I going this
definitively
way?
mean that Randy could not have killed
Oh my
Jesse,
God, what are
because
you-
he could have just left his
More!
cell phone at his apartment when he carried
Oh,
out
everyone's
the
pretty
attack.
low,
What it
actually.
did mean was there wasn't any real evidence to support the
who's
idea
called-
that
Oh, I'm
Randy
getting a phone
killed
call.
Jesse. And so the
You're getting a
Hartford
phone
went
call,
back to the
Callie.
drawing board and try to
Yeah.
find new leads to chase down. And on July 16th, just
1
24 hours after Jesse was
I think you guys are
discovered,
gonna lose this
the police
game.
would get a huge lead.
It's okay. I'll kill all of them.
Callie,
I can't
run!
do
What are you
shit.
doing? Run!
Before we finish our story, I want to tell you about today's sponsor.
What are you
Current. Banking is still one of the very few
You're
industries that
literally
has yet to be
throwing-
modernized by technology. It's still
If they
dominated
went
by a
in
bunch
with
of old
me,
companies
see,
that,
they're winning
if
now.
given the
See?
chance, would happily sneak into your house
I-
and replace all of
you
your
know,
good socks.
I just
with
got
the
them
type of
3
socks that
coats.
immediately
You
slip
should, but you
down
could have
into your
waited
shoe
until
after only a
Master Yi
couple
was
of
there
steps.
and then just
Current,
attacked
Okay.
them.
if they wanted to screw with your
Fine.
socks
Like, the
more,
fact that
they
you
could.
guys are all
They
just
don't
going
have
in
time.
one
They're
at a
too busy
time.
being the future
Like, you
of
guys could have won the
minions.
game already,
Current
but
was
no.
built from the ground up
Okay,
with you in
fine.
mind.
I'll
They
listen
want you
to
to
what
get your money
Daddy
faster.
talks
You
about.
literally, you have an
And they give
inhibitor
you
down,
tools
and
to
they
help
don't.
save
You guys
your
are
money
losing the
better than
fucking
with
game.
Current, there are a bunch of
Look
perks,
at
such
the-
as you can expect to get your
And
paycheck
they have
2
the
days
chat
earlier.
messaging
You won't be
too.
charged overdraft fees up to $200, and there
That's
are
okay, I
no
just coded
minimum
this
balance
earlier.
fees. Also, Current's savings plan is one of the best available. It's just called Interest, and it offers a massive 4% APY, which in layman's terms means it will generate you 60 times more money than the American
Well, what the
national
fuck is
average.
happening?
So
Oh.
go download Current
the
with
backside.
my
You're
code,
lucky you
Mr.
had
Ball and
support.
Money, and then request $500.
You would not ha- you
from
would've
my
died.
Current tag, which is just
I
Shouldn't
just
help
fucking
you.
hope
and
so.
includes
Because you
in
take
the
too
thought-
much damage
your
from
best
minions.
like
You're taking
button
like
gag.
200,
I will
300
choose
damage from
which ones I
minions.
like the most,
Don't
and I
walk
will
into
pay
their
those
minions
people
like that.
$500, and
Especially where there's
we
a
will
Why
super
are there
minion
even
like that.
best
minions in this
suggestions in our
game?
next current sponsor
That's what the
video.
game is all
Again, the
about.
code
It's
is
minion
Mr. Ball
control.
and Money.
It should
Go
be called the
download Current
Minion
today,
game, not
okay?
League of
Back to the
Legends.
story.
League of Minions.
Oh my god,
3
there's
days
actually a
before
song
Jesse
called
was
The League of
killed,
Minions.
a young woman about the
I'll
same
minion
age
your
as Jesse,
leagues.
named Melissa Richards,
Get
decided
Why
to
would
go
you
Google-
league a
for walk
minion?
in a park in Richfield, Wisconsin,
Google League
which
of
is a
Minion
small
on
town
YouTube.
about 10 miles southeast of
All right.
Hartford. When Melissa pulled her car
Google
into
League
the
of
dirt
Minions
parking
on
lot that
YouTube.
connected to the walking trail she intended to go on, she noticed there was only
do I-
one other car parked in this lot. And it
Ah,
was
this shit
immediately
sucks.
Okay, there we
Yo,
go.
the Shyvana's
pointed
carrying
nose away.
Okay, wait, what am I looking up?
League of Minions.
Okay.
Yo, the Mastery.
What is this? 3-minute wave manage. No, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Oh.
Oh wait, what? Is it? It's not the song isn't showing up.
Song.
Actually, the reason I'm dying is I'm focusing the fucking Shyvana.
Yeah,
And she
nothing's
has
coming
these-
up.
Let me see. I'm not gonna see yet because I'm in League.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to. This is why you have to give me a
From
link
the
to it.
entrance. It was this blue minivan. And so
Oh
as
my
she's
god, I'm so
driving in,
hungry
she
right
looked
now. My
over at
tummy's
it, and
rumbling.
she noticed the
I'm
driver had their
my
legs
stomach is
poking out
having the
of
rumblies
driver's
that only
side
hands
window.
can
So
My
they
sense.
were rolling
tummy is
down across the
rumbly. What
front
the
seats.
fuck,
And so
Callie?
this didn't really matter to Melissa, but she definitely took note of this person in this van. And so she
Jesus
drives
Christ,
past the
bro.
blue van on her left, and she drives
What are
all
you
the way
doing
across
with
to
your
the other
life?
side of the dirt lot.
Why do you have
Parks the
3K
car,
gold?
gets
Go
up,
buy
puts the
something,
little dog
bitch.
Remy out of the car, and then she walks away from the parking lot.
What do you
and
mean you
on the
can't buy
walking
anything
trail
with
into the
3K
woods.
fucking
The trail
gold?
that she was
That's some
walking on was
bullshit.
basically a big loop that ended at the entrance to the dirt parking lot.
Yo,
Oh,
this
God.
is
when
some
she was
bullshit.
done with
I
her
fucking
walk,
hate this game
she would
so
be
much.
walking
You
directly
guys just
across
lost the
the
fucking
entire
game. You do
parking lot,
realize that. All
which
because
would
you didn't
mean
wait for
she
Master
would be
Yi.
walking on foot past that blue minivan if it was still there when she was done. And so
I feel
Melissa does a 30-minute
You literally threw the game, Callie.
And she sees the blue minivan
Yo.
is still parked where it was, except the
You
driver's
guys
side
just
window
lost.
poking out of the
It's
window.
because you're
Now she can't see
streaming.
if
My
there's
IQ
anybody in
has
the van
dropped
at all.
200
So
points.
Melissa, again, she's not really thinking about this. It's crossing her mind that she's not
At
on edge
least
about this
200
And
points.
so she lets go of the leash of Remy, and Remy starts running to the car, and Melissa pulls out her key fob, and she opens up the trunk to the car.
Oh
and
God,
Remy
I'm
goes
so
over,
glad I'm
gets
not
into the
playing this
car,
game. This
and
game is
Melissa
so
just continues
toxic.
to walk across the lot towards her vehicle. And when Melissa
Oh my
walks
fucking
just
God.
far enough,
Okay, you
That's
wanna
why
watch
I
the
hate
video?
team
the
games.
minivan, she
Team
turns to
games
look at it,
suck,
and she
bro.
sees the person who had been sticking their legs out of the window, the driver, is
Who
now
should I'm just gonna
sitting
pick
in
a
the
random
passenger seat of the
champion
blue
that you want me to
minivan.
play.
The door is open,
And I'll-
I don't care
You
who
pick
you
the-
play.
staring
I'm
Wait,
having
wait,
fun
okay.
either way,
So
Callie.
Melissa makes quick
I'm
contact with
enjoying.
the person.
I'm
She
enjoying
immediately
backseat
averts her seat. She
gaming.
doesn't want to be rude, and she just keeps on walking towards her vehicle. But again,
Okay, you
she's
pick
not
the
worried
role,
about
I'll
what's
pick the
happening
champ.
with this fan. She's just
Middle
aware of
and
this
top.
person and this fan.
Middle and top.
But
Okay, but
after
let me.
averting her
I
gaze,
Because
think
I'm a
I
bottom.
the sound of someone
Oh, okay.
running towards
So you're
her
either
I'll pick
between
one.
us and sandwiched, or you're on top.
and she sees the
Either way,
same
you're on
person
top of me.
Sitting in the passenger seat, the
Top.
driver of this van.
This one.
has
I pick-
run
Oh, what
up,
about a
and
Moo-Moo?
As soon as she turned around
A
to
moo?
face
I
this
hate a
person,
moo-moo.
they
I don't
came
like
to a
Yordles.
complete
I
stop,
love a Moo-Moo.
and they were just staring
like
directly
Yordles,
at
man.
Melissa,
What about
only
Elise?
about 10 feet
Elise
apart.
is good.
I love
And
Elise.
Melissa
Elise is
kind
so
of
amazing.
Elise
reflexively
is
She's
said,
got them
so
spider
fucking
legs.
And then
She's
Melissa
got them
just
eight
turned
legs.
her
The
back
Arachna.
on this person
Mundo's
and
good too.
continued
Dr.
walking towards the
Mundo.
vehicle.
I don't
I
like
fucking
Mundo.
wreck with
Couple of
Mundo.
steps, once again,
I
she
only
heard
play
the
female
sound of
champs.
This person behind her start running towards her, and immediately she whips her head around again and
Sure,
again.
go ahead.
This person
Do
comes
what
to
you
an
gotta
abrupt
do, bro.
stop As soon as Melissa's looking at
Okay,
them,
I'm gonna play
except
Camille
now
because
Melissa
I'm
knows
kind of
something's
tired
not
of
right.
Akali.
And worst of all, she looks down and
How
in
can you
this
be tired of
person's
playing
right
Akali? I
hand
played
by their
Akali for
hip
like 2
is a
years
knife.
straight.
A split second later,
Yo,
I
are
have
you a
like
better
I have like
Akali?
6 skins for
Melissa to
Akali.
the ground. Melissa
Are you-
smashes down
you are a
onto her
better
stomach,
Akali
and
than
she's
me.
pinned on her stomach.
Probably.
And this
Just-
person,
it's
But
just
I don't
based
know
on
since she's been
stabs
completely
Melissa,
reworked,
but
right?
Melissa fights
Yeah,
back
she's
like
been
mad.
reworked.
She turns over and she grabs the blade of the knife and she wrestles it away from her attacker and she pulls the knife under her body.
I
And
think
she
my
puts
mom
it
can
under
like
all of her
hear me
weight.
right now,
And
and
the
she's just
attacker
trying
is
to
so
sleep.
surprised that this has happened.
Wait,
they
wait,
actually
wait.
stop
Ah,
for a
I'm
second
no,
glad
no.
no one
before
can
kind of
hear me
reaching
because
down
they would
and
be
trying to
asking
yank
very
the
many
knife out from
questions of
underneath
do,
Melissa,
what, do,
but
when,
Melissa
do,
is not letting it go.
how.
And so finally the attacker just
Teleport?
kind of sits up on her back.
Yeah, I'm getting
and says,
teleported.
Teleport?
"Can I just go?"
With
And Melissa
People
says,
still
"No."
use
But at that
teleport?
exact moment,
Yes.
the attacker leapt up
To like
and
protect the
started
tower.
running back towards the blue
Damn.
minivan.
man.
And so Melissa,
Wait,
she's not waiting around to
someone's
see what they're
streaming?
going to do. And so she jumps up.
You're
She's still got the
streaming.
Oh my
knife in her
God.
hand. Her hands are
I'm
completely
streaming,
ruined.
yeah.
Melissa runs
I'm
Streaming my
going to-
dick
inside,
in your
she
mouth.
throws the bloody knife onto the floor.
Stream my mouth in your dick.
Okay.
After making sure
That
Randy is in the
arranged
car
can
with
be.
her, she shuts the back hatch.
How do you
locks
put
the
my
door,
mouth
and
in
she
your
turns
dick?
around and she sees her
Wait, what?
attacker in the van peeling out of the lot the other way. And so Melissa is relieved, but she also
I
just
think my
wants to
mom's
get
gonna
the heck
like
away from
come
where
in
she
and
is
be
right
like,
now.
"What
She's
the
totally
fuck is
alone.
going on
So she
here?"
fires
Like,
up
I'm
the car and
watching
she drives to the
Fox's
hospital.
stream,
After
Bob.
getting the
Knock
physician
before
to
you
repair
come
the
in.
3 very deep cuts in her hands, Melissa was transferred to a recovery room where a man named Joel Fossey,
I'm watching. Well, you, I swear I'm not watching it on the stream. But knock before you come in, okay? You don't want to see anything.
No, she never knocks. I can't,
was.
like, what kind of what shit is this?
Melissa had the most incredible memory of
Do some shady shit in here, yo. Like, watch it off the stream.
I'm Callie. I might be working out naked. You never know.
About the vehicle, to include the fact that she knew it was a Dodge Caravan minivan. So she knew the exact make of car, and she guessed it was probably from the years 2000 to 2002. And so Melissa gives this incredible statement.
Wait, what?
And
The game's
Detective
taking so
Clausing, he goes
fucking
back
long.
and he has a
Oh, it's because
sketch
you dropped
made
your
of
MMR
the
so
attacker.
badly by
And then
throwing
on the
so
sheet
much.
that showed the attacker, there was a
Wait, I'm in
description of
Swift
the
Pay.
vehicle
Oh,
and where
yeah,
it's
it
located
has
and
MMR.
some details of the case. And so Detective
Yeah,
Clausing
like,
releases this
I
sketch
stopped
and
caring,
information
like,
to the media,
so-
and he puts it around town. And he's
I stopped
expecting
caring about how well
someone
I
in
do
town
because I'm
to
on your
know
stream.
who this person is, because the description
Shouldn't you
is
care
so,
more
so
because
good.
there's,
And
like,
someone would
2
come
people
forward
watching
on
you?
July 16th,
No,
so
wait, there's
one
6
day
actually.
after Jesse
Wow,
had been
really, there's
killed,
6
a
people here?
deputy from the
See,
Bad
I'm
for
into
them.
sheriff's
Feel
department
fucking bad
came
for
forward
them.
and said, "Hey, I
Are your
saw
lines
this
really that
red
bad that you're here?
Melissa gave about the type of vehicle this person was using.
No, it's because
And
I'm
I
so
had
entertaining.
seen that vehicle parked in the exact same spot in that park. I was there a couple of weeks ago. I saw it there. There was something weird about it. The driver was acting strange. And so I actually
Oh, God,
ran
I
the
can't
license plates to
breathe.
see if there was some outstanding warrants or something going on with this person. But after I ran the plates, nothing came up. And so I kind of just
What
forgot
is
about
this?
it. But now I've
Fuck.
read this
I'ma get
description,
this.
and I'm pretty convinced
Oh
it's
my
the
God.
same exact
Why-
vehicle. And so I can pull those plates that I ran.
Wait, I need
and
more.
we can see who owned that vehicle, and maybe it's a match. And so the deputy, he pulls up the information that he had pulled.
I have no
from
idea how
Oh,
to
I
play
need
Quaalude
something to
anymore.
eat. I'm
He had
fucking
seen a couple of weeks
starving. What should I
earlier.
eat, Callie?
When
Your
they
mom
I'm also
or
hungry.
your mom?
That minivan,
Eat my dick.
there was just
Okay,
no
I'll eat your
way they matched
Yo.
the description.
Yo, these
that
guys are
Melissa
actually
gave.
really
It
nice.
just could
Wait.
not be the same.
Damn,
Very
that's
new
a
to
hell
the
of a
game, guys.
walk. What the
Briefly,
fuck?
Detective Clausing and the deputy.
Wait,
believe
who
that,
are you
okay,
playing?
it's just
Who
some
is this
big
chick?
coincidence that a very similar blue minivan was
I'm
parked in the
Camille.
exact same
Who the
spot.
fuck is
a couple weeks
Camille?
apart. But when Detective Clausing looked a little bit deeper into
You should have
who the owner
teleported
of
to your
that
tower
vehicle
so that your
was,
teleport will be
he
on
would discover
cooldown when you need
they
it.
had a relative that
What?
matched exactly the description that Melissa
What the
gave
fuck?
of her
You,
This
attack.
more
you just literally just. Hey, I wonder if that was the same
So
mord that you
even
just had in
as
your
we
last
can
game
tell,
that was a
Detective
retard.
Clausing tracks down the phone number of
I
the
fucking
relative
wonder.
who looks exactly like the
That would be
attacker.
too
He
fucking
punches
funny.
that
I don't know
number
what the
into his
guy's
cell
name
phone and
was.
Put the phone to his ear. At the same time,
This guy-
10
did he just put a
miles
ward
to the
down?
I
northwest,
don't know.
Buck and Joy Blodgett
But, like,
Yo,
he's just not good at his
trying so
job.
hard.
in their home. And so
What's-
all of
I'm just,
Jesse's
like,
very close
not even
friends and
fighting.
family
He was like,
and
Dad,
all
last
their
hit, last
family
hit, last
sitting
hit, money,
around
money,
in a
money,
big
last
circle,
hit, money,
playing together,
money, money,
reading
last
together,
hit, last
and
hit,
then
money,
also
money,
sharing
last
their
hit.
favorite
Damn,
memories
dude,
of
you
Jesse.
fucked him up.
And so while they're
You
You
all
fucked
together,
him up.
the phone starts to ring inside of the circle. And the
Wait,
owner
I
of
feel
that
like
phone,
I'm gonna need-
19-year-old Daniel Bartelt, who was a very close friend
Fuck.
of Jesse's and
You
who had
fucked up.
spent much of that summer
You
coming
really
over
fucked
to
up.
the
Oh my God.
household to make original music with Jesse.
Well, he got the
Yeah,
shield
I
up in
can't
time.
Walks
Motherfucker
quietly
actually
away
presses
from the group,
buttons.
and then he answers the phone, and
Yeah.
it's Detective Clausing asking Daniel to come
Yeah,
into the station to talk about
Nice,
Melissa
first
Richards.
blood.
Daniel would make his way to the police station.
Oh, it's
that
not even first
afternoon,
blood.
and
Wait,
he
your
would be
team's already got
interviewed
2
by
fucking
Detective
kills?
Clausing and
Callie,
another
don't
detective.
die.
And even though they had
I'm not
brought Daniel
dying.
in
Get
to
that-
talk to him
get that
about
cannon.
Melissa Richards, it was not
Get that
lost
cannon. What
on
are you
these
doing? Get the
detectives how
cannon.
strange it was.
I
that
will.
Daniel was at the
Look,
home
I got
of
it.
a recently
Okay.
murdered young
Like,
woman,
Jesus,
where that
bro.
case is unsolved, and he is now the
Motherfucker, I
suspect
hate
of
this guy.
another attack on another young woman that happened only a couple of days
Oh my God,
earlier
now it's coming.
and only a couple of miles away. And so as soon as Daniel sits
You're
down,
wasting your
Detective
shit.
Clausen kind
Why
of
are you
casually
wasting your
asks him,
shit?
Hey, why were you at Jesse Blodgett's house when I
Wait.
called you? And Daniel would say, well, I'm very
you're in
close
trouble
with
now.
Jessie, and so
Now
we
he
were
has
there as
diving
part of her
potential.
vigil because she was killed yesterday. And so the detective kind of did gradually shift to Melissa Richards, which Daniel would say he had nothing to do with. But as they began asking him
forgot how to play
questions
this
about
game now.
Melissa, Detective
You're out of
Clausen
mana,
and the other
so
detective
be very careful.
noticed that there were cuts on Daniel's hands.
I don't know, man.
And so they
I
kind
don't
of
know
cut
what
him
I'm
off,
doing.
and they asked Daniel, how'd you get these cuts
You make
on
me.
your
It
hands?
brings me back to the
And
old
Daniel
days
was
when I
very
was
quick to
playing
say,
League
well,
when it first came
I got
out.
them at work. A screw kind of jutted out and cut my hands. I move.
Look at what it does
around
now.
in
What
a
the
back room
fuck?
Of an engineering company. That's my
Okay.
job. And I just cut my hand at work. And so at that point, the police began really asking very pointed questions about exactly.
You're
how
6.
he
Get
hurt
your
his
alt. What are
hands
you doing?
and
Put a
what
point in your
exactly
alt,
did he do
retard.
at his job. And at some point, when it just seemed like there was something.
Oh, come on. Yes.
Daniel
Nice.
hurt himself, one of the
Nice.
detectives
See, you
just
wouldn't have
said
used
to
your
Daniel,
alt if I hadn't told
if
you.
I were to call
Yeah,
If I hadn't
yeah.
called you a read. No, run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. What are you doing? Run away.
I can kill this Choga.
No. Go back to town. Go back to
He's
town
taking
so you
minion
get
damage. He's
back.
taking minion
No,
damage. He's taking
I
minion
actually
damage.
lost
Yo.
my job several weeks ago.
He's
And so
baiting
now the detectives
you.
knew he had to be
He's
lying
baiting
about
me.
how
Now
he
I'm the
cut his hand,
masturbator.
because he's just told them
You're gonna
that he
die,
was at work
and I'm gonna laugh
recently,
so hard.
but he wasn't employed.
I'm gonna be like, I
Oh my
fucking
God.
told
And so
you.
Detective Clausen kind
Yo,
You
of
had
I need
all
help.
the. You would have been back at the tower by now, right? And then you would have been at full health. You wouldn't have had to worry about this, but no, you decided to just to stay. And now he has potential to dive
Why
you.
don't you just tell us the truth?
I'm not even
And
like.
amazingly, Daniel would. He would admit
Wait,
after
what's
some
happening
serious
here?
pressure that
Choga,
he hurt himself
what you want?
attacking Melissa Richards. He told detectives that after
Oh,
he
man,
lost
I
his
can't-
job
No,
a few
don't-
weeks earlier, he didn't want his parents to know he had lost his job.
I would die.
And so he had just continued.
You
getting
need
up
to-
early
you-
and
like,
leaving
you
the
really
house
need
and
to go
coming
back.
later in the day, kind of
No, I
acting
don't.
like he had been at
I don't
work
need
all
to do what you
day.
tell me, yo,
When in
my dad.
reality, all he was doing
You
was
died,
driving
'cause you didn't
around
go back.
town and sometimes going to parks and just sitting in parking spots in parks.
I forgot how to play
And so
her.
on July 12th,
Let me
the
see
day
if I
that
can
Melissa
remember.
was
One sec.
attacked,
Wait,
that's
wait.
exactly
The
what
briar is here.
Daniel was doing. He was pretending to be at work by sitting in
briar
that
is
parking
here.
space in that dirt lot in
Actually, you can
Richfield,
just open
and
this,
at
right?
some point,
They're
he
leaving.
saw
Don't go out
Melissa
there. They're
and
leaving.
he
Don't go out
decided
there.
He just wanted to attack her. He told detectives that recently
He's just
he had
gonna take
become
my turret.
overwhelmed in college, and so he had dropped
Wait.
out, and then he lost his job, and so combined, he was just feeling kind of scared of life. That's how he described it. And so he wanted somebody else
I'm
to
just
feel scared too.
bad.
And so that was why he said he attacked
Yeah, I'm
Melissa.
so bad.
But this
Like,
is
You're
I
gonna
why
get
can't
di-
focus
You're gonna get dived, and you're gonna die. You don't have
violent
flash.
crime against Melissa
run away.
Richards. Daniel
Run away.
asked if he had any connection to the Jesse Blodgett murder. He would
I
say,
told you I'm good at
"Absolutely
this
not.
game."
I love Jesse.
Till
I
your
would
tower
never
gets
hurt her."
taken.
But when Detective Clausing reached out to Detective Thickens,
You didn't even
of the
get to
Hartford
full health.
Police,
What are you
he
doing?
told them you should
I don't
look
care
at
about
Daniel
health.
as a potential suspect in your murder case. It would quickly come to light.
What the fuck are
that
you
Daniel
doing,
was
Callie?
hurting again.
I don't care
Daniel
about
was
health,
raised
man.
in a good, loving family.
Ah,
He was
damn.
extremely
Double
smart,
kill
straight A
Cho'Gath.
student. He was an incredible musician.
How'd
and
you know
was
he got a
really
double
well
kill?
respected by his peers and
Huh?
even by his
Because I
teachers
saw that
and
he got
other
a double kill. Because
instructors.
they went for
I mean,
dragon,
this
and they
was a
tried to
kid
take your
who had
guys' dragon, and they
everything
took
going
their
for him.
dragon.
But something went wrong.
Like, they
with
literally
him.
stole
No
it.
one knows exactly why. Shortly before he attacked Melissa,
Uh-huh.
Daniel had
Ooh,
become
that was a good
obsessed
combo.
with
Holy
killing,
shit, bro.
Death and murder. His internet search history shows that he
What's
spent
happening
a lot of time looking for actual snuff videos online. Those are videos of actual murder. He also spent a lot of time looking up serial killers and spree killers, and he was especially interested in anybody who killed lots and lots of women. And then finally,
You're gonna
right
die.
before he would attack Melissa, Daniel, based on his search
Ah,
history,
fuck.
had discovered this one particular
Why did you even
film,
try?
and it was of this
Because
woman
I thought
who
I
was
could
tied
just
up and
jump
hogtied
to
and
the
had
other
to
He's
side.
level 10, and you were
strangled.
level 8.
Daniel watched
I'm
this
level
You was
9.
literally, yeah, you leveled up as you died.
over again.
Oh,
On
okay.
that day,
You
July
was literally
12th,
2 levels
Daniel
ahead
was
of you, and you're
pretending
just
to
like,
be
I'm
at
gonna
work,
go
sitting in his
fucking
car.
kill
He
him.
looks out
I'm
and sees
gonna
Melissa. She's all alone.
beat
And
him
something
dead.
clicks in his head where he decides he's gonna go reenact.
Fuck are you
that
doing?
wretched pornographic
You're gonna throw
scene
again!
on Melissa. And so
I'm not-
Melissa was likely just at
I
the
swear
wrong
I'm good
place
at this
at the wrong
game.
time. recovered in that dirt
I'm just
parking
bad
lot
at this
after
champion. I'm just bad
as the
against this
special
champion. I'm
very
just.
strong
My
tape
team
that had
sucks.
been
Yeah, I've
in
heard it all
Daniel's
before,
pockets
Callie.
during the attack had
I
just
played
slipped
this
out.
game,
And so
okay?
it was believed he was going to use that tape to
I know
subdue
what's going
Melissa
on.
and then abduct
I
her.
swear it's
But
because you're
obviously Melissa
streaming.
fought back, and Daniel got
I mean,
spooked and ran
you can
home.
make that
3 days
argument, and
later,
I mean,
on July
there's
15th,
no
it's
argument
believed that
against it
Daniel
because I
decided he
am
wanted to try again.
fundamentally
He wanted to
draining your
act out
intelligence
this pornographic snuff
by
film,
just
but
talking
in
to
real life.
you.
And this time, he wasn't
Simply
gonna
interacting with
stop
you just
someone
lowers
who
your
he needed
intelligence
his
and lowers
victim
your
to be
IQ.
totally helpless.
It just
He needed his
passively
victim
like
not to fight
evaporates
back.
when I'm
And who better
around.
than 19-year-old Jesse Blodgett, his close friend who inherently trusted him.
Okay,
and
run
would
away,
easily
motherfucker,
bump him
you're
into
gonna
her house,
die.
into her bedroom. It wouldn't
I'm not
matter
scared
if
of
she
a
was on
fucking
Go to the
murder
mid.
condition.
Go to the mid. Go
Around
jungle.
him.
Go do
Based
some
on
shit that's gonna get
eyewitness
you
testimony of
somewhere.
someone who was driving through the Blodgett's
Oh, your
neighborhood
mid's
on the day
godlike.
that Jesse was killed.
Your
That's what
mid's
my-
godlike, bro.
That's
Are
what
we
my
gonna
middle
get a
school teacher told
legendary?
me. I'm never gonna get anywhere in
Just a
life.
few minutes after
All you have to
Bob
do is
and
be
Joy
passive
left
and
for
don't
work.
feed.
And so he pulled into the
See, now run away.
driveway,
Run
but
away.
Jesse was all
You're good.
alone.
You got him?
We don't
Right,
know
he's doing his
exactly
thing.
what
I have an
happened
idea.
inside of that house. We don't know if Jesse came down and opened the door.
What
or if
are
he
you
was sleeping.
doing?
Until he entered the house. and
What
he went inside,
the fuck
he
can't kill
are
me.
you
what he was
doing? You
about
just
to do.
wasted
He
your
literally had a
ult.
bag full of supplies. Things like that
Like,
special tape. There were
you're
ligatures,
gonna die
cords,
again.
ropes, there were alcohol wipes, zip ties.
I dodged
And so
everything,
he
man.
makes
and
his way
still
upstairs.
It says you and you have
What happened
health.
there, we don't know.
What the
If
You're
fuck
just
is
like my
this?
father.
was sleeping at this time.
You are just like
but
my
either
father.
way,
I can't
Daniel
take you.
jumped
I thought you
on
said you
top
didn't
of her
know your
and immediately
father.
put a homemade ball
You're my
gag
brother.
into her mouth and then wrapped that special tape around her head to make
What the
sure
fuck?
the gag
Please-
stayed
please
in her
don't kill
mouth.
me.
And then once she
The
couldn't
tower is
stand,
done for, bro.
he
Just
bound her
fucking
wrists and
leave.
her ankles and
Before he
handcuffed
kills
her.
you.
And then he viciously
I will
assaulted her.
protect my
And then after he was done, he wrapped
The
some
last
What
cord
are
around
you
her neck and
doing?
strangled her to death. After she was deceased, Daniel attempted to
Go
protect her
home.
body
You have
with some
teleport.
alcohol wipes. And then after that, he kind of repositioned her in her bed with the covers
Just
all
don't
over
use
her
teleport.
give the
Use it to like
appearance that
teleport
she
to
was still
bottom right
sleeping
now.
to her parents
Teleport to
when they
bottom and
inevitably
like
would
just
find
team
her.
fight the shit
Then
out of them and take the
Daniel
tower.
rounded up all of his murder
Why
supplies
would you
and
teleport
put
to
them
your
down,
top
except he did
tower?
accidentally leave one of
Why
the
would you
special rolls of tape
teleport
underneath
there?
Jesse's bed,
That's
and then
such
he
a
slipped
waste
out
of
of the
teleport.
household, and then he drove to Woodlawn Park.
You
where
should
he
save your
disposed
teleport for
of
team
supplies
fight.
in one of the trash cans. The next day,
Oh
at
my
Jesse's vigil,
God.
Daniel would attend and
You're gonna
according to
die.
The other people that were there, Daniel
What are
was
you?
by far
You?
the
What
most
are you? Don't
popular
have
person
your.
in that circle. Daniel would ultimately be found guilty of murdering Jesse Blodgett. although he never admitted
Chris,
so. In
you
fact,
have to tell
Daniel
Callie that he can't do this anymore.
give this
I'm.
incredibly
He's
eloquent,
literally gonna lose this
heart-wrenching
game
speech
again because he's gonna
about what it
fucking
was
start
like to
feeding
lose his
after he
own
was doing
child.
so
And
good because
towards
he
the
gets
end of
cocky.
his speech,
I just
Buck
keep telling
turned
him,
to
stop
what-
being
so
fucking
away from the
cocky.
judge who he had been addressing,
I'm
and
just.
looked directly at Daniel, and Daniel looked back at him.
I don't know
and
what to
Buck
do.
said,
You're gonna lose
"Daniel,
another
I
tower.
forgive you as I have
Oh my
every
God.
day
And
since
now
I
you don't
knew
have
you."
teleport.
And then
That's
a
not a
few
tower
moments
I'm
later,
losing, that's
Buck would
just-
also say to Dan,
That's their tower.
Dan,
They're
Is
losing.
that your
I love
0-16
you, but
Caitlyn
But
from
when
that other
Daniel got
game?
his turn to stand up and say something on his behalf, he turned to face Buck and Joy, and looking right at them,
Check
he
what her
told them
score
that
is.
he's innocent. And that he
Fucker.
doesn't have any answers for them because he didn't do it. and his
3,
conscience
okay.
is clear.
Yeah,
Daniel
she's
was
definitely
sentenced
the
to
same
life in prison
Caitlyn,
without the
'cause she's using the
possibility of
same
parole,
skin.
And as far as we know, he
I fucking
still
hate this
denies
shit.
having killed Jesse, despite the
Oh my
mountain
God.
of evidence against him.
Yo,
In the days
I'm gonna wait for
following
this Lux.
Jesse's death,
Lux, get the fuck.
Buck
Oh, she's
Blodgett
dead.
walked
Okay.
Yeah,
into
Lux
his
just
daughter's
got
bedroom
shit on, dude.
and
She just
laid
walked
down
into the
on
middle
bed,
and everyone was
looking
there.
straight up,
You guys are gonna
and
lose because
slept
you're
for
not
as
good
long
at
as
team
he possibly
fighting.
could. And as
Even
he
with
began
what's
to
the Lux,
struggle,
like 12 and
he started to
2?
imagine what it was like for his poor daughter in her final moments as she's
This is
being
why I
murdered.
jungle as
And
this
it just
champion. Just wait until you see me
He
jungle.
thought to himself,
Okay, yeah, sure. Oh,
"My little
yeah,
girl
no, this
went
Caitlyn
to
is
leave
definitely
me
gonna be
but
fucking
instead of just
0-7.
carrying that terrible burden around with him for the rest of his life.
Oh,
Buck and his
Oh.
family decided
Skills.
he had to do something to honor
No,
his
what do
daughter's
you-
memory,
run!
Maybe even change the
What
world,
are-
which is
why-
something that Jesse
what are
always
you-
talked about wanting to do.
Okay,
I'm
And so
okay,
Buck would
winning.
go
okay,
on
you're
to
dead.
start the
You're-
love
You're dead.
Winning this game.
No, the Lux is dead again. She's just gonna die to the Tom Ken. Run, Kencherson! Run, Kencherson! Kencherson! He still fucking lived.
I would
What's
highly
happening? What's
encourage
still
happening
you
on
to
the screen
fucking
is not
live.
representative
You can
of
find
my
the
skill.
link
Okay.
to their website below where
What
can
you
jump
see on my dick is not representative of size, okay, Callie?
So that's gonna do it.
That's
If you got
basically
something
what
out of
you're
today's
saying.
episode and you haven't done this
I'm a
already,
grower.
please
I mean,
ask
I'm
the
a
like
sh- I'm
button
a
to
I'm
help
a
you
sh- I'm a
move
grower,
out
not
of
a
the
shower,
apartment
right?
and offer to pay them
Yeah,
in
like,
beer and pizza
on
when
stream,
they
my
accept,
dick.
and the move
Dick
is
My
to
dick!
only serve O'Doul's
My
and
fucking
anchovy
tits.
pizza. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any
Oh
of
shit,
our
what am I
weekly
doing?
1 or 2 videos.
Yeah, what
Yo,
the
We
fuck
now have
are
a
you doing?
podcast called the Mr.
I
Ballin
wasn't looking
Podcast
at
that puts out brand new, never before
Stop
heard
watching me and watch your
podcast-exclusive
screen.
stories on Monday mornings, and then on Thursday morning we will re-upload
Yo,
popular
let's get this
YouTube
fucking-
audios that have been remastered. Again, it's just called
Nice.
the Mr. Ballin Podcast, and it's available on Spotify,
Oh,
Amazon,
yeah, let's
Apple
go.
Podcasts, basically anywhere
Let's
you
go.
find
See,
podcasts.
we're better with
You
team.
can find
We're
this
we're
one.
better when
We
we're
also
a
have
team.
2 additional YouTube channels. One is called Mr. Ballin Shorts.
Get the fuck
and
over
the
here.
other is called Mr.
What
Ballin
are
Video.
you
We also put out
doing?
near daily content
We're
on
getting
our
the
Facebook
tongue
and
catch.
Snapchat
No, you're
channels,
not.
which is called Mr.
You're
Ballin.
dead.
And if you want to get in touch with me, please
Fucking
follow me on
goddamn
any
it,
major
Callie.
social media platform.
God
My
damn
username
it.
on all of them is just
Why
I'm
are
gonna
you
send you a direct
throwing?
message. I really do read the
I just
majority
just
of my
did it, what the
DMs.
hell?
We have some really cool merchandise, so head over to shopmrballin.com to have a look. And if you
Your
have a story
Lux is
suggestion,
probably
please
so
submit it to our
pissed.
subreddit just called Mr. Ballin.
What the fuck?
It's linked in the
Look at that.
description below. So whether I see you on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, other YouTube channels, the
She's
podcast,
just
wherever,
giving me the. Wait, your
just
name is
know that I really
anxiety.
appreciate your
Yo.
support, and until next time.
Yeah, you're giving me anxiety with that 0 and 7, bitch. Learn to ADC. What the fuck?
Yo, her name.
In December of 2005, a young woman walked down
What's
a
happening?
sidewalk in New York
I'll
City.
save you.
There were Christmas
Don't worry,
decorations,
Lux.
buildings, and Christmas lights. I mean, it was very festive. But as she
Run!
walked along,
Yeah,
dead.
run.
she
I'll run.
glanced
I'll run.
over
Wait,
at
no,
a newspaper
dead.
I'm not
stand,
dead. I have a
and
slow.
she saw
No,
something
you're
on
dead.
the front page of that paper that
What
literally
are
made
you-
her stop
I
in her
can't even
tracks,
watch
and
this
not because it was
anymore, Callie.
festive. It
I
was
can't even
awful.
watch this
Right
anymore.
there on the front page
I'm
was a
glad I'm
picture
not
of the
playing
one
with you
thing
because
in
my
her life
Leona would be
that
12
she
and
hoped
2, and
she
they'd be
would
like, "Why are you
never,
12 and 2?" I'm like,
ever
"Because Callie just runs in and
But
dies,
before
and
we
then I
get
just
to
take the
today's
last
story,
hit."
if
Because he's
you're a
fucking
fan of
dead.
Strange, Dark, and Mysterious,
The
delivered
fuck?
in story format.
He won't
then
even
you've
let
come
me
to the
go
right
in
place
first. Just
because that's all we
Leroy,
do, and we upload 2, 3,
and he just
even
runs
4 times a week.
fuck
So
in.
if that's of interest to
Like,
you,
dude, you're
on the
ranged.
next
Why are you
extremely
believing them?
hot
And he's
day,
like, "Because I'm
sneak
a
into the White House
badass."
and
Like,
check
what
their
the
thermostat
fuck,
all the
Callie?
way up to the highest setting. And then once it's
I
there,
don't know what
rip the
fucking item
thermostat
to
off
get.
the
Are they
wall.
all like
Also,
magic?
please subscribe to our channel.
I
and
don't know,
turn
but
on
you're all gonna
notifications
die.
so you don't miss any of our
Okay,
uploads.
I'm not gonna attack
Okay,
this.
let's
What the
get
fuck?
into today's story.
Oh! Oh shit!
I would just chase after them. Because they
Wait.
were like.
Go to Dragon.
There's more to scare you.
He's level 15. You're level 13. Do you never
Earlier on the
consider
evening
what
of Sunday,
levels they
November
are?
27th, 2005.
Nah,
A 21-year-old woman named Catherine Woods leaned towards the mirror to put on her eyeliner
Yo, I
inside
hate
the
this
bathroom of her small apartment.
Your
in
ult's
New
not
York
up
City.
for another 6 seconds. You better
Catherine's phone was sitting on
survive.
the bathroom counter, and she heard it buzz. But she
3,
didn't
2.
even know
Oh,
what she
it was
calling.
0.1.
She didn't have time to talk to anyone.
0.1
because She had to
seconds.
finish getting ready.
I was
for
like,
her
where the
7 o'clock
fuck is
shift
my
at work.
mouse?
So Catherine had moved to New York City from
Damn.
Ohio 3 years earlier to pursue her dream of becoming a dancer on Broadway.
I don't
But
see your
everything here
mouse.
was
Wait a
so
minute,
expensive
wait a minute.
that in
They're
addition
like-
to chasing
they're
her
like
dream,
fucking
she
magic
also had to
damage,
work
right?
3 different jobs
So-
just to
Did
make
you
ends
say
meet.
magic pen?
Now, 2 of those jobs were pretty standard. She worked as a waitress
Magic
and also
damage.
taught children's dance classes.
I'm like,
But
magic
tonight,
pen.
She was getting ready to go to her 3rd job.
That's what you
penis.
need.
And this job was not
Their
really
magic
standard
penis.
at all. In
Yeah,
fact,
the
to
magic
her, she was
penis
sort of
that
embarrassed
splits
about
the
it.
kench.
And because of that, she was keeping it a secret from almost
Wait a minute.
everybody
They're
in
not
her
even
life.
getting.
Her
damage.
3rd job was working as a topless dancer.
You're
at a
not
strip
even
club in
a
Times
topless
Square called
dancer.
Flash
Okay, Mr.
Dancers.
Ballin, now I'm
Catherine
listening.
honestly hated the work, but it paid really
Wait,
well.
what?
And if she wanted to have her shot at Broadway, she needed to pay for voice lessons and dance classes.
And
Now,
that's
did
why
live
she
in
danced
Manhattan,
topless.
which was the most expensive part of the already very expensive city.
Wait,
And she
what am I
knew that
doing?
She could
Hey,
save some money.
hey,
if she just moved to a
Teleport!
neighborhood where rent was cheaper.
I'm trying to find a thing to teleport
But
to.
when she had first
You're
moved to
dumb.
New York, she had
I'm
lived
trying to
in a
find-
less
You're
expensive
dumb.
neighborhood.
You
For
can
that reason.
only teleport to
And
towers,
unfortunately,
idiot.
Her landlord
I
had
can
sexually
teleport to
assaulted her.
wars and
The
minions
experience
too.
had been so traumatic
what?
that Catherine had at the time.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can
considered
teleport onto
leaving
a
New York
minion and then
going
have the
back to
minion
Ohio
be
and just being
held.
done with this place.
You're dead. What are you
in
doing?
the end, she had to
Why are
you
sacrifice
even
and
out
continue
there?
chasing her dream. Now, she did move within New York. She'd gotten this apartment in
scared.
Manhattan.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
die.
It was a lot safer.
Yeah, your team
And
was
she
just
also got
like,
a
yeah, that
roommate
was a
to help
no.
with the cost. His name was David Hahn. He was 23, and he was one of Catherine's friends from
Yeah,
back
you guys
home in
lost
Ohio.
this game.
But at
That
this
Alexa's
very
gonna be
moment,
pissed,
David
man.
was
She's
not
carrying
inside the
hard, but you
apartment.
can't do
He'd gone
shit.
outside to get his car, so he could drive
11
back.
I'll
and
go-
4.
Catherine
Fine,
finished her
I'll go
makeup
look
and left the
at you.
bathroom.
She's almost
As
a
she walked
third.
through the
She's
living
more
room,
than a third
she
of your
stepped
guys'
over a black
kills.
dog that was
I'm
sleeping on the
surprised
floor.
you guys.
The
did
dog
my
was not
Callie.
Catherine's.
She's
and it
dead.
actually was not David's either.
I'm
You're
dead.
dead.
David was a part-time dog sitter.
No, I'm
So
not.
this
Look at
dog
how
was just
healthy I
staying
am.
with him
Ah.
while its owners were out of town.
Cho'Gath didn't even use his
Just
ult.
like Catherine, David also had a bunch of part-time jobs to help make
Cho'Gath's
ends
just
meet.
like, I don't give a
When he wasn't dog
fuck.
sitting, he
They're
worked as a
tanky.
doorman
I
at
don't
a
give
hotel
a
just up the street from our apartment. Now,
fuck.
Catherine and David had actually been romantic at one point. They had dated for a little while. But these days,
Oh,
they were
he
just
got too
roommates, living
cock.
together to split
He
the
got
bills.
too much
Although,
cock.
secretly, Catherine
Got
did
way too
sometimes
much
wonder
cock.
if, maybe they should give it another shot to try
But
being
yeah,
a
I think
couple
you guys
again.
are pretty.
Thanksgiving had been a few days
Way
ago.
too much cock up
And
the
instead of
ass.
going home to Ohio
I
like
think
she
you guys
usually did,
are totally
Catherine had
fucked.
stayed in New York and
They're too
celebrated with
tanky,
David.
man.
Look at
And
that
it had been a really nice
lead.
time.
Holy
Plus,
shit.
David knew about Catherine's third job of working at Flash Dancers, and he didn't judge her for it. And Catherine felt like a
Did
lot
you
of
see
people
that
did, so
damage?
she liked that about her.
Yeah, but you're
the
still
biggest
dead.
hurdle that Catherine could see to
See-
potentially rekindling their relationship was the fact that
What the
David
fuck?
disliked basically every man she met, whether she was dating them
I
or
hate
not.
this.
He just did not like them.
Mordekaiser.
Now, some of these guys, she
I don't
could
know why I target
understand why
Mordekaiser. He's
David,
like one of the
didn't like
champs
them.
you're supposed to run
Like, there
away
was
from,
this guy,
right?
Joe,
Yeah,
that she had dated
the more
briefly,
damage you
who
do to
really she'd
him,
only
the
met
better he
because
shields
was
himself.
a patron of her strip club.
Oh,
But then there were
okay.
people like Paul, who was a personal trainer at Catherine's gym,
I'm not gonna play
who she'd
Camille
only
Top
seen off and
anymore.
on, and who was nothing but nice to David.
That's okay.
And
Even
all
though
this
Paul and
talk about
Catherine
how
were not
good
dating
of
now
a
and
player
mostly
I
just
am.
spoke on the phone
I never
periodically.
said you were a
proves that you
good
can-
player. You
insisted
said
that
you
Paul
were a
was
good
creep.
player.
He just did not like them.
I said
am a
I
good
was
player.
Figured, you
good.
know what? I'm not going to figure
I didn't
out
say
my
you
entire
were.
romantic life. I just
am
need
a
to
good player.
finish
You
getting
gotta
ready
carry me to
and
goal,
go
bro.
downstairs so she wouldn't
I
keep David
mean,
waiting. So Catherine went into her bedroom and began getting dressed.
Fuck.
That's when she heard that dog start barking at something in the living room.
Please let me choose
So,
where I die.
Curious, Catherine walked in that direction to see what was going on.
oh, the only choice afforded to me, choosing where I
A
die.
little while
The
later,
sadness of the
Catherine's
world.
roommate, David, walked quickly along the sidewalk to get his car.
You gonna play another
which was
game?
parked a ways up the street.
I'm gonna play
He was out of breath
until
by
I
the time
die.
he reached it.
Okay.
He knew he had to hurry,
in
so he
game.
jumped in and he drove
Okay.
back to the apartment
Then you're
building.
gonna rage
he
quit,
called
and then I'm gonna
Catherine
end
as he
stream?
pulled up out front.
Yeah.
When she didn't
Okay.
answer, he threw on his hazards.
It's a plan.
And he climbed back out to go into the building to go get her.
Yo,
And he had just made it up the flight of stairs that led to his second floor apartment, and he was going down the hallway.
Die.
You were doing
When he
so
saw
good
something
until
that
you
made him come
stopped
to an
doing
abrupt
good,
stop.
Callie.
It was that black dog that he was dog sitting.
Because
Somehow it had gotten out of the
I'm
apartment
gonna
and was
switch
just
to jungle.
standing there in the shared hallway outside
I
of his
have to
apartment
pee
door.
and make
He
food.
blinked and then realized that
And
his
you're gonna
neighbor,
come back and
who
you're gonna be in the
he
middle of
barely
a match.
interacted with, named Brad Stewart,
I can't hear you right
was
now. My
standing right
headphones are
behind
off.
the dog. And Brad was holding a leash that was clearly clipped onto the dog's collar. For a second, Brad looked surprised, and David was just completely confused about why this guy had the dog that he was dog sitting on a leash. But then Brad told David that he had found the dog wandering around, recognized it as David's, and brought it back to his apartment. Brad said he had just knocked on David's apartment door, but so far nobody had answered. So at this point, David understood, why Brad has the dog, but he didn't know why the dog was out of the apartment in the first place. But he kept that to himself and just thanked Brad, took the leash, and then stepped over to the door of his apartment, number 2D. The apartment door was shut, but when he turned the handle, he found that it was unlocked. David couldn't remember if he had left it unlocked or not, so he just opened it, and he called out Catherine's name. But there was no answer, which was weird, so he stepped inside. Now, he didn't see Catherine, but he did see the door to her bedroom was slightly cracked open, so he walked over to it, and he called out to her again. And then when she didn't call back, he tried pushing her door open. But the door didn't really open. It instead swung maybe a few inches and then stopped. And David felt resistance on the other side, like something maybe on the ground was holding the door from opening all the way. And so now, with all these strange things happening, David's starting to feel pretty worried. And so the surge of adrenaline came over him, and he just shoved the door open, and he stuck his head in, and he looked inside. And when he saw what was in there, he immediately pulled back, turned around, ran into the hallway, and he called the police. A half an hour later, around 7:30 p.m., an NYPD detective named Stephen Getz walked up a flight of stairs at an apartment building in Manhattan. This part of the city was known to be extremely safe. Homicides never really happened here. But if the 911 caller had been telling the truth, Getz
Are you
knew
back?
that a potential grisly murder scene was in fact waiting
Yo,
for him
I almost
in
microwaved a
apartment
spoon.
2D. When he reached the second floor landing, he saw there were already a few other NYPD officers on the scene. And one of them was speaking
Actually,
to
let's
this
play
young,
fucking
skinny guy
Elise.
standing in the hallway who looked
Actually,
really
wait,
upset.
I like
And he was
Kaisa
holding a
too,
leash
but
that was
I don't
connected
know.
to a black dog.
Kaisa's
Another
Kaisa.
officer walked over to Getz and filled him in.
Kaisa.
He said the man that was
Bottom.
being spoken to was the victim's
do
roommate,
that.
David Hahn, and he was the one who had found the body and called 911. The victim, Catherine Woods, was inside the apartment in the back bedroom. Getz nodded and then walked down the hallway, past David and the dog, toward the apartment door. His plan was to look at the scene himself before he began questioning anyone. Getz put on some disposable rubber gloves and checked out the door frame to the actual apartment, and then he also looked at the door itself. But he didn't see any damage that could signify forced entry. So he stepped into the apartment, and he saw that the small living room was a little bit messy. But it wasn't like it had been ransacked or something. You know, the futon was pulled out, and there were some men's clothes strewn around, but it sort of looked like a typical place that people lived. And so Getz walked through the living room, being careful not to disturb anything. And he went
you
towards
back
what he
yet?
assumed was the bedroom where the body was.
Are you
The door
back
was open
yet?
just wide enough that Getz was able to get through. And when he stepped through and was inside the room,
Fuck, I forgot my
he saw
spoon.
blood everywhere.
Ha-
It was
What?
all
What
over
do you?
the
What did you
walls
get?
and the
What food did you
furniture,
get?
And the room itself looked like it
I
had
might
been
just eat with my
completely torn
hands.
apart. One of the dresser drawers was open, and lots of women's clothing was scattered all over the place. And the mattress had been completely taken off the bed
Where are
frame
you?
and was now lying on the floor. And that's actually what was blocking the door
Hello,
from
hello.
opening all the way. And then in the middle of the room, in a pool of blood, lay the body of a young woman. Getz knew from the 911 call that her name was Catherine Woods. He walked over and squatted down next to her for a closer look. She was wearing a t-shirt and underwear, and the t-shirt had a very obvious shoe print on it, like whoever had killed Catherine had stepped on her. And there were at least a dozen stab wounds all over her body. There were also what appeared to be defensive wounds on her hands and arms, which Getz knew meant she must have fought back against her attacker. But the worst injuries she sustained were definitely to her neck. Whoever had killed her had slit her
Callie,
throat
what are you
so
doing?
deeply
Why
that
are
they
you
had
edging me
almost
so hard?
decapitated her. And so to Getz, right away, it seemed like whoever killed Catherine had been in an absolute rage. At that point, Getz heard footsteps coming from behind him.
Hello.
He stood up and he turned around to see that the NYPD forensics team had arrived. Now, the blocked door was making maneuvering in and out of this bedroom pretty difficult. So one of the first things the forensics team did was to pick up the mattress and carefully lean it against the wall, so the bedroom door could now swing open all the way. Then Detective Getz just stepped back and let the forensics team get to work. He watched as they pulled that shoe print off the t-shirt Catherine was wearing. And then also there was a second identical shoe print that was on her bed sheets that they also grabbed. To Getz, both of these prints did appear to be from the exact same shoe, and to the naked eye, these prints appeared, at least to Getz, to belong to very likely an average-sized man. Detective Getz was immediately curious about something, so he stepped out of the bedroom into the living room, and he quickly found a couple pairs of men's shoes lying on the floor. And although the tread of these shoes did not match the prints he had just seen in the bedroom, they did appear to be the exact same size. An hour later, at about 8:30 p.m. on November 27, 2005, Detective Getz sat down at a table inside of an interview room at the NYPD's 19th precinct. And once he did, he handed a bottle of water across the table to David Hahn, the roommate of the murder victim, and Detective Getz' current #1 suspect. There had been no sign of forced entry at the apartment that David and Catherine shared, which meant that Catherine's killer either had access to the apartment or was let inside by somebody who did. And the murder had been committed with a
You're making me
knife in a
hungry with all
really
that
savage
dish,
way
all those
that struck
dishes.
Getz as being a personally motivated attack. Even though Catherine's bedroom had been trashed, nothing seemed to have been stolen, and because Catherine had been found partially undressed, there was potentially a sexual motive at play as well. So Getz's working theory here was that this murder was committed by a man who knew the victim well and had easy access to her living space. And David fit that profile to a T.
The
Plus,
fuck
he
is
apparently
this?
wore the same size
What are
shoe
you?
as the killer.
Huh?
Although, as Detective Getz settled
I'm
into his
Callie,
chair
the guy that
and
doesn't know
wrote
how
out
to
his
play
notepad,
League.
Yeah, well,
he
what
did
are
a
you
quick scan
eating
of
that's
David's
making me
forearms
so
and his
hungry?
hands, and he saw that David had no visible cuts, scrapes, or bruises. The detective thought that Catherine's killer likely would have some injuries there.
You're not being
because she
fun,
had
Callie.
obviously been fighting for her life. She would have left a
You're
mark on
being
him.
so
But Getz didn't say
mean
anything
to
about this to
me.
David. Instead,
No.
he just came forward and he asked David to walk him through what had happened that day. David's hands were shaking a bit, but he took a deep breath to calm himself.
I have no idea what
and
I'm
he
eating.
said
I don't
that
know if
he
this
had
is
been at the
chicken or
apartment
pork.
with Catherine that night until about 6:40 p.m. That was when he had left to go get his car so he could come back and
That's
drive
like the difference
Catherine
between
to
eating,
her 7
not knowing
o'clock
if you're
shift
eating pussy or
at
if you're
Flash
eating
Dancers.
asshole.
But he said retrieving his car had taken longer than he expected because on the way
3,
he had run
2,
into some of his
1,
coworkers
tote.
from his doorman job and he had stopped to chat with them. He said after he had done that and he had gotten his car and he went back to the apartment, he had expected Catherine to be waiting outside by the curb. But when he got there was no sign of her, and she didn't answer when he called her. So David said he'd ultimately gone inside and ran upstairs to the apartment,
What
and
the
in the hallway he had
fuck?
found his neighbor, Brad, who was oddly holding the leash of the black dog that David was supposed to be looking after. And then David said
Why
he went
are you
into his
going so
apartment,
far off
and
that
that's when he
deep
found
end?
Catherine's body. David said he had called 911 right away. It was right around 7 p.m. And at this, Getz stopped writing
What's
on the
going
notepad
on
and just
over
looked up at
there?
David.
Who's tickling
couldn't
your
believe what he was
tackle?
hearing.
What the fuck?
David was claiming that he'd only been out of the
I
apartment for
want
like
some
20
of
minutes,
that.
and that in that narrow window of time, Catherine had been brutally murdered and the killer had also escaped. It honestly sounded like one of the worst alibis Getz had ever heard. But he didn't want David to know just how close he was to getting arrested for murder, because he didn't want David to get scared and stop talking.
Oh my
So
god, I'm
Getz kept his
dying.
tone very sympathetic as he asked how long David had known Catherine for. David said they had met back in Ohio a few years ago while Catherine was visiting her hometown. They'd begun dating, and he had ultimately moved out to New York to live with her. But it wasn't long before Catherine broke up with him and then asked him to move out. But David said he had not been able to afford his own place, so he had started sleeping in his car. And Catherine had felt bad about that, so she had ultimately let him move back in on the condition that he slept on the futon out in the living room. By now, Detective Getz's pen was flying across the page, because David was not just Catherine's roommate, he was her ex-boyfriend. An ex-boyfriend who was the last person to see Catherine alive and discovered her body. Getz was more confident than ever that he was sitting across from Catherine's killer. He told David that everything he was saying was incredibly helpful, but right now, he needed to go check on something. David agreed to wait, and Getz stood up to leave. But he stopped at the door, and he asked David for one last thing before he left. He asked what his shoe size was. And without missing a beat, David answered that he wore a 10.5. Getz jotted this down, and then he left. What he hadn't told David was the reason he was stepping out of the room was to go get some information from the NYPD's forensics team and the uniformed officers who were currently questioning David's neighbors. And once Getz had that information, he was going to use it to try to catch David in a lie. About 19 hours later, so about 3 p.m. the next day, Getz was sitting at his desk feeling completely exhausted, but was pounding yet another cup of coffee. He'd been up all night interrogating David, who was still literally sitting right down the hall in the interrogation room. And also, Getz had been going back and forth with the
Callie, are you
forensics
ready to
team,
play
other
yet?
officers,
Like,
and
what's
going
officers
on
who were
here?
out in the neighborhood,
I'm talking
and
to
he
Puppet.
still had loads more to do
Oh.
before he could finally go to sleep.
Oh,
Right
so you're
now,
being a
Getz is going over
traitor.
a new
I
batch of
see how it
reports from the
is.
uniformed
Oh,
officers
okay.
who had gone door to door
Okay,
in
yeah,
Catherine
no,
and
okay,
David's
yeah,
apartment
no,
building, asking
yep,
the
I see
neighbors
how
if
it
they'd
is.
seen or
I
heard
see
anything
how
unusual.
it is.
And just like Getz had hoped, the information they were getting did contradict pieces of David's story. David claimed that he had left the apartment at about 6:40 p.m. and said that at that time, Catherine was fine. But two neighbors said they heard screams coming from the apartment before 6:40 p.m. The man in the unit directly above David and Catherine said he had heard 3 screams at 6:28 p.m. And the people in the unit next door to David and Catherine said they'd heard screaming, barking, and the sound of furniture moving around even earlier, between 5:45 and 6 p.m. Now, none of these neighbors had done anything about these noises because the noises had stopped pretty quickly. And then there was Brad Stewart, the neighbor who had said he had found the black dog. Brad told police that when he ran into David in the hallway, it was sometime between 6 and 6:30. But David had said that he went back up to the apartment and found Catherine's body at about 7 p.m., a full half hour later. Now, Getz knew witnesses were often bad with time, and in a dense New York City apartment building, there were lots of noises coming from lots of units, but still, it looked to him like David's alibi had serious problems. And so the detective sat back and had some more coffee, and then his phone rang. He picked it up, and it was the forensics team with an update about those shoe prints that were on Catherine's shirt and the bed sheets. And the prints were indeed left behind by a roughly average-sized man. They were a men's size 10.5. And this was the
fuck is
exact
happening?
size Getz knew
I don't know. I'm
David
waiting
wore.
for you,
Getz
Callie.
thanked them, hung up the phone, and then rushed back to the interrogation room to have yet another chat with David Hahn. This time, though, Getz did not offer David a water. He just sat down and he confronted him with all these new facts. He told David that the killer's shoe prints were exactly his shoe size, that his neighbors had heard screams before David had supposedly left the building, and that Brad said he'd seen David in the hallway at least a half an hour earlier than David had claimed he was there. Getz leaned in and told David that there were also security cameras in the apartment building, and his officers were already in the process of getting access to that footage. So if David had anything to say, he better say it now. Getz watched as David's expression went from exhausted to clearly afraid. It seemed like this might be the first time that David realized the police truly did not believe his story. And after a second of just stunned silence, David insisted that he had not killed
Who the
Catherine,
fuck am I?
and he begged Getz to believe him. But when Getz just glared back at him, completely unmoved, David launched into a whole new story, one he had not mentioned at all over the last 20 hours of interrogation. David said Catherine knew this guy named
Miss
Paul
Ford?
Cortez.
Yo,
had
that's a
dated
bot
him,
right there.
But David had always thought he was kind of a creep. And David said Catherine had told him that Paul was
Is
obsessed
misfortune a
with her.
bot?
So David said the police really ought to go investigate Paul, not him. To Getz, this seemed like a desperate last-minute attempt to cast suspicion on somebody else. But he knew he did have to follow every lead, so he did write down Paul's name and told David they'd look into it. When Getz finally left the station for the evening, David was still in the interrogation room, and reporters from all the daily papers were beginning to assemble right outside.
Are you ready yet?
That hackerim is so hot.
The following morning, the story of Catherine's murder and pictures of
Look
her
at that
smiling
hackerim.
face were all over the news. The front page of the New York Daily News carried
And
a
I'm saying
headline
that when
made
have
Getz
misfortune
grimace.
here with her
It read,
giant
Secret
boobs.
Life of Slain Stripper. Inside, the article reported that Catherine's family
That just
hadn't
proves
known
I'm
she was working as a
pansexual, right?
topless dancer
I don't
until
know
they
what you
literally
just
flew
said,
to
but
the city
okay.
from Ohio to collect her body. Getz skinned the article at his desk. He wasn't convinced that Catherine's line of work had anything
I'll
to do
just
with the
get
murder,
fucking
but the
AP.
papers seemed intent on running with it. And a media
Why would I
circus
get
was like
AP
the
when
last
I'm in
thing Getz
ABC?
wanted.
I don't know.
His team was already under enough pressure to make an arrest as it was. And it was going to be even harder to do their jobs now that a bunch of tips were going to be flooding in from the public from all this media. Getz put down the newspaper, got up from his desk, and walked down the hall to the interrogation room. He'd finished the day yesterday feeling pretty confident that David was his murderer. So when he
Switch
sent
helmet
David
mode on
home,
by
he
David.
had given
Huh?
him instructions not to leave the city
fuck?
because he
Toggle
intended to
G.
arrest David and soon. But first, Getz did need to follow up
Oh
on
my
the
God.
other leads he had. to
Look
hopefully
at
rule them
that
out.
shit. I got helmet.
And one of
I
those
got a helmet
leads
on.
was sitting in the interrogation room right
Who the
now
fuck is
waiting
my
for him.
support?
It was Paul Cortez.
Why is
the man
Caitlyn
David
my
had named,
support?
who officers had tracked
Wait,
down
you're
and
playing a
met,
game already? You
and
didn't tell me you
supposedly
were
was
playing. What the
obsessed
fuck?
with Catherine.
What is this? Fuck.
As soon as Getz entered the room, the
Caitlyn's
first thing
my
he did
support.
I
was
wasn't
look
paying
at Paul's
attention. I'm like
shoes.
zoning
And
the
you can
fuck
see
out
that they
here.
were a pretty typical size too.
Yo.
At a glance, they looked like they could also be a
Sorry, I'm looking at the tits and balls on my third monitor. I mean, what?
On Paul's skin, in particular on his forearms and his hands. And he did see one.
Yo.
There was a small
Wait,
injury
what-
on
why
one
are
of
you
Paul's
playing bottom?
fingertips. Getz asked about it, and Paul
Because
said his finger
What
had
is
just gotten
this? What
pinched
what
between a
what
couple of
what
weights at the
character
gym.
is this?
Paul was very calm
Wait,
and soft-spoken.
that's not the
and
same
said he'd heard all
Caitlyn.
about Catherine's death in the
Right?
papers.
That's not the
and
same
just wanted
Caitlyn.
to
The other
help
one
if
was
he could.
anxiety,
No.
right?
When Getz told him that they'd gotten
This
his name
Caitlyn
from
took.
David
Oh my
Hahn,
god.
Paul just kind
So
of
much
rolled his
damage.
eyes and said, David had always been jealous of his relationship with Catherine.
Why did
Wow.
she
Paul
use her
explained that they'd
net?
met Catherine at the gym about a year ago, and they'd been dating off and on ever since.
Yo, I'm gonna.
At the time of Catherine's death, he said they had been
This Caitlyn's
off,
gonna die.
but Paul said he still cared about her and had hoped that maybe
Zareth.
one day they might get back together. Paul told Getz that he hadn't actually seen Catherine on the day of her death, but that he had actually spoken to her
I don't
on
have
the
a
phone
fucking
earlier that afternoon,
teammate.
which was not unusual. The two did speak.
Is that the
Get in
same
here.
Lux though?
Time,
Damn,
so
Lux
it
and
was.
Lux and
Paul
Caitlyn
said
seem
he
to be
actually had
popular.
tried calling her a second time
Is
that
you
day,
got a
but she didn't
is that a
answer.
kale top?
But Paul said he really didn't think much of it.
Nice.
And then Paul said that night he wound up going
She's
shopping
so
with
dead.
some friends and then also to a local bar to
What
watch the
an
Jets
idiot.
game at about 8:30. Getz made a note
It's
to follow
probably
up
a
on
bot or
Paul's
something.
alibi.
Or like a new
Then he
player.
asked Paul if he had any idea who
You're a
really
new
killed
player.
Catherine.
I'm
Paul
not
thought
a
for a
new
moment,
player.
and then
Oh,
his
you
eyes
play
lit
like
up,
one.
and he said there had been some stalker guy named Joe who'd been one of Catherine's
What, you've only been playing for
regulars at the
6
strip
years?
club. You know, months ago,
I've been
he'd
playing
somehow
for
gotten
since I
Catherine's
was
phone
15.
number and had reached out to her outside of the club. And around that same
Damn,
time,
bro.
Catherine had actually gotten roofied during one of her
Wait, this
strip
game
club
was
shoots.
out then? When,
Roofing
didn't
is
this
what's
come out
called
in
a
like
date rape drug.
2012?
It basically makes you
No.
incapacitated
I
and
think, yeah,
effectively
actually.
unconscious. You
You,
don't remember
couldn't have been.
anything. People were
No,
given a
because it would have
roofie
been like
and then
2006.
sexually assaulted. That's
I don't know
often
how old I
excuse.
was. I can't
And even though
count.
he'd never been able to prove
Okay,
this,
because I'm like, you're
Paul
2
always
years younger
suspected
than me,
it
so
had
that would
been
put
Joe
it at like
who
2000.
gave
Like,
Catherine that roofie.
you being 15
Catherine
would
had
be
cut
like
off contact with Joe, but
2006.
the whole incident had bothered Paul so much that he tried to convince Catherine to just quit the exotic dancing scene.
Or no, wait,
but she
2008.
refused.
It would be
Paul admitted that
2008,
he
but
actually
still.
went on to call Catherine.
Nice! And then
Tell him
Caitlyn
how
just
worried he
runs
was about
away as you're like,
And
yup, I'm
Catherine
doing
had
my
been
job.
So mad about that she
Fucking
stopped talking
retard,
to Paul for
Caitlyn.
weeks. And so Getz jotted all this down and then asked Paul if he knew
Yo,
how to get in touch with
what's
this
happening?
guy Joe.
I don't
Paul
like
said he
that
didn't have
I'm
Joe's
over here
number,
with
but
a
it was definitely
award.
in Catherine's phone because the last time Paul ever
I'm
spoke
gonna
on the phone with
unward
Catherine
your
on the
warding for
afternoon of
award
her
ward.
death,
So
she
don't
mentioned something
award
that really
award for
surprised
your
him.
ward,
She
because
said
I'll
that
ward
after
it.
months of silence, Joe
I
had started
understand
calling
what
her
you're
again,
saying. What you
completely out of the blue.
say?
And at this,
That you only
Getz
meant
studied
well.
Paul's face, looking for
'Cause
any hint
I
of
gotta go
deception.
back.
This whole
Wait
Joe
for this
story
Caitlyn to
seemed
die
like it
again.
might just be a way to
Yeah,
deflect
she's
suspicion
dying.
from Paul himself. But it really didn't feel like Paul was lying here. And besides, Catherine's phone records would be simple enough to verify. Getz hated to admit it,
Wait,
but
what?
maybe the newspapers
Man.
were right. Maybe it was time he started looking seriously into some of Catherine's customers at the strip club.
Ugh. Why are you chasing?
The following afternoon, on Wednesday, November 30th, Detective Getz was feeling really annoyed as he hung up the phone at his desk. It had been a call from another reporter, but Getz hadn't made an arrest yet, so he was staying tight-lipped. But for now, he just turned his focus
stealing
back
my
to the stack of papers on his desk. They were Catherine's cell phone records, which he'd subpoenaed yesterday, and they showed that Paul had been telling
Why are
the
you
truth. Both he
ulting?
and Joe had called Catherine
I can
shortly
literally
before she
just
died. So he'd brought
get
in
that
Joe for
health
an
back.
interview, and he asked him to explain why, after months of silence, he had called
Stealing my
Catherine
minions.
right before
The-
she turned
the
up dead.
Seraph is all the
And
way
Joe
over
had
there.
replied he'd
Was
only
there
called
someone
her to
over
check
there?
in, to say he
I
hoped she
can't
had a
tell.
nice Thanksgiving.
Oh, they're
He
trying to
claimed
get
that he was
me.
really just trying to be friendly. But then Getz just asked Joe point blank if he had ever roofied anyone's drink before. And at
Yo,
this,
get the
Joe's eyes
fuck
went
over here.
wide and he kind of sputtered out that he would never dream of doing anything like that. But based on Joe's tone, Getz really felt like he was lying. And so now, Getz felt like the entire investigation was wide open. A few days
What the
ago, he had
fuck?
been absolutely
Wait, what the
confident
fuck am
that
I doing?
David was the killer. But men from Catherine's life just kept coming out of the woodwork. He now had three
I thought we had
main
more people here.
suspects instead of just one. In fact, at this point, his original suspect, David, was actually looking more innocent. Getz's officers
it's
had
just
spoken
fucking
to David's
stupid.
coworkers at the hotel where he worked as a doorman, and they confirmed that he really had stopped and talked
Hey,
to them
it
on the
talks.
evening
What do you
of
think
Catherine's
happened
death,
there?
just like he had claimed.
Not quite
And while Getz
sure.
had hoped that the security camera
The
footage from
Caitlyn
the
was
apartment building
bottom.
would prove David
she
was lying
always-
about his alibi, at least in terms of when he was there, it actually showed David leaving the front entrance of the building at 6:38 p.m., which lined up with David's story because he said he left around 6:40. Now, this did not prove that David was innocent. Based on what the neighbors had heard, she could have been killed before 6:38, but there weren't a lot of cameras in the apartment building, and no angle covered the hallway outside of apartment 2D. So the footage couldn't prove one way or another, whether Brad Stewart or anybody else for that matter had gone into the apartment while David was gone. Just then, his phone rang. Getz reached for it, expecting it to be another reporter, but this time he was pleasantly surprised. It was a member of the forensics team, and there was this obvious excitement in their voice. He told Getz that they'd just discovered something big, something they completely missed during their first sweep of Catherine's apartment. The forensics team member explained that when they'd first entered Catherine's bedroom, they had taken that mattress that was stuck behind the door and propped it up against the wall to get it out of the way. But when they'd done that, the mattress had actually covered up something that was right there on the wall all along. A bloody handprint. It was not until a couple of days later, after they'd carefully gone over everything else in the room, that they moved the mattress back down onto the floor, and that's when they found the handprint. Getz's face lit up when he heard this news, because now he knew all he had to do was go get handprints from all of his suspects, which seemed like that would be pretty easy to do. But he quickly realized he had a problem, because some of his suspects had already lawyered up at this point, and they were refusing to speak with police, let alone hand over their prints. And Getz really could not force them to give their prints unless he arrested them. And so that meant Getz was now in this weird catch-22, because he needed the suspects' prints in order to make the arrest, but he also couldn't get their prints unless he arrested them. So at this point, the investigation kind of stalled out. Weeks went by, and Detective Getz started to get really frustrated because there was just nothing
Yeah, I'm
he
getting
could really
frustrated
do
too.
to push the case
This
forward.
Caitlyn is just,
However,
what the
case was still
fuck is she
receiving a ton
doing?
of coverage in the press.
And
to
then
a
she's
lot of
probably
people,
gonna blame you.
the
What?
NYPD was just
It's
sort of
like,
dropping the ball.
why are
But
you
then on December
at their
16th,
fucking tower
so
when
3
our
weeks
minions
after
aren't
Catherine's
there?
murder,
Fucking
news
idiot.
coverage that had annoyed Getz
God,
so
dude.
much.
I'm sorry, Callie.
I'm
actually ended up
that
Oh,
you
no, no,
you
no,
have
no,
to
no.
be the
Exactly what he
support
needed.
for this
That
retarded
day,
Caitlyn.
a woman called the NYPD because of something she had
I'm
seen
trying to not
on the
get
front
ganked by
page
this
of one of the
hacker.
newspapers.
Yeah, so you're
in New
doing good.
York.
You're 1-1.
What this woman
Like,
said led Getz directly
You're doing good.
to Catherine's
Just
killer.
don't feed, and no one can say shit.
Based on forensic
don't
evidence,
know
That
where
Lux
everyone
just
is.
got
numerous
shut down.
interviews,
Your Lux
this is
is
what
doing pretty
police
good
believe
too.
happened to Catherine Woods on the evening of November 27th, 2005.
Yo, what
What
the fuck?
is she doing?
Shortly
dead.
after 6:40 p.m., the killer climbed the stairs.
She's gonna
inside
die to
Catherine's apartment
minions.
building. They
Oh
knew
my
that at that
fucking
very
god.
moment, she'd be getting ready
And now,
for
yeah,
another
she's
shift
dead.
at Flash Dancers. And the fact that she even worked there secretly really bothered the killer way more than they would ever let on.
I'm
The idea of
like
Catherine
resisting
dancing,
typing on the
getting her
keyboard
attention to
right
other
now.
men made the killer
And I'm not even
so
fucking
jealous
playing the
he couldn't
game.
stand it. Now,
This
the
is
killer
bad.
tried to talk with Catherine and win her over, but she had rejected him. So the time for talking was over. And so the killer quietly walked up to the door of apartment 2D and reached down and turned the handle, which was unlocked. As they slipped silently into the
I don't have a
apartment,
fucking
the killer
ward.
brought out the knife that they
I want to go back, but this. Oh my god, she's just.
She's just
Someone
gonna
had
die.
not
Just don't
anticipated
even bother with it.
There was this dog lying on the apartment
Should I just
floor
go back and-
that
Yeah,
the
just
dog
go
saw
back.
and began to bark
She's
at
just
them.
gonna die.
For a moment,
I don't know what
killer
the
thought
fuck
about
she's
just
doing.
abandoning the plan and leaving. But then Catherine, alerted by the dog, came out of the bedroom
I don't know
and
what
looked
items are
right
there.
at the killer and saw
Is
the
it
knife
this
in
one?
their
No,
hand.
wait.
Catherine screamed and ran right back into her bedroom, the very bedroom that she had made
Should I just let her
explicitly
bot?
off
Yeah, just let her
limits
bot.
to her.
The
And just
tower's
thinking
basically
about
gone
it, the
anyways.
surge of anger suddenly overtook them, and the killer charged into the room after her.
I don't like that I'm
Catherine
doing
was
this. I
already
barely
on the
have
other side of the
wave,
bed, lifting up
push,
the mattress
whatever.
as a sort of barricade.
Yeah, but you're technically saving the
killer
tower.
just forced their way past it, and they grabbed Catherine from behind. But Catherine, she fought back. She began thrashing around, doing everything she could to break free. But she couldn't. And so they struggled and began
fuck?
smashing into the furniture
Yeah,
and
but just-
knocking things down.
Actually,
all
there's a
over the
Lux
room.
there.
And it was around this point that the killer.
There,
lifted
Lux
up
is
that
doing
knife
her
they
job. Look at the
brought
Caitlyn
and
now. The
slit
Caitlyn's
her
not doing
neck as
anything
deep as they
now.
could. But even then, even with this fatal wound, Catherine kept on fighting. And she was
Damn.
so vicious that the
they need
killer
to
actually had to
help.
brace
I should've
themselves
went
against
there.
a wall just to keep their balance. And
You
in
guys
the
are getting
chaos, the
fucked.
killer didn't realize, as they're fighting off Catherine, that they had placed a bloody
which
hand
way are they
on the
going?
wall, leaving a
What are
bruise
you doing?
behind.
Get the fuck out of
Finally,
there.
when Catherine fell to the floor, the killer
want
was still
minions
blinded
so I
with their
can
rage. And they just got
buy
down there and
items.
began stabbing her over and over again. And then finally, when Catherine stopped moving, the killer just jumped up and ran out of the apartment. But when they got into the hallway, they realized that black dog that had barked at them had gotten out. Now, the killer wanted the dog back in the apartment, but the dog was clearly on edge. They were still barking at the killer. And so instead, the killer just shut the apartment door, trapping the dog in the hallway. And then the killer fled the apartment building out the back door, where there was no security camera.
Tried.
And for weeks, the killer was
Whoa.
not caught. Until their violent past
Lexus
came
might
back to
die.
bite them. Several weeks after Catherine's murder, a young woman who didn't know
Hello,
Catherine was walking down
everyone?
the streets of New York when she noticed a
Oh
newspaper.
my god.
And on the cover of this
Caitlin!
newspaper was
Get the fuck in
plastered
there!
the face of the killer, who was currently a suspect in a murder
What the
case.
You
And
dead.
this woman was horrified because she knew
Oh,
this person.
shit. Run!
They, the killer, had sexually assaulted her about a year earlier, but she had never filed a police report.
Wait, what?
But after
Nice!
seeing that
Free
this
kill.
horrible
That Kale's
person
so
was
dumb.
being actively accused of murder, she called the NYPD and she told them what she knew. And the
Yeah, I gotta get
NYPD
out
Special
of here. What the
Victims Unit
fuck?
used this woman's accusation as the basis to arrest the killer. And finally, once they were under arrest, Getz was able to get their handprint. And those prints did in fact match the bloody handprint found on Catherine's wall. They belonged to Catherine's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Paul Cortez. David's suspicions of
everyone?
Paul had been right all along. Paul was a creep who had assaulted at least one other woman before he killed Catherine. Data collected from nearby cell towers would prove that Paul was near Catherine's apartment building immediately before her murder.
Uinso's
and he had been
Rage
calling
Blade,
her
man.
over and
That
over again.
brings me
When
back.
she ignored his calls, Paul waited until he saw David leave the apartment to go get his car, and then
I turned
he hustled
invisible
upstairs
now.
to the apartment, knowing Catherine would be alone. Even though David was only gone for 20 minutes, that was still long enough for Paul to get inside the apartment, murder Catherine, and slip away unnoticed. Paul was arrested about a month after Catherine's murder on Wednesday, December 23rd, 2005.
Is that
He was found
Hakarum?
guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years to
I
life.
haven't played Hakarum in forever.
Wait, where's this Hakarum going? He's going top, I think, or that purple thing over there.
Thank you so
Baron?
much for watching. Let me know what you
Yeah,
thought of today's
Baron or
episode
whatever.
in the comments. And remember, we have a whole playlist of true crime episodes ready for you to binge right now. So click here.
Fuck that fucking
I
gold.
think you guys have
All right,
lost this
until next
game.
time, see ya.
Yeah, I'm using it as a ghost now.
On April 29th, 2002,
suck.
in the small town of Pataskala, Ohio, a social worker sat on the floor with a 2-year-old girl. This little girl's
Lux, what
mother
are you
had unfortunately
doing?
been
Oh, she did
murdered
get the
in
kill,
their
but she
kitchen
dead.
just the night before, and police thought this little girl might have actually witnessed the crime. And so now the
Yeah, you
social
guys
worker
lost.
is
Doesn't
even
trying to
have
get this little
fucking-
girl
This
to see if she
Hakarum
can
doesn't even
remember if
have
anybody else was here the
mana.
night before. And at first, the little girl just clutched her stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna call it here. So, but thanks for playing, Callie. At least we got it out of our system. Some of that shit. We tried.
We're not
Today was
done here.
kind
I'm
of
gonna play
definitely a
Akali.
fucking
We're not gonna
disaster.
stop playing here right now. No, we're gonna play some Akali. We're gonna see how good Akali really is at Akali. We're gonna do this
Okay.
shit.
You can do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna raid Poffit. Is she live?
She alive right now, yeah. She's not dead yet. She has a couple years left in her.
Just a couple. Just a couple. She's a woman. They expire at like 26 or 27, right?
She's like 32.
Oh shit. Well, she don't look it.
Tell her we've been complimenting her.
All right, guys. We had a fucking retarded day today, but that's okay. We're allowed to have one once in a while, right? We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll have a new D2 video for tomorrow. Never stop creating, never stop imagining, never stop being you. Spread all of that
Never
love and
stop being you,
creativity to
man.
everyone, especially Callie. And hit him up with
Never
all
stop
your
ma-
DMs of how amazing he is. And
Well,
yeah, remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. And we're gonna raid Poffit.
Okay, bye. Ba 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 da ba ba da da ba 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 da ba ba da.
All right.
Who's there
Get
anyway? Everyone,
your views
Everyone,
ready.
you have to put a raid message.
The raid message is Wii U. What, you want me to just like Wii U in the chat so you guys can like
Raid
Wii U in the
messages
chat?
Wii U.
No one ever Wii U's. I'm the only person who Wii U's. That is the message. So take that, and here we go. And I can still hear you, Callie, because just because we're not in the stream anymore doesn't mean anything about Me hearing you because I'm still in Discord. Bitch.
Added a couple of dots and decided, yeah, fuck, I think I've stared at it for way too long, and if I keep going, I'm
Oh,
gonna
it
absolutely
fucking doesn't have me logged in.
But I
Oh
either
my
hate it
god.
or love it, and I haven't figured it out yet. But look at that baby.
Fucking
Oh,
annoying.
look
I
at
think I logged
that.
myself out of everything. I blame you, Callie.
It depends what he uses it for. It depends how.
There we go.
Generative AI is kind of messed up.
Oh.
Did you see what I did?
I don't know what you did. I didn't see what you
Why
did. What'd you
Kelly
do?
break your stream? Oh my god, Kelly, why are you such a petty bitch? And you're helpful. Okay, but if y'all were playing League, I'm not even gonna take sides because both of you suck. League is self-harm. League isn't good for anybody. Also, I showered last night. But complimenting me? Ugh, never mind. League of Legends is really nice. Kelly tried to get me, but it wouldn't accept my phone number, so I fucking couldn't play, so I watched him. Oh, that must have been miserable. Oh, watching Kelly? Yeah, fuck League. Okay, cool. And Kelly is a dick. Oh my god, I've never related to anyone as much as I'm relating to you right now. Let's go. You are a dick.
Alright, fuck you guys. Face. We'll see you tomorrow.